that should be your day-to-day
For sure.
aim. And I think, I mean, as you said, looking at the likes of DN Freaks and whatnot, it's very much within reach, but it all comes down to what are we expecting from some of these surprise teams. Issue is, for the surprise teams, or the teams that don't have any global data to go off of, well, you didn't coming into PTS 9, but now you've just played an entire tournament. Now you know how they function on LAN, so I would expect to see some of the teams like the Freaks that come in with that experience that sometimes get caught in the chaos of early group stages be much more comfortable coming into PTS 10.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. 30 points a day gets you in the conversation. It's the plus that gets you in the grand final,
exactly.
Right? So,
well, that's not even be in the race.
Exactly. So, we did get to see our circle pop, and it is going to be the most vanilla, easy, plain Jane, dead center, Pachinki right in the middle type of circle. So that's a good way to start off things. We're not seeing any game 1 milli circles like we did last time that kind of throw a spanner in the works for a lot of these teams, but instead you get to kind of play the game from your looting spot as you normally would. And these guys, you have to imagine, have been doing a lot of research in the off week. Coaches, analysts, all looking at those rotation paths. Na'Vi being one of those ones that I really, really hope that they put in some work looking at those rotation patterns, because, you know, they did make the final, and that is, you know, was the least expected. But once there, it just didn't really seem to go their way.
I think Na'Vi might have been caught by surprise by how many teams over the course of this year have transitioned out to play Edge. Similar fashion to what they do. I mean, they tried to reverse that themselves and go from Edge to playing Center. Didn't work. Now they come back out here and go, wait a minute, last time we were here, we had way more space to maneuver, and now, obviously, just with these 24 teams in particular, there is such overweight of...
Brate, ja sam mislio da je u 12 života mi jedino. Brate, kako u 11 počinješ, šta je ovo?
Just maybe some of the teams that have been struggling playing on the Edge in the PTS 9, hopefully we see some of them actually daring to go Center, because more often than not, there were space available to contest for.
Sure. I mean, I do have some hot...
Brate, kako ovo 11 počinje?
You know what? Share them. Share them. This is the space.
Look, to be honest, I feel like
Bukvalno mi nije jasno.
bails them out a lot of the time.
Bukvalno mi nije jasno. Znači, bukvalno svaki... Finale je bilo u 12. Ja ne znam da li ono prije bilo...
consistent as it normally is for him in regional lobbies. And you know, he still got his, right? He still got his points.
Yeah.
But you know, we saw some rough...
Brate, nisam ni fantaziju odigrao, nisam ništa odigrao. Nismo ovako sad. Nije, brate, a nije života mi bilo u 12 prošli put.
I have just such high expectations of that team, and Extends was amazing. I think he did really, really well for him. It seems like he's really filling the role as a shotgun right now.
Koliko ima vremena još?
It's just like the more meta stuff seemed to be causing them problems, but they're a smart enough team. They've been around long enough. They've got All-Rain with them.
Vi ne mogu,
like,
brate.
those are all
da.
problems that are fixable.
Yeah, that was my main concern. I mean, I can literally repeat what I said during PGS 9 finals, is that sometimes, well, as good as they are playing Edge in the macro game as a whole, sometimes I feel like their playbook isn't thick enough. You know what I mean? Like, they run out of options, where other teams will still have 3 more ideas on what to do next. And that gets them caught in awkward situations that they don't know how to either back out of or say, you know what, no, let's just go all together, let's just pull up, let's take this fight and make it happen. Because as they've said so many times before, sometimes a bad decision, if agreed upon by everyone, can actually turn out all right.
Yeah, I mean, and look, like, Hakatory still, I mean, the kid's a human highlight reel.
No, for sure.
Like,
individually, yeah,
he
no
is
doubt.
absolutely insane and crazy gifted mechanically. And that's why I say I think you know, his talent has bailed them out. But here we go, SGA.
First fight.
This is going to be a little bit rough. They're going to breeze through, or are they? They're going to stop down. They've got Sungjang pinned down in the building. Akondo, he's got the wall. Nice shots from him, but he has to pull away.
Yep, everyone wondering what Begopar could do without PO there. They, I think, surprised most people through PGS 9. We'll see if they can come off to a strong start too. Seoul Gaming Academy struggled through PGS 9, but they're here to try and make up for that too.
This feels like a fight that they didn't necessarily want to take.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They're stuck in it now as Heat will hold the angle. Sungjang, that's not going to go in the window. He has to move away slightly and moves away just in time as Zephyros kind of working around that wall. He's got a cooked grenade. Is it cooked well enough? He doesn't even need it. Zephyros with the spray will get the knock.
Tough start here for Begopar Chongqing. I like the idea of him jumping out the window, playing on the side of the building where you had your teammates. Had, I feel like, a chance to back off and play across the street, but trying to take the fight, wanted to play aggressive, which I also do like coming into a day one, game one. You don't want to just back off a fight, you want to play aggressive, try and take some control, but now with the double blue zone coming in,
Bego pa! Ljudi, jeste vidjeli što su oni Tajlanđani haksali materim u pičku jebe, izburiram. Ja se izvinjam što psujem, ali boli me kut. Zaslužuje, zaista zaslužuje.
Have their hand forced. Yeah. You see Team Liquid starting to make their way in. Looks like SGA tried to get Didax with a
Ljudi, buriram je bukvalno hakso i nisu dobili penalty. Samo da znate. Slobodno haksajte u igrici. Poslat ću vam link gdje da skinete radare, wallhack, sve.
They will lose one, should be with a flush to follow, assuming Liquid is going to hit that shot. Even if they don't, should be bleeding out in those fields, not going to get any help. There's more teams making their way towards the circles. CTG changed the game. They're going to fly on in. They'll see all of this a couple of moments from now. Wondering if they're going to fly this far or not. They are setting up their E-pickup somewhat early, so we'll see when they end up jumping after this.
Change the game, another team that definitely could use some things going their way, but it looks like Park Pro and Guyon will survive for now, at least as a duo. Team Liquid, though, they are going to hear those shots. They're going to know exactly where he is. And SGA, they've got Slam just off to their east on the hillside as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. 4 a.m. Meanwhile, in rotation here we go. Arctics is
they're split thin. Luckily,
bold from Zephyros.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, Slam has all the info in the world. Not only hearing the footsteps, but now you heard them on the other side as well. It's going to back off again. Mature decision. Back off, play it smart. Live to fight another day.
Yeah, no, you're all by yourself. The rest of your team is in a good fortified spot. Lurex actually still in Pachinki too, so Slam very, very split here on the south side of this zone. So good heads-up play from Arctics. He now knows that there's a team off to their west, and they should know about everything going on in Pachinki and off to the south as the circle will center up once again. They're onto D and F.
Reći nemo to. U stvari ne znam nekako.
Yellows, just to the south of Ruins.
Yeah, observers highlighting Pachinki, of course. I mean, either A saying this is where teams are going to go. I see this way more as a speed bump on the rotations coming east to west right now. Teams don't really want to go Pachinki. They want to wrap south around, north around. Issue is, what do you vie for? If you're coming on the backside of this circle, you're driving through open fields, you have no clue.
Loša zona, ikka gora, ja.
So it's incredibly dangerous to try and pull that off, and for change the game, obviously coming in.
Moramo promijeniti taktiku, brat.
No vehicles, you're not going to fly for
Neće raditi dva puta.
You're going to try and play it safe, and seeing as no was in church, they will happily take that for free.
Yeah, that's the big thing that you mentioned, the lack.
Kako je živ sosed. Neka majko vam jebe. Gazi govna čitarska.
But two picked up for Navi, and they should hopefully, maybe, are they even going to try to go for Ferris? Yeah, the smoke has bloomed.
Gazi govna tajlandska.
They just got to reset first. It's there's a lot going on. Exactly. Get the safety, get somewhere that they can at least go to once that rest comes through, because you don't want to be out in that field for longer than you absolutely have to. So good on them to send the two kind of lead guys up into the garage compound, secure that. And then now for Soset, trying to see if he can make the hero play here for Fairest.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the things that we were talking about before. Navi's early game struggles, trying to find something in C2, C3, and always seemingly running into another team. But so far,
brate, jeste vidjeli što su haksali govna tajlandska?
Ko?
Buriram na praktisu juče. Ili jutros.
Kako mi šaksala?
Koristila onaj Nvidia inspektor, skidali šume, skidali trave, gledali kroz kamenja, kroz brda.
Kako si ih nafatali?
Pa kako, pa došli im iznad glave, bog te, ljudi na praktisu, bukvalno haksali, namještali teksture. Bukvalno wallhack naprave sebi. Majko im u pičku jebem. I što najgore od svega, ništa, brat. Ništa jebote. Ništa, kao PUBG kaže, practice je bio, znaš, kao you can cheat on, mislim, nisu rekli bukvalno you can cheat on practice, ali ono kao practice je, kao nema penal. Da misli ti to jebote, že?
Ja. Da, pak. Mislim da to može, jebote.
Kako ne, pa to ti je već jednom bilo kad su Kinezi u bootcampu svom. Bio je neki PGC i Kinezi su imali bootcamp. Svoj, nisu došli na nego su imali svoj bootcamp. I valjda poslije NA Team, da li je bio Pordik Ward ili Kickstart ili neko od njih, ne mogu se više sjetiti ko je, došao je u njihov bootcamp iza njih i vidio na kompove, bukvalno nemaš teksture. I sad opet ovi, brat. I to i u Lanu to radili, znam si.
Pa dobro, mislim, ono, ne mogu igrati, bili bi ovi vjerojatno Stage, logično najde, ali opet.
Pa brate, kakve veze ima, jebote, ti si na prakticu se boriš za loot spot, razumiješ, ti kontestaš nekoga, nemaš teksturu.
Ja.
Razumiješ, sad skoče na, recimo, na Virtus Pro i pohaksaju ih na, pa neće Virtus Pro skakat tu, jebote, razumiješ. Nekih pohaksaju 2 puta, 3 put neće skočiti na tu.
Now the question is, does SGA want this? Yeah, look at that. He's starting to send it up there. Hane rather, gonna send it over there as well. So SGA may be looking at this as free points.
Ljudi, preloša zona.
They look to be second-guessing themselves a little bit here.
I'm just wondering why he's here on his own. They had the compound. They finally secured it, pushing out Begopa, and then he's running through the hills on his own. Unlucky, nonetheless.
Jebana je zona, vrem.
To find another day with the two they've got remaining has changed the game here. Try to fend off, try to hold off. FaZe are making their way on in. FaZe running into trouble, running into each other, trying to make this rotation happen. 2 players in the lead vehicle down to under half HP, but they're getting some help from 17 shooting and change the game as Fex though will fall.
Oh, and this is why you try to avoid that Pachinki area, as you are just going to get blasted.
Kako je li ima gdje veliko objavio to?
Just a little bit, as the grenades just not falling where they need to for change the game. Bard going to try to heal himself up, maybe go for the reses as 17 Gaming just get the free farm fire. Nobody taking shots back.
I mean, right now, FaZe are living off of the premise that 17 are fending off against ETG, because if they get free range to run down this hillside util and hand as we see here, that should be an easy throw come through on this side of change the game. Issue is they're not allowed to do so. Vehicle explosion will come through though, and Fex is gonna fall right after coming back on his feet. He goes down once more.
Exploding vehicle gonna do it, but they're not done yet.
Oh no.
Jebaš je FaZe, da? Maći se rića ovi retar.
They still have a little bit of util, and
a little bit of help come through.
They've got somebody in their midst. They're not even looking over in this direction. They were hanging out on Church with all eyes sent down towards Fex. They didn't even see Hackatory sneak up, but you see Hangy down there in the city itself. Aries up top, but Aries is on an island by himself, and Hackatory wins the 1v1.
Yeah, what the hell, Malik?
The change the game split is right now. How did they let Hackatory go unnoticed? They have Aries playing from behind. They have Hangy sat down there as well, and still somehow Hackatory weasels his way right through their setup and finds the knock on one. This is. I mean, again, their understanding of the situation, their setup here was perfect. They just don't do it the right way.
Yeah, that Hangy
gleda PG
the one that's gonna fall on a little bit as he was in the.
Kako ne mogu Hackatory ubiti, jebote, full open Livio.
They'll lose Aries. But Tiantan and Wenbo now all by themselves up in the church. Hangy, I don't think he's taken a shot yet, so he may be going up.
Uzeo sam znam neki 3-0, ne bi trebalo prav problem, ili da? 3-0 na USB. Za onu zvučnu.
Nemam pojma, ne znam. Gledam Kepu, onaj ti je najbolja sluci, najsigurniji.
Ne, nego produži samo da...
Aha, ma neće.
Looks for the second as well as Slam G now fighting off FN. That's happening
Baš
towards
čatakavali
the
to da je
outside
bubica.
circle almost as they try to make their way in.
You see Puriram, Damasti and Khan now, the last 2 players left alive. They're trying to avoid this whole Navi CT problem as the circle once again going to favor those freaks.
Good nades from Lucarux.
To Lucarux, samo deri.
Znači, bukvalno je PUBG izbacio obavještenje da je zabranjeno korištenje third party softvera koji mijenjaju igru, uključujući Nvidia inspektor i nisu ih kaznili, brad.
Neće znam da pravi drama, ma.
A ja ne znam što to uopće zabranjeno, brad. Bio onaj bug, ono, da moraš mijenjati teksture i to je fiksano strane PUBG-a.
Jesi im vidio slike jutros? Sve su makli, ljudi.
Jel?
Sve su makli zloma. Znači, gledaju kroz kamen, krute jebo da te ne jebo.
Ruins, watch Boatyard, make sure they don't get wrapped on. So
I evo kaže, čitam da se preko telefona konektali.
A, pomijem, ja znam da je bio onaj bug, ali to je bilo od strane PUBG-a.
A se sjećaš kad su Kinezi to koristili?
Da, pa zato je taj incident, zato su i
tako
banali.
je. To je bilo za PGS1. To je bio PGS1 bootcamp, jel' tako?
Da.
I...
PGC, jel?
Ili PGC. Neka kineska ekipa je bila koja je zbog korone nije bila u lanu, nego su bili u bootcampu svom. I onda u tom bootcampu su poslije došli iz NA, da li Kickstart ili neko, tako nešto bilo. I vidjeli.
Ja da je, da.
I onda su ovi to kao pečovali ovo ono. I ovi danas preko telefona, jer tebi ugašan Wi-Fi modul, razumiješ? I ti oni uštekaju telefon preko USB-a, rade tethering i podešavaju se krute, jebo majko, ja bukvalno reći. I ništa, alo, niko ih nije banovo, ni ništa.
Ja nešto sam rekao kao practice day, kao, to je samo za practice
day. Practice day, kao okej, smijete za practice
dobro,
day koristiti.
praksaju se braćaš cheat onda igramo, znaš, zatim...
Ali ne kontam zbog čega bi ljudi hakovali. Znači, jedan jedini razlog koji mi pada na pamet zašto bi haksali na praktisu je da bi claimali loot spot od druge ekipe. To je jedno što meni pada na pamet. Znači, sad oni ne hoće skočiti, ne znam, Virtusu na spot, upale maksimalno na dvetić koji mogu s tim sranjima, što ja nemam pojma. Dobiju ih i izgura ih, to mi je jedino. Znači, u suprotnom, to ti je ko pališ čit na rankedu, a ne na turniru, ono, baš na smislu.
Mislim da ne može se više to ništa raditi. Možda su probali, ali mislim da ne može to više. To PUBG fiksa.
Evo vidiš kako je fiks.
And for this position right now, of course, not really a spot from where you're going to get a whole lot of points coming your way off of kills, but placement points should be guaranteed.
Yeah, Freaks.
Ovdje je najveći problem Bimi tamo, mora Bimi da izdrži push. Ako ovi krenu na njih, mada možda i neće.
Pa dobro, dvojica su valjda i mogu ubiti, evo, tako mogu dvojica ubiti. To, Hakatorija samo dere.
Njega.
Jebem li ga u usta.
Just off in the distance, but I mean they've been just kind of held down by 17 for so long at this point.
Definitely a terrifying thing here. They were so
daj VP fight.
Kill number 5. Welcome
VP fight,
back, my man. Hope you're enjoying.
Ne, neka mi vidimo Hakatorija da se ustao, to nam je bitno za život. Daj fight, jebote dan. Ma ne. Ne, veze, ovo je baš zanimljivo. Može. Jebo ga dan. Bravo, bre.
Izgleda sam dobro ovog izabrao za player. Ću reći sim fraga.
Živi i Nixi, dobro, nešto si isto.
Da.
Evo, sad Bimi ođe bitno, mora brzo da mu pomogne neko.
Koga si igrao Dulke na Fantasy?
Nisi stigao da igram nikoga za kasnije, brate, ja sam mislio da je u 12 jebote.
Ja sam mislio da je 12.
Pa jel da je bilo u 12 prošli?
Pa ja sam zakasnio na prvi meč, viš da sam došao sad, ja sam mislio da je 12. Ja ulazim i vidim ti live, brate, nije mi jasno.
Ali ovo je prvi meč. Ni zakasnio,
A došao sam na pol meča. Ovo C4.
Rano ga je zalio. Možda ga je rano zalio. A ne, ide na ovoga.
Pa nije, sada 16 sekundi.
Glesto bježe.
GG.
I kod već. Pošalje govna.
Jebote, navi 8 kilo.
With a C4 in hand. As finally 17 will make their way on forward. We haven't really talked too much 17. I mean, it's for good reason. 11 through groups, 12 in the grand finals.
Evo kaže Skum, ovaj coach od Virtus Pro. Znači coach od VP-a kaže da li smijem ja očiti. Boli me kurat. Cheating in PUBG at LAN events has been easy as fuck. Just need balls to do it. Some people might not care and go for it anyways. And phones isn't the issue, you can literally have a buzzer to play with the coach listening real time. Ne, seri. There you go, easiest way to cheat the name on change. Ne, serije, brate. Ali je fenomenalno da PUBG ne kažnjava ovakve. Da ne kažnjava ovakve stvari. Znači, čak i da su pokušali, a nisu uspjeli. A uspjeli su. Ali čak i da su pokušali, a nisu uspjeli, on njih ne kažnja, brate. Da nešto se ne desi ništa.
Nigh on impossible push down the hills. They don't have a vehicle. They could find one though on the side of Full Sense. Should be able to make it on over. Oh, they do have cars. They did bring them on. Okay.
That was very, very well played by 17, but as you said,
No, we made tank, yeah.
Kind of been an issue here as Team Liquid was taking a scrap here.
Ode s parking. Zgazio ga lik.
Will go down right as Shawu.
Če, kako ga je zgazio? Kako je njega sad zgazio? Ajde objasni. Kao nije čuo, nije vidio šta.
A bio mu lik lijevo, valjda.
That's the slowest run I've ever seen.
Ja, fokusirao, valjda.
Austin Powers.
Ili je mislio da neće ili nešto.
No! In the end, Sparking does go down. That's gonna be Liquid out. And now for 17, the next one's to try and make a move. Do you take the fight?
A nema, mora, Saša Batulin bio u centru zone, u nekoj rupici.
Do you collapse?
Full Sense has a BRDM.
Jebo ga, da.
I mean, that is
If you
true.
kill them,
That is true.
all of a sudden you have a BRDM.
But I mean, yeah, but how and where? For 17, do you go straight into Twisted, or do you wrap left into Freaks? I feel like you got to backfill Full Sense in this one. Going to Freaks, let the BRDM be the distraction. Let that
igrao odlama.
to reload at that reload timer. You collapse on the buildings.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're coming in now.
Example su Rexi, Tiger i onaj bol.
Šta je rekao, sad ću vam prejest na...
To je četvrti.
Kaže, šitovanje na lanu u PUBG-u je uvijek bilo prelagano. Sve što treba da imaš su muda.
Jadi onaj.
Postoje ljudi koji bukvalno ne vode računa i nije ih briga. Znači sve što može, čak ne moraš ni telefonom da se prikačiš da bi haksao, sve što možeš da uradiš je da ubaciš bubice u uvo i pričaš sa coachom i coach ti prijavljuje gdje se ko nalazi šta je free. Eto, to je on izjavio nakon ovog sranja jutros koji se desio sa Buriranom.
Znači bilo i toga.
Znači bilo
Oh,
i toga.
example, daddy.
Opop ide mi kapiten.
Did not go when they
There you
had
go.
to, and they fall because of it. Freaks able to stay alive with 3, so one more team eliminated. Now down to just the 4.
And everybody's got pretty decent real estate to play around here. You see Mission Ready kind of hanging out on the edge. VP, they still got the hills to play around. It's really a question of where this next circle is going to go. Who is going to be the team that has to move?
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Ovo ti je turnir isti ko po prošli što je bio samo.
Everybody's got great
Kao novi.
positions, all on the edge.
Što igraju sad ako dva uzastopno?
Zašto je PUBG jako dobra organizacija. Igraš jedne kvalifikacije za 2 turnira, ja tako jeftinije.
Da, tamo sam poželio reći uštedili su para.
Umjesto fino da napraviš kvalifikacije za svaki jebeni turnir i da sve ekipe imaju šansu opet da prođu. Ne. A mi napraviti jedan.
Like Mission Ready.
Waiting game right now between these three, doesn't it?
Mission Ready has to fight North. That's the only place they can take a fight to Virtus Pro where they're not in lines of sight of Freaks and Twisted. The issue is once you make your play up there, you see that's what Twisted. That's what
Bego pa.
Exclusively fortifying that northwest side. They don't even look towards
Gdje
Twisted
Saša
Mines. They
Batulin
know
dobije zonu.
Mission Ready can only go one way, and that's to us. We have to shut that down before anything happens.
Yeah, and to an extent, it does feel like.
Ne znam da li VP ima auta, da li može napraviti neki cover negdje.
You want to be the last team to make the move here,
Exactly.
right? Like you don't want to be the first one to go.
Da, ružna zona.
And unfortunately, it looks like Freaks, they're in that position. They are right up against the wall.
Ali opet
And they are going to
bolja zona nego što vi ostali imaju.
where they decide to go. There's
DNF
just a list of bad options.
It's effectively the game 1 semifinals that we've got right now. It's Mission Ready versus Freaks versus Twisted in
Ne znam,
the south.
pustit ću se.
Aj, Čureks, ja.
Twisted bi dosta bomb.
Tako igra Čureksi.
Kura izvjeruje. Link se čak.
Oj, Nixi je spataj.
Nixi, sad nemaju tiltija ništa. Yeah.
Ma gotovi su. Bravo.
Bro. Tilt je odbit.
Gledaj sad crvene zone, gledaj artiljerije, vred. Ruska artiljerija.
Twist uzmano.
All that utility over towards them. Fortunately for Freaks, though, they seem to have happy feet, and their utility's just not finding the mark.
Freaks
Ovo je dobar uvod.
Evo, pradi.
Ovo je najbolji. Sad, taj to gdje sam ja ovdje, jel? Sad je prošlo. Okej. Pomjerat ću kako se opet desi, baš dobar ovaj...
Human there to follow, and Heaven finds the third. And just like that, any doubters of whether or not Freaks were going to be able to perform here at PGS 10 after their PGS 9
Kako
performance
još će ljudi, evo.
A brate, ovaj DNF je toliko brutalan roster. Znači, oni igraju loše za... Kad su napravili line-up, ja sam mislio da će ovo biti najjači line-up na svijetu, bukvalno. Heaven, salut.
Kako njegov ono hitao, bo, ovaj perfekcija tu.
Ali oni toliko loše igraju za svoj line-up, meni jest. I sad su se upalili ovaj meč, nadam se da je samo ovaj meč.
Knowing exactly how to utilize that util. That's a good blue Twisted zone. Minds now, I mean, 4 up in a 4v2 with the circle center under control. As great of a player as it was for Freaks, we might be expecting too much from them in coming up victorious here.
Oh, really well played by Perfectix, keeping himself alive through that blue zone grenade.
Znači ima shield, a nema druga out.
As that was the goal initially. Salute though.
Ma, ovo mora Twisted United, ne mogu bolji zonu.
Spots out example, will force his head down, but you can see their backs are right up against the wall. And Twisted Mind's not going to let him get away with this. Perfectix, Batulin's going for the flanking angle. Human, though, will spot out Perfectix, and that turns it into a 2v2.
Yeah, Batulin flanka.
There's a world where he can get a rest here. The issue is Batulin's is up over the hillside, and he spots him. Takes him down, that's the cross player. Great timing on his peak there. Is this flash going to go a bit far, but Salute should be well aware that there's a player up here. Now here's him as well. Goes out into the blue. Has a blue jammer pack on, so can tank it for a bit, but has to come back inside circle. He's tanking it now too hard.
Yeah, that's he knows where he is. He knows where he is. Batulin's gonna go for it. We'll get it in Twisted Minds.
Bro.
Ljudi nastavili tamo gdje su stali otprilike.
Nije valjda da će Twisted biti dobar u group stage.
Evo, Vuk, bravo.
Nije valjda.
Bravo, to je dobar komentar. Znaš šta, brate, ako budu dobri u grupnoj fazi, može se raspanu u finalu. Tako da navijam da budu što bolji u grupnoj.
Možda im je bilo preblizu ovo finale group stage, pa će nastaviti dobro u group stage.
Jeven im prošao kroz guze. Ne bilo bolje. Twist imao najlošiju zonu. Ne Twistin, nego ovi, kako se Tetić.
Jaj, vid Zlane, vid Dulka, vid.
Pa gdje si ti, Kvadri, jevo.
Gdje si jebote, konj? Gdje si? Oči moje. Što ovaj Dulc streamuje kod kurca kad mi imamo to natječu? Čeo frajer.
A da nema delay.
Kod njega bolji mu kvalitet.
A realno, bolji kvalitet nego je Twitch.
Kurac, vam nagrade dobija, kod tebe ne dobija.
Da ću ti ja nagradu.
Daš mi kurč.
Ljudi očigledno znaju neku metu koju niko drugi na svijetu ne zna. Ma nema mete tu. Meta može biti u puškama, meta može biti ne znam nijam. U attachmentima. Ne može meta biti u moment.
28 kilova ruča.
Jednostavno, Saša Batulin je genije i to je to.
Brate, ovi su imali tank i nisu pušali na polopenu log.
To im je meta, Salo Batulin.
Rexy, Goat, Dragunova, da šta je lik radio u finalima.
Po Rexy Goat sedmica.
Da.
Ja mi za lik nije peticu opalio ni na trening modu.
Šta su ovo ja kili Valhame, jel?
Ko?
Pa Twisted.
Nije.
2 ili 3?
Ej, jebote.
Example ubio bar 2, a imao minimalno 4-5.
Ja.
Imao sam kuću.
Pa ne znam da li su ovoga. Ubili su samo ovi.
A sad ubili jedno.
My Example je ubio 2 lika prije ono.
VP je dobro izvukao.
O, jesu
Dobro.
jeboti sebi sve.
Samo meni postaje smiješno Maha Jukamu. A šta su Maha, ali si skontao? Nisam primijetio. Brate, već sam vidio da ovaj lik Toxic što je srao sad kako bi ga tukao. Kako mrzim toksične igrače, znači, evo.
And I think that is something to keep an eye on throughout the day. I have to agree with the position that they were in with that compound with the circle away from them. They made the best of what they could there. I totally agree. Let's take a look at the numbers coming in from this one. As Freaks will take 9 kills along with Virtus Pro
VP 8 extra.
North side of the circle. I was concerned that maybe it would be a start as a runaway for EMEA. Well, I wasn't.
Ljudi, zaboravio se igra fantasy. Mislio u 12 počinje, u 11 počeo. Da kasnije na život.
I ti čekao zadnji trenutak da praviš, jevo.
Pa ja ti vas da čekam, ja upalim stream pa onda pravim, tad se sjetim.
Mi napravili ima 2 mjeseca, jevo.
Aj, ti si napravio fantasy prije što su i otvorili ove prijave.
Saluta sam igrao, a on je damage dealer, pa dobro i to.
Da, to.
Čest pojena.
Nisam jebem mu sestru. Lil Ghosta sam
Ja dao AI-u, brate, da mi sastavim.
Ovaj će žente, ja jebote, jeb.
Više je platio AI nego stolica što košta ako su i.
Lot of smokes. Also, minor shout out to Purdy Curdy on one of the purdiest C4s I've ever seen. Those bunkers are no longer safe. No, definitely not the dig out way.
A šta si kopirao statistiku sa...
Da, sa 9. Group stage final.
Kopirao stace i rekao mu da napravim najbolji tim.
A malo je glup, druž.
Daj da vidim kako
ne biti
stavio.
Ja vam rekao, ne smije biti 4, ona, ne smije biti ono 2 iz istog tima, mora biti po 1. Ono stop stavlja druže 2 iz istog. Malo je glup, druž.
Kaže bot, meni se čini da su ovi stvista dobri sve ih staviti.
Pa rekao si da hoćeš najbolje,
Julke sa trak Terminator egzamplom. Ne bi, a ne mogu da stavim Nixia i egzampla, gledaj. Ja uvijek stavim jednog našeg.
Ja sam stavio...
I onda nemam para.
Kevin, Lukarux, example, Boosty.
Svi su stavili Boostika, gledaj.
Meni je example Tanado, Lil Ghost i Boosty.
Meni je example Tiger, Curex i Jad.
Curex je dobro sad.
To ti je dobar tim. Brate, dobro ti je taj AI sastavi.
Da. Dao mi je 15 opcija, druže.
To su štim bolje ti sastavi.
Pa vrlo mogu. A ne, ovo ja testiram.
Evo ti marka na parking mjestu.
Još imaju čudne kadrove iz PUBG produkcije. Na prvom meču su puštili WC šolju.
Sad stavili invalidski parking.
Ne znam, možda šalju nekim poruke igračima.
Da ustanite s ti stolica da bi...
Hvala što čitaš komentare, bro. Ne, čemu me?
Streamaš, ovo kamo ne zviš.
Invalidno parking mjesto za PUBG developere. I vidi, prva scena je bila WC šolja, druga scena je bila invalidska kolica. Šta mislite šta može biti poruka, već? Možda je poruka, jebe a majku, nemate ruke, sere nam se dok vas gledamo. Ili?
To snovka zon, 100%.
Maksimum se koji ti je tim, bat?
Lipo.
Mogla bi Lipo.
Series, everyone can have a bad day. I mean, hell, you said it yourself coming into the show that Twisted Minds also had a pretty bad day during groups, right? Four freaks, they were unlucky that they had a bad day, and then
Ajoj, nisam zaboravio ba.
PUBG Corp igrica je sranje, mi smo imali... vidi, brate, to je najbolja interpretacija do sad. ISKR.
Mili zona.
it's going to take a while if you're in the hot north, unless you have an E-pick up to make that wrap on down. So balance, transition timing is going to be a bit skewed in this match, just given playing path and where teams have landed.
And the other part about it is that there is still mainland to play, but it's not much. So it's definitely any of these teams that want to hang out on the north and kind of wait and scout and see what's going on. They're gonna all run into each other. So
Team Liquid ako ne uđe top 5 disbensam.
Just send it over there as quickly as you can.
A mislim, nemam pojma. Bili su drugi na PGC prošle godine, ali da.
Ja, ovo to skoro čitava ovu...
Gledaj ovoga što ga je žena pustila da igra.
Ode kikujte ovog kidaru, boga.
We can somehow build up the underdog storyline of SGA coming out victorious and getting something going. You know what, boys? You have Millie Island. You landed there. You loot there. Now you get the circle coming your way. Let's see what they can make of it. But theoretically and statistically, there's no proof.
Žena, posvađa se sa ženom pa ne igra.
Nisam ja jebote, šta mene napadaš? Markan te kiko druže.
A nije to da tebe zajebava. Nema ti mjesec dana posvađaš sa ženom pa te ne nikako.
Posvađam sa ženom, pa da tad došao da se posvađam.
Ja sam pomirio.
Frera, Hameda.
Favored the eastern side a little bit more.
Ma ne igram se, brat.
Surviving till late until the circle shifted away, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. But Slam already on the move. They're going to be breezing past Team Liquid as they kind of in their vehicles start thinking about their rotation.
TikTok Joel mrki.
Gotove makarone.
Jebote, ovaj hit ima zatvoren oči, ne vidi ništa. Klevo, majke. Ovo je prezatvoreno čak i za Kineze.
큰 도전을 이뤄냈기 때문에 그 다음 거부터는 이제 그나마 무난하게 할 수 있을 거라 생각하고 있습니다. 일단 저희가 인게임 안에서 선택을 못하고 좀
Prekidali mu intervju napola. Ja, ne seri. Reksno.
To je ovo išlo. Pa dropa, ja.
Nemoj mi Cureksija.
A, minus point.
Minus 3.
Kako ti zapali ovdje kontant?
Toga Heaven ubi, to Heaven je.
Ali je prva je za ovo, možda ga mogu rezati.
Evo ga moj klan.
Kind of one of the side effects that comes with all these teams that were playing around the coastline, kind of sending it over early. At 4:30, you kind of expect to maybe be free, but unfortunately, that's not the case. It's already 4 deep. Purdy Curdy still up there. The rest of the boys are arriving though, and they will play from one side, try to work around those roofs, those walls, and see if they can catch Slam slipping.
And this has been one of the keys to the Slam G success, not only here but in EMEA as well. Is that obviously when you're used to fight in more, I don't call them random lobbies, but like open qualifier lobbies and that sort of style, you always know what's in front of you. So they pull up as a full 4-man, and while they have to do it in the regionals, globals usually doesn't happen that way. I mean, oftentimes you see teams split like this and they'll try and stay in these positions for longer. You can scare people off. But Slam G, they're like a commit and commit hard type team. And we saw it through the groups that when they do pull up, they do it, I mean, in full. And here they do so as well, overwhelming Liquid early on and now with the upper hand.
Ja mislim da je možda Liquid misli da ovo ne dođe na nekog razloga.
There's enough cover left around for all of them to hide around as you saw FaZe trying to slowly make their way just off to the north. Twisted Minds also.
Loš game za VP, ma nema da biti.
They're going to find the coastline open. They'll get a nice little compound for themselves on the south side. But again, you got to remember, it comes with a cost of not having vehicles for the next part of the
game. In this particular case, Twisted Minds, no one was really this far southeast early on. So we'll see. We'll see if they do end up running all the way up to the woods and finding themselves a car or two. But of course, for now, they're playing it slow. Just making sure that they're safe on their side as Baco Par 2 are making their way across from the opposite side of the circle.
Their best Evermore impression. That's a throwback, boy. Holy moly. Don't even know if anybody around still remembers old Evermore, but Baco Par will find
stuck in the rocks with a couple of first aids.
Yeah, just a couple of first aids.
Just a few.
Yeah, change the game. They got a little botation of their own
Ha.
going here. I think this is a smart
VP
move
je
there.
izvukao.
They would think it was a smart move to
Zapravo
stop
nije
down,
izvuk. Ne znam
scout
da li je
out where
VP
your next move is
lutao
going to
i
be.
North South.
Unfortunately, Zenith has eyes.
Oh yeah.
No shots being taken yet because you
Od
can see
toga
on
gdje
that
avion
remap,
išao,
he
ba
is
kako se on
all
tam
by
dospio?
himself.
Exactly.
He's feeding that information over though to breakers.
Changed the game. I mean, in a good
Oh,
position
what the
previous
fuck?
game up on that church to get things going, but we're kind of stabbed by Hakatoria and Navi pulling up from behind this time around. Doing more to run up
Ne znam,
together. I
vidjet
say
ćemo.
that, but Ares is actually kind of on a...
Nix
I
je
don't wanna say solo mission,
sam
but like a
solo bez
solid
puške
100
izvukao
meters
neku.
ahead
That was
of
definitely
his
bold.
teammates. And I'm like, my man, just give it like 8 seconds and they're gonna be
Ma
there.
da,
Because luckily,
ne
Breakers
sjećam se
shooted you
iskreno.
early on.
Iskreno se sjećam
Good
tog
eyes
meča,
behind
ali
me.
ono.
And they'll spot out breakers. He's just gonna have to
Equalizer.
run.
Bye-bye.
Change the game. I mean, they just got here.
Mada
They don't
im ne
know that
ide
he's
narod.
by
3
himself.
men.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Military.
slow things down here just a little bit. As you see, Tiantian kind of still
Bitch.
working around that coastline. Breakers starting to move around, but I mean, there's just nobody here to support him, really.
I am kind of curious as to the decision being. When I asked him why, I mean, I get that you want to take control, but this is the downfall, right? Like,
Aga
we're
pola mi,
sure,
bra.
we always talk about splitting and how good it can be, but that always comes with a big fat underline of only if you have an escape plan. Only if you have that fire escape ready to go as soon as called upon. And in this case, they sure did not. FN splitting out, trying to take control, but when push came to shove, there was nowhere for them to go.
That is being very, very greedy on military. I mean, you got Star-Lord up on the radio tower. You got Zenith down here. I mean, Zenith was kind of holding over there by Novo. I mean, they were so split up. So, unfortunately, they will lose one for it. But now they know that
No, ja vidim se
CTG
puše
is right
6
down there.
minuta
They
na
also know
kampu.
about Bury Round off to their north.
And again, I mean, had he had a bike on that same tree right behind him, all good, he could have done that. But not this time
Još
around.
Panzer ima
Slam G
druž.
now saying, we've been waiting around long enough. We know we have the
Šta nisu ni sport bacili ovo za Panzer? Novo.
Pa ja ne znam, mislim da nisu. Ne znam na koji se sad ovo update igra. Ako isti ko PGS9, onda...
Ne vjerujem, vidiš da brzo trči s Panzerom.
Da, to je stari.
But they don't have angles on this just yet. So good hold from Alo. Arctic's tried to find a spot that was not being watched, but unfortunately for him, it was being
Desni
watched.
kući imaš, vrati lagano.
Back to the drawing board. We'll see if they can, maybe, lyrics.
But this is also part of the reason when you mention it that they're engaging now and not later, right? The clock is ticking. The more you wait, the bigger the likelihood that another team from that northern side are going to wrap all the way south, the same way you did, and potentially put a spanner in the wheels of your operation here. So smart on them to wait for a while, see if maybe Liquid gets overly aggressive or make some mistakes. Now that they didn't, you have to try and make a play.
Yeah, you also got a couple of E-pickups that are about to be heading over in this direction as well. That's going to be Mission Ready and the Freaks. So we'll see if they get this settled before those guys arrive by air. Lyrics still just hanging around on this top side. I mean, the thing I'm worried about is Hane. You see him with that Dragonov off there. That's a nice knock from Lyric, though. That might open the door here.
New circle's going to pop at the same time. I love their ability to isolate.
DNF,
you can see right now,
Madness,
they're trying to get the angle on Purdy actually from top of the building while all the windows are being covered. So limit the opportunities for your opposing team to go out and make a counterplay. Why isn't doing so as we get a big old spotlight of the entire
Znači da sad stalo čipa.
Also, we have a good red zone taking place right now as the push comes through. Liquid falls down and Slam G gets a few extra points.
Oda Liquid
very well played by Slam G there. That initial, as soon as they got that initial knock, it was just like clockwork.
Oni su, brate, loši od kad su promijenili ime. Isti tim je, bote, ko TSM.
Sparking prije kilo se ne može medat čak, brate, može vidjeti 2 kila.
We'll see if they get close to phase as
Jimbo
you see James right
24.
there, and Fex is kind of preoccupied taking shots at Mission Ready as they make their drop onto the north side of military base.
Teams rocking an M24. Fex just got a knock on the counter. I'm not sure if there's a message change happening on Faceland right now, but we'll see if that's the
ja sam dalje u šoku da su oni uzeli Hackshot na praksi. Koji kurac je?
Should follow suit with his teammate. They do have that
that
90-degree
Aj karma, neki dere, da bol da izginuli svaki meč.
Are they greedy? Are they going for more? Okay,
šta je bilo što su radili?
Koristili Nvidia Inspector, poskidali teksture na praksi.
Not a bad sin there for
Pravu
Brown. They actually end up
Nope.
getting a lot off of that. They get not only this crater, but they also get the compound just to the west. So All's well and good
Oj,
here. Full sense
ovaj
trying to make
kela
no.
bort.
Tigger does not get away with that. Xiao Lu gets put on his back.
Joo, Tiger, ko je stavio Tigera?
Moj. To Tigeru.
Oj, vej ga, fela lig, brate, liga treba baja liga.
Tiger bengalski.
Tiger, ali znate si ga zovu Tigera, niko Tiger, jel nije Tiger?
Je bolje osmarkanje tebe da ovaj LTV ga izvadio.
Jao, Batulin će ih izvući, a? Hoće li? Ne.
Jes ta medalju, brate. Ono, sidi.
Ko si jako pio prije? Ja nemam gdje sam
Ujoj.
Grenades from
Reći.
Mission Ready. Well, actually, that one might do
Oj,
it.
joj.
Give him 3, and now all of a sudden
Baš je
it's just
opušteno.
down to heaven, laying down the smokes to make sure that nobody snipes. But Mission Ready
Tako.
are not wasting
Šta
any
je
time.
ovo,
What a
bravo,
push
bre,
from Mission Ready
čisti.
as they annihilate the freaks.
Never have I seen anyone utilize the ramp's backside of a crater for a nade lob over like that before. Good job on Mission Ready to throw those nades to perfection.
Oh, look at that, Xiaobei finding angles from way downtown, but that should be pretty resable there for Mission Ready as long as those smokes still provide. Oh, he actually landed another one on a Michael, but get Michael back on his feet
Prerano,
here.
ova rupa je bog benzo.
Kako ono play bio baš, šta je?
A play je bio
Četvrti.
dobar za treću rundu. Za treću zonu, za drugu zonu oni mogu da ispušaju, bre.
They got Virtus Pro right
Oh
up
no,
To
watch
mi
out,
se
Elon
gledalo.
is
To
ready to
četvorca
roll
nekog
the
pol
dice
igra
with
za drugog,
possible
te ja ne ide.
Kažem ti, za treću zonu je to dobar play, za
Oh,
drugu
he's
je
going so
prerano.
slow as well.
Jer da je treća, ovi ne mogu
Shot at the
pušana.
first one, waiting for the last as
How
Virtus
the
Pro will
rush.
be the one that takes the
Camp
shots
most,
at
huh?
longs and he
Nego,
goes
pa,
down.
a, gledam
Now
uške,
Akan will
brate, što imam
strike
uške.
as well as 4AM are trying to turn around, but
Just
the
the
problem is
moment.
Virtus Pro is
Oh.
waiting, and they might be going from one fight into the other, and
Koliko je
Nixie
izginuo
will
Maša?
get or Shen rather.
Joj, ove
as
skempaše,
4AM
sve je s ove
now
strane,
down to
brate.
8
Pa evo.
move.
That is the catch of a whale scenario. If
Jadni
you stay
ljudi.
down, you
Kako
run
se
out of
Marka
air.
na svoje
If
vreme.
you go up,
Gdje-
you get
gdje je
harpooned.
treći
Like, there
igrač
was
Virtusa?
nowhere for them to go
Vidim Nikše
in
i
that
Luke.
one whatsoever. Now they're down to just the tongue
Ili su
move.
svi tu, pa
Set
se ne
here
vidi
on his
sad.
own. But to explain what I was going to say before, everyone is fighting on the southern side
Ej,
right
gdje
now.
nam
Where
je
we
treći
normally
igrač?
see in the north with prior positions and whatnot,
Ne
the
vidi
entire
se ni ovaj.
crossroads is completely open.
smo.
The north side
Jesu svi
compound of
tu?
the woods not taken either. This all
Neđe,
happens
jesu
because the plane
sigurno.
was in the
O,
east.
jesu
Everyone was
neđe, da.
assuming everyone has access to the bridge, everyone has
Neđe
access
su
to the south.
areni.
Na mapi stoji VIP Nix i Luka, a sad može biti treći da je tu pa se proklopio s nekim od njih.
Evo te perfekt sparlodaj, druže.
FM Pawn Channel gets breakers back, but there's just nowhere
Je dobra
for him to land.
pozicija,
So
ali
he's
crte
going out in the
ga.
middle
Ju
of
vamo
nowhere.
šira
Supposed
ovo,
to find
šta je
some
ovo,
free
druže?
farming shots down on to change the game. Nobody taking shots back at him. Although it looks like SGA
An example.
Zephyros might have an angle, but yeah, CTG they're in trouble.
Dobro,
Yeah,
ide
not
drugi.
really anywhere for them to go from here. I mean, very reminiscent of that previous one. They have a
Dobro,
decent
nemoj
setup
dati bodove
initially,
Twistidu sami.
but not really sure what to make of it. Not in a good position to help one another out. Chan, who is the guy who should be
Ja,
suppressing
kratko
up
zone.
on those hills while his teammates get back to safety. He's being held
Gledaj,
back by
gledaj ga
his
na
own, and
biciklu,
now it's
eto,
up to
namontirao
Wentworth to
bajs.
try and go pring and get the safety. We'll see if he makes it or not.
Oh, the BMX
Uh,
not enough. As Perfectix.
Da sam ga ja pucao, možda bi pobio.
84 damage already.
Strebi
He's
moje
still
pobio, ne
feeling
metka
himself a
ja
little bit.
pogodio.
I think he might be.
Who would have thought Twisted Mind's not slowing down after winning a PGS event? Huh.
Who would have thought?
Just continuing like, hey, that went pretty well. Should we just do that next week? Yeah, why not? And that's exactly what they've come back to do. They do have a rotation to make now, and of course, making space where before there was none. So they'll take a bicycle of their own. Again, they came in with an e-pickup, so limited in vehicles. Take a bicycle of their own and are now getting close to the circle.
Do they have an idea of that Hunky is there?
To luta,
I mean, you saw
igrač.
Yantan kind of taking shots. Oh, whoa,
Whip.
okay,
Nixie
very
mrtav.
good. As Nixie, no, Akan will get him
I
on
to
the
je
other
onako lik s
side.
druge
Doesn't even get a
strane
chance to run apart
railroada.
Pro as Begopa, this bridge camp is yielding fruit.
Yeah, I mean,
Vidiš
they
da je
know
treći
they're
daleko,
going
vidite
playing
treći
behind.
nije
They
s
know they
njima
have a
uopšte,
place to
dobro
go
sad
to
to
because
vidi.
they've had,
Ono ga treći iza skroz.
Guyon sat
Vjerovatno
here
je
as they
to
thought he was
Bimi,
ovaj,
Bimi.
Bimi sa
inside
healovima.
the compound proper. So like, we know we
100%,
have solos up
100%.
here. It's only, I mean, it's still somewhat early game. We can tank blue for a bit, secure
Ma
our
brat, jedno
backside
30 vrstova,
completely,
100%.
and then play up the hill. Pretty much no matter where this next circle goes, Bagel
Gdje
Pass
ćeš
should have
biciklom?
a somewhat decent rotation path coming into it.
We'll see what Lucarux can do. Beamy
17 samo
already
nakon
has
nešto, ajde.
made landfall. Or no, he's still on the north side of the bridge. Never mind.
17.
Au,
Middle of nowhere,
još
but
ima i
that's Bluey
zonu
for you.
ovdje.
But the new circle does pop, and it is going to pop off to the
17 je možda ima na
north.
Nixiju još. Ne znam da li Nixi ostavio na sebi još.
They're going to take the E pickup.
Vjerovatno Nixi i Luka imaju po 1-2, ne znam. Pa da imaju i više s obzirom da on dalje živi ovdje.
And you know, and again, I have to go back and say, when have we ever seen a melee game like this?
A možda bi sad dobar bio prej da Luka izbaci svoje prstove tu dosta i Bimi.
A moguće ljudi, evo free ovi combo.
Bravo, Luka.
Evo ga, nabodi ga.
Bravo, Luka.
Gets the knock on a Park Pro, opens up a little bit of a gateway here for
A i ove da niko
Bluey to make
sleđa
their way
ne
down
dere
as 17. They see
Nego
themselves
digli se
get
ga.
backfield and they're like, oh man, okay, great. Well, they still got the
A
better
Luka sad
position.
treba da umre.
Yes, they're going to send
Jer
Lukos
će,
down,
jer će,
and he's going to
dobro,
find
možda
that
ne.
compound that you just mentioned all by himself.
Ali trebalo bi da umre da bi Bimi mogao
All
da
by himself, Park Pro
prođe.
will bleed out. Change the game. Meanwhile, they were in a little bit of trouble, and it's not looking much better. As they are going to find Thanol, he's going to get the knock on a Tiantan.
Yeah,
Get a point for Full Sense.
Team who's only now coming out of the blue as well, Full Sense have been playing it incredibly slow, and for good reason. I mean, they're coming in on that hard eastern side, pretty much the only team in the last, I don't know, 6 minutes to utilize the eastern bridge. Exactly. Navi's slowing them down, but Full Sense being very mature about it. He has 17 first aids himself. He has 25 first aids in the vehicle. Is he trying to break his own record on first aids? He just might be. Remember, he can do this all the way up
I
till
17
phase 7.
inventory.
He can be
Da.
Inventory
for the
25
next 6
GP.
minutes just healing.
Če nađeš je tanke, bo...
Is what we're seeing right now.
A gle Luke, što igra.
Luka se još ubija, brat.
Yeah, exactly. He already took one. He took Park Pro out. Now he's taking out a Khan.
17 side ok.
Nije bio knockout.
That's him going down.
Ja kad sam vidio 17 konto sam moram u Luka baci falićem. On dolazi i druže kamion prsta i dole. Li šleper vuče za sobom.
Hoće li pasti ovaj što je naokolo, va?
This is the thing, they're doing the hardest rap on
On
this
se
compound
ne
possible,
pojavljiva,
just to
samo
soon find
tanka.
out. It's not even taken. There's one person in the crossroads. That's Lil Ghost sat in this shack out
I onda
back.
radi puno auto.
Everyone is staying so far away from this position because they take for granted.
Ide
that it's
roštiljanje
occupied
sad,
already.
po
No
svom
one's even
dživu.
up to try and scout it.
And they cut the engines.
Ma nemoj
Sam
predstaviti da
has
si im digli
no
sad.
idea that Twisted
Da,
is
da.
here, and they are coming
A
across.
egzemplu
tu
i prvi
ću.
event, ja.
To prvi bounce umre.
To Batulin
Je,
ima killu.
Batulin.
Nemoj battle in ti uzna killove, jebo, da egzemplu.
Boostic and Lurex are separated from the rest of the boys, so
Aj,
maybe
padaš je.
they can find something, but
Ovam
Perfectix
popade
is
će
going
on.
to go down to 17.
Yeah, two tunnel vision.
Bus-
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 Busik sad
on the
dere.
other side. They heard the movement from
Ubio jednog
Bengal
rana.
as well. That forced them to the east.
Ajoj.
But in doing so, taking a lot of damage forward. 5 kills though for Slam G, so even if the fall
Dosta
here is
low, ali
all
dignut
right
će
team,
Saša.
but they would
Dignut će
really
egzamplu
want
što
to
nađe.
try and dislodge Twisted Minds. Even if they can't take them out,
Teško će
they
biti.
force them to
Puca.
go back the other way.
Stick. He's going to spot out.
Yeah.
Oh, Lou is so low, and he will go
Oh,
down.
ja,
Twisted
rošti.
Minds
Kakvi
will get
hamili,
taken
ovo.
out by Slam.
A gle šta Mogore će
But
rezati.
potentially only lose one off of it as well, because they might be able to get Magora back off alive for the surprise play, for the instant double from Batulins to then turn it around against your reigning PTS champions like that. Incredible play coming through
Jebote,
from
ali
Slam
kad on
G.
ima skontaj
Okay,
koliko,
full set.
37,
Uh-oh, here we
38
go.
frstova.
C4 on the building.
Oni su od starta, on je od starta
Was-
luto samo frsto, jebote, od kad su izgubili korekcije.
We'll hear the footsteps
Odnosno
from
od
Vox,
kad
and
su
that
uzeli
back took a
zonu,
force to
vjerovatno.
put it back in
Yeah.
the bag. As mission ready, they are just getting
Nešto
picked
jače.
apart
Bim
here by
mašina.
FaZe. Just working the best angles here. Gustav just gonna wait
Kad
to
se
see,
dvojica iz
and there you
Fantazija
go, he's
pobijaju
gonna find him
međusobno.
in the end. Bizzler goes
Da,
I don't know about you, but it's been a
To mi
while
ne
since I've
ide.
seen a
i
proper
to ovaj što umre prvi
fight.
bude
That's the
kapiten.
one we're seeing right here. Vox driving around the sign does fight the solo and Senadol. Does have Taker left alive north still, but
Tiger
that's
nije živ,
about it.
ali
Yep,
mogao bi
9
umrijeti.
kills already spread
Ne,
evenly out
Bustik samo.
amongst
A nema ga
mission ready
koga,
players.
ono
They've
može
been doing a
pronaći
great
ugrad.
job at taking out
Da, da.
teams on trying to approach this circle. They do have one more ahead of them though.
Bustik je ostao.
The
Nema
remaining two
rame.
are FaZe and Fex and Gustav holding off their
Evo
next
ga,
push.
nok.
Well,
Gledaj
Boosted
koji
is
sam.
farming
5 poena.
off in the distance.
I love the blue
Ovaj
circle
game će
here,
biti
try to
katastrofa
isolate
s
the
bodem.
buildings, limit the
Fantastic.
angles where you can be
O,
picked
ja
up.
2000
Really nice
ti bog
work.
te vidio.
And,
Ja
looks like
360.
less from
Lože.
FaZe is
Još ti u bot
they'll
bote,
spot out
jeb.
Vox. The first shots come
U
through
bocu
from
Rexija.
Fex. Will get Vox down to half HP. Gads.
A onaj koji ima od Rexija i Soseda je tek u
Belly is
bocu.
now 17. They're gonna have to
Soseda
hold
je
the
skillova
line
za
against
prošli
FM
game.
Potion.
To 6. Znači mogu, nemam pojma, pisao još 10 tamo, moguće 10 neki poen.
Je 10, pa nisam ja 10.
As they now fully commit to it. Gustav, though, with a nice return nade, gets the double. Gats and Vox going down. Might be able to get the res up on Fex here as well. The 17 currently trying to hold off against FM Ponchon, making the util work well for them too.
Yeah, FM Ponchon only pushing up with 3. They left Star-Lord back in the compound to kind of watch their backs, but in the end, that ends up proving to be a little bit of a problem for them. Yeah. Breaker's now going to go down to Lil Ghost as FM Potion just kind of losing one after the other here.
That's the issue. They're the ones who have to try and make a play. 17 very content with just staying up on this hillside. They do have to have one look north every now and again to make sure they're not getting backfilled, but doing a great job at maintaining control of this high ground.
And all of a sudden, just like that, Star-Lord, the last player left alive for FN, but 17 has to be careful because Akan has an angle. He'll find the knock onto Xiao Wu. He is the last player left alive for Bago Pa. And of course, just to check in, Beamy is still alive.
He's vibing. Probably still has 21st days left to work with. We'll see as we hop to him eventually.
Beamy still sila, druže.
Trying to make matters happen here on the southern side. Solo holding right now as 7-7 is gone for the rest. As Dimas does take one down, Akan will fall to the blue as well. So some of these solos starting to get taken out as we now go into placement points.
Navi has just so much room to
Dokle
work
stigao
around
Beamy?
with. I really don't think they've seen
Ma još 40 samo ostalo.
Skinuo sluša bio dok sam.
Sam?
Jesi bio skinuo sluša?
Da.
Gonna do a little, is this a replay? Yeah, my bad. They snuck it on, I mean,
Koliko je
it's not like
pojačano
there was a
mogu.
giant yellow
A nije, nego su open back.
replay or anything. Good.
The initial hold off there from them, and then the nade in return from Gustav. And there's only so many places they could be. Great cook on that one. It's going to allow for FaZe to stay in the game. Smart wrap around here, understanding where Burram is playing from. Issue is take up behind him.
Evo, Vinavi mogu UZIVO tako izolira sve fino.
I say that.
Ljudima je čitao
Maybe
zonu.
now Fex might have seen or heard something as he prones down behind that car.
Have, or at least he's just got the the wherewithal. That's the word I was looking for, to look behind him. But Gustav does go down to Khan, as Buriram has got nothing but problems.
Yeah.
Just down to Khan and Ruse, the late arriving Ruse. But it seems like
Evo ga
a
Beamy
little
tu.
extra bit of time during the break has made him survive all the way to the end here, as he will survive as long as
Dobro, za sad je Beamy bod izvukao. I 2 killa Luke, 3 boda.
Ghost on time with it.
Yeah, again, 17 didn't really impress through PGS 9, but they've come in here with a great mindset saying we
još
want
bodova.
to make things happen. We aren't 2 times
Još 2.
PGS champs for no reason. We want to make that happen
Na
a third
4.
time as well. It can't all be Twisted Minds taking the glory. Fex does find
Al
one
ga
right
istrija,
Ovo bi mi
before
Tigera lig,
So
jebo
Burram
ga
was
Fex.
able to boot for FaZe before they fall in 5th now into that
Real
top
go,
4.
some of that.
He actually got that kill in time. Good.
How many first aids do you have? 12. We're
There
chilling.
he is. All right, he's
We're
still got
chilling.
12. He's fine. He's fine.
Oh my, oh my.
Je li on prebacio ma ne prebacio, rekao mu je 50 i nešto.
He might get top 3 as no.
Ma da opet nemamo pojma, ne znam koliko iskoristiti dok nismo skontali da ima još 37.
Joj, da mu je leći za one kante, da ostavimo auto kante.
It's going to be Slam G randomly
Iz auta,
spotting him on
Out.
entry, right?
Ali
But the
znam,
thing is,
u
I'm not
zoni.
sure he even gets to the circle.
I to je pitanje da li ovaj Slam uopšte
He
zna
can
za
go
njega.
2-3 steps before
Ma ne znam
the first aid,
sigurno.
and
Nemaju
he's burning
pojma,
through them right now.
pa.
There you go.
Nema
Ma ne zna, kurac.
Kako je, kako?
He actually goes
I
down
kaksa,
through.
brat.
Good on Magori,
Magori.
though, for saying, I know it's phase 6.
Će
I know
reći
that we haven't heard
smisla.
anything
Brate,
from
kako je
Discord
znao,
like
ajde,
this, man.
skontajte
But
sad, brate,
he
znači
could
IQ 200 lig.
theoretically still be there, and indeed he was.
No one kills Beamy except for the environment.
Exactly.
Opa, le, 17 gaminga, a?
Had just a very relaxing, chill, vibey type of game here. I don't think they've seen anybody since just now.
Yeah.
Koji su na kraju bili? Koji su bili na kraju? Četvrti. A?
Da, četiri.
I like the fact that Nami
Znači to je
we literally
6
the
bodova,
only team
dobre,
that just
super.
went out here and said we'll play the game
Brutalno.
we usually do. Yes, North could be
Gle,
contested.
Navi.
We're backfilling, we're playing slow.
No,
They've played that
Ali je
slow
Beno,
version
vjerujte
with
mi, znači
respect
oni
to the
imaju
fact that
slam
it
koji
could
se
be
diže
just
od
in front
ozdo
of them. That's why they
i
did so much,
17 koji
that's why they
puša,
didn't engage
bolje da se
early
vrate
on,
ova dvojica
is
fair
for
istih
this exact
efektora.
reason
Ali
that
imaju
now,
tank.
because of it, with that North
A imaju
system,
tank.
Ali ima tank.
they have
Da.
A, okej.
full. We're talking like 99.9 with a Shack being the exception in the Southwest.
To im
full
povećava dosta
control
šansu isto.
of this next circle.
Da.
Which honestly very well could be the final one.
They get a
Ali bolje, ovaj Ridge igra Sosed je brutalno, ovo je Hakatori.
Mali bolest.
Koja vem,
Kakava zjerčina jebena.
Šta je uradio Hamed?
A sve će ih pobiti.
Riješ čitav tim, brat.
Sprda se razi.
Šta je ovo, nikoga ne vidim? Mrš jebem li ti mam ubio me ove moje?
Šta će ga vidit, druže liki. Mama sam odro u sekundi.
Kaj sad pustka šta radi?
Gdje si, Harry?
Daj, brate, mogu li Ghost uzeti chicken? Jeboti sve svoje ono rusko Hakatori. Boga, ja. A kad to odigra meda ne možeš.
Nemaš ti meta kada pucaš taj tank.
Moj kapitan ide gas. Gledaš ti, brate, ovoga Maksimusa, kak je to hamelj od čovjeka, druže. On stavi jebenog Hakatorija za kapitena, razumiješ? Umjesto da ti bude Nix kapitan, ne. Ti ispravi kapitalista, bar.
He'll continue to farm throughout the rest of this tournament. This time around, there's going to be favors to find one. As Boostig, I mean, he's been seen, he's been found, and there comes Extends with the jump out.
Bravo, Boostig.
Boostig picks up in Fantasy Rejoice as it gets another one.
Sak nek uzme tanka još 20 savu.
A to ti kažem, brate, uzmi tenka.
Vidi glupana!
A ja.
Au, glupana.
Ali pobjeli,
Kako se ovo može događati? Ljudima, what the fuck?
Šta on skočio, ne ušao?
Skočio, ne mogu.
Da mu nije crate otvorilo, vrat.
And it honestly feels like this is Navi's game plan, right? This is where they work best. If they
Istina, prodao bi Ljubljanu za 2 boda na Fantasy.
and they have information about everything. I mean, that was just about as easy as it's going to get for a team of that skill level. But that's 2 games down. We are done with Erangel.
Navi, opet dobar u kvalifikacijama. A koja šteta što je mogu
Pa meni jasno da ih jedan lik ubije. A znaju, znači, samo Tariđi imaju i da niko ne može trade, vrat.
Ha. Realno prodobro je odigrao, znaš. I kad si očekivao da će ostati pasivan, on je s jednim healthom ispušao.
Navi special as the MEA continues to rock the server, and Hakatori goes absolutely bombastic. That was wild stuff, giving Hakatori
Navi.
putting him up against 17 games.
Što nam prikazuje?
Dobro, koliko ima boost? 6.
Who's got him on his fantasy league? Me and me, baby. Yes.
Ne znam, imao je dosta.
Hakatori has fireworks potential, and here's the thing, it's not even the first game where they did this. Sosed in the last one comes out and gets a 5-popper. Hakatori goes 1v4 with the famous Famas, gets down to 8 HP.
Dobro, imao smo 7 killova, nije loše.
I'm not quite done yet. That was so much. I was screaming because that's the kind of fight you live for watching in PUBG. No, amazing stuff.
Pazi, jedno dobro što je zona ubila Bimija.
Brate, ne mogu da ovoga nisi tradao. What the fuck, što je lik skočio ovdje?
A kad sutra izlazi Battle. Sutra će biti stream cijeli dan.
And we brought up this idea that Navi is now playing with nothing on their back. They
PGS pa
region. They're just playing their game. And they looked good in both.
Ne znam.
Bio sam ja Markane Battlefield.
I did think that maybe they were going to be a little bit disjointed from one another if Slam G wanted to make a move. But in actual fact, they had all the angles covered, did Navi. And again, with putting someone like Hakatori on that south side to deal with 17, it's the perfect person to be there to dismantle them. I also give a shout out to Slam G getting all the way to second place, and they were caught in the kerfuffle on the south side with Liquid for a very long time. Remember that lockdown? It was a very precise, measured Slam G that took that fight against Liquid, and when they got that sparking knock, they just let the dominoes fall. Well, I hate to continue talking about EMEA. Well, however, it's fine. I'm used to it. But I mean, obviously, yes, they did a great job against Liquid, and then Twisted Minds comes in alongside them in the circle, and they're able to deal with them as well. This is why people in EMEA, the rumblings underneath, and pundits out there are thinking to themselves,
Opa, 1097 sam, idemo.
Pročitala već, ja?
Jesi, 15,42 po 1 boost. Tam Lil Goals
70.
Ja odšao sam na 2006. Niko
A,
ništa
i vama, koji su ti patali.
FaZe walking away with 6 kills, and again, 17
Давай,
Gaming was like,
Tanado
you know what,
stavlja.
we like the second time around.
With 7 kills and 1,777 damage, is anybody writing this in the stars? What is going on?
That really does feel
Koliko vi
a
nemate
little
nekog
bit on the
17
nose, but
gamera,
that's what
što to
17
nisu?
does. They dig that numerology, but here they
Ma
are, the
kak
team
je?
stats, chicken
Ma ne
shit,
gledam
because
što.
6. He said,
Ali sad smo
I loved your last game. I'm going to raise you a game too.
Yeah,
So I assume game 3 is going to be a Ferris pop-off.
This
Ma
was,
borit će
yeah,
se oni za
we would hope so,
ulaz u
but that will
finalu.
be Hakatori taking the man of the match as well. There is no other contender for that one, that's for sure. And I think, though, when you take a look at that and how that's been going down, it is quite the team to dismantle, is 17 Gaming. As we take a look at Hakatori here, I'm holding it for a little bit on Hakatori because I do want to talk about 17 Gaming.
Yeah.
But yes, the flowers given to him here for our PGS 10. Love that we're seeing this kind of performance coming out from him, and it continues.
It does, deservedly so. I will also say that ability to get
Kakav
that
zvijer,
4 at
eto,
the end
igrač.
and carry it comes to the fact that his team, in the middle of the match, I forgot who was against, he overextended on a push, got knocked, and his team kept him from the flush, got him back up, and was able to defend that man. So the team does deserve a lot of that credit.
Now, EMEA doing very well across these first two games. However, it does actually warrant addressing the fact that 17 Gaming in these last two games has looked great, despite eventually being taken down here at the end. But
Da, naši su bukvalno izvukli maks.
really already a
Nismo,
different
sad
17 game to what we were seeing in PGS
6
9.
bodova.
You know, here's
Najvažnije,
the hard part of
čak
17.
važnije i od Vinat
Their players have been together for
mečeva
3-4
koji
years
su
respectively
giftani.
for the most part. And so there is. I'm so used to these
Uzet
moments where I'm
5
like,
plus
where is
bodova na
17
mečeve
Gaming? And then they
koje
come
ne
out and
možete
they win a
ništa raditi.
PGS out of nowhere. They are hot and cold, and you just never know which kind of tea you're getting from them. This
6
PGS
bodova.
10 feels like we're getting the good
A
stuff.
ima li
Well,
tablice na
aside
tvoje?
from that, we're having FaZe join these top spots from this
Ima.
previous game. Mission ready. 9 kills. Go in the boys' way.
And they had a bunch of kills in the first one too, so they are not, I guess they're not playing for placement, they're playing for kill points. And honestly, when you got a team that is
Jo,
basically,
vidi ovim
they
imena,
have a sub
Mission
in the
Ready
form of Gas, right?
International
Snakers was
Alliance.
unable
A
to
bukvalno,
attend.
eto,
They
ko je
brought him in,
smislio,
they said,
trebamo
"This is
imamo
our
i.
team to sort of play here at International," and he is playing well. They're doing well here today.
Ljudi
It's a good
spojili
bounce back from last
6.
PGS.
Well, the top
Ukcali
spots will be taken
ChatGPT,
for now.
daj
We
mime.
start things off for our first two
I spojili
games.
3
17
opcije koje
Gaming
im je
with
ChatGPT
23
dao.
points Virtus Pro, trailing a little bit behind, but tied in that position here with Slam G. So as much as Twisted Minds gets the first game of the tournament so far, dismantled, pushed away by EMEA. on that
Čekaj,
side.
moram da vidim moje meče, ja se
A big
izvinjam, znam
sigh
da je
of
ovo
relief
vama
from the
dosadno.
peanut gallery. A little bit frustrated
Ali ja
that two of the
samo
teams
želim
that
da
are
vidim
above
kako
them
su oni
are
pobili u
EMEA,
Noru.
and none of
Odnosno
them
Saudi.
are the America teams, but we have time to bounce back.
There's
Falcons
time,
take the
there's
field tomorrow. There's plenty of
Ja
time.
imam ideju
But I do
kako
think
se
that's a big
pobili.
one. The fact that Twisted Minds did go out early, broke the door
Mislim da
open a little
spuštamo.
bit.
Ali
It's
dobro,
still nice
a
and tight at the
objasnite
top,
vi
and
meni
it is
sad.
crazy that I am saying that at game 2 because I'm so used to the fact from the last BGS and the
Šta je
one
bilo
before
dvije?
that these
A
guys
to
are
za
gonna
ove,
win
jel?
at some point.
Da, ali pogledaj, znači ovi skaču rožok, zašto uzimaju auto i idu sa outdoor?
Just 2 games. Just 2 games. It's fine. It's fine.
Mislim, okej, aj
Sad
kontam
novi,
ako
kontam.
padne shift tamo, znaš. Pa ono, kao, ajde. Ali to ovo naši nisu očekivali. Gle. Luka njih nije vidio. Viš koliko ovo, 100, 200, 300, 400 metara, nije on ni čuo ni vidio njih. I Luka je prošao. I oni su došli. Gle. Oni su silentali. Gle ovo. Oni su silentali ovdje. Ostavili su auto i pješke su ušli, nisu imali predstave da su oni tu. I onda je Kureksi sam ušao kod njih i ovi su gubili, brad. A koji kurac rade ljudi? A bez zajebancije sad, brat. Čemu ovaj play, brate? Baš mi nije jasno. Znači, čak i da su ostali lutat rožok i kad je popala zona, dali gas i otišli i dalje bi mogli da biraju šta će uzeti unutra zbog aviona. Znači, nije bilo potrebe. Ali realno, odigrali su dobro na kraju, isplatilo im se. A, pa evo ti zašto su oni... Marko, evo ti zašto su oni igrali tu rupu na drugu zonu, oni su pali tu u padobranu.
Ja evo matka, Stativnost je
Ali rano je, da. Iskreno je rano, sve i puše. Da je treća zona. Paf. I sada su došli u tu rupu. Ovi ne bi pušali jer bi držali ovo ovdje. Ne bi im se isplatilo da pušaju. I pritom je rizično jer je ono, više ih timova vidi. Im otkad bi im iskuplja. Znate li oni nemaju ovo za healove ili ja...
Pa show more imaš.
Evo, on je već ovdje imao 19, znači u pravu smo bili. On je već krenuo odavde da iskuplja. Znači evo ovdje je umro Kureksi. I bi mi ovdje imao 17 već. Da, on je od starta luto prsto, čim je Kureksi umro. I onda je ovdje je imao 21. Ovdje imao 21 i plus u Gepeku imao 19 koliko.
Znači imao je tu 40 sekundi, evo, još sam.
Evo, ovdje je već imao 5, ali to je normalno. Evo sad dođe na 10. Da, kad je Kureksi umro. To im je bio call od kad je Kureksi umro. Evo, tu. 5, evo popala zona. Tačno imao 5 kad je umro Kureksi i onda samo otišao iskuplja vrstu. I što je najgore, da ga ovi nisu spotali, ušao bi u top 3. 100%. A možda ne bi, možda bi ga čuli svakako ubili. Ali max su izvukli, baš max. Šest bodova iz ničeg, bukvalno. Možda i bolje što je Kureksi umro, jer ne znam, a mislim nije bolje. Mislim da bi oni ovo isto radili. Doktor. Lagani predator. Uzeo predator ovdje.
Yes.
They also didn't qualify for grand finals at the first EWC. So what is it that happened?
Ego pa. Ugledaj.
Beep of Doom. Does the car go far enough? Push.
Ne, C4 je bolje.
Opet ovi...
Sjećam se ovoga. Ja, ovdje je ovaj lik ubio cijeli Virtus, sjećam se i ovoga, nažalost. Ovdje je VIP ispustio prvo mjesto. Ovo je slina, ali mogli se da jure twisti lagano.
To work with first one down already, just one more left to be found. Akan sat on his own in a 1-3, and there he falls.
And there you have it, with a new PGS point record, your 4-time PUBG Global Series champion, Twisted Minds.
Trines je još imao kad je umro. Nije, mogao je on još, ali bio bi top 2. Bio bi top 4 svakako. Osim ako baš ne bi ubio ovu dvojicu, ne znam.
And so far today, it's EMEA on top. Twisted Minds coming off victorious in game 1, followed by Na'Vi in game 2. Who's the next one to come out victorious, maybe, Polo?
Virtus Pro? Yeah, why not? What are we doing? No, again, a military game in game number 2. So they started off, at least we waited till game 2 to get the crazy.
Valid,
right? So,
valid.
But, I mean, we saw, again, some amazing individual plays. Once again, we got the triumphant return of Bloomy all the way to the top 4, getting those placement points. And then we got to see late game Slam G. I tell you what, the last time we saw Slam G have a really good game, it was on a military circle as well. So it seems like things work out pretty nicely for them. But they got to kind of figure out how to work it on all the other maps now, too.
Also true. As we go on in to the first takeover of PGS 10 here between Group A and Group B. Trying to see what they can get going on the first day of this tournament. Takeover's on the cards and playing path is as fair as can be.
Nije, nego im je to vidi. Platit 7 dana između 2 PGS-a. Istim igračima. Pritom ti iz PUBG-a njima su sponzori i hoteli i caterings i ovo i ono. Mnogo je jeftinije nego 2 puta plaćat put tamo i nazad svima. Zato i rade PGS 9 i PGS 10, mislim, 2 PGS-a uvijek zajedno. Mnogo im je jeftinije da naprave jedne kvale i onda 2 lana i plate ljudima 7 dana, nego da prave duple kvale, da plaćaju duplu produkciju za kvalifikacije, pogotovo za close kvali, da duplo plaćaju kastere i da duplo plaćaju karte avionske tamo i nazad, znači 2 puta ljudima. A to CS nikad ne radi. Recimo, tako da nije, ipak je malo drugačija situacija.
In the young years growing up. And you know, with that, enough about construction tools. We'll talk about them if they become relevant again.
Fun.
Let's talk about bicycles instead. Let's focus in on bicycles as you see represented here with the South Circle come through as well.
Lock in on that Young Circle though. That's looking pretty spicy. Is FM Potion now is on the clock. They got to figure out what they want to do now that they are completely surrounded from all sides. And I got to tell you, I like Slam G's.
Hoću reći, a nije, pa znaš koliko imaju para. Pa jebi ga, vrat. PUBG Mobile im ogromne pare donosi. I to oni nemaju sve od PUBG Mobile-a, procentualno. Ja mislim, tipa imaju samo 50% ili tako nešto. Imaju oni para. Njima je budžet za ovu godinu bio 5 miliona samo za kvalifikacije. Znači samo za kvalifikacije, za regionalne pecove, za PGS kvalifikacije i tako dalje. Znači bio ti je 5 miliona za Ameriku i za Evropu. Znači Azija je bila odvojena. To ti je samo znači da plate produkciju i prize pool za kvalifikaciju. 5 miliona. Plus imaju poseban budžet za LAN eventove. Oko PGC, ne znam, mi nismo dobili dokumentaciju za, i Wave je dobio samo dokumentaciju za offline, za ove online kvalifikacije. I tu su oni tražili 5 miliona da se uklopi budžet. Za Evropu i za Ameriku. A za PGC i te lanove ne znam, to nismo dobili.
Khan, the chef, though, and Breakers. I mean, look, we talked about it not too long. I mean, just moments ago. When you are dead center C1, this is the kind of stuff that you got to be ready to deal with. And unfortunately for FM Potion, it looks like down to just one player here. It looks like they were not, in fact, prepared.
If only Lurix knew that Khan ran off.
Teško bi se mađala, teško. Oni sa milionom pokriju prize bule za sve. Bukvalno s milionom pokriju prize bule za sve. Sa 2 miliona pokriju sve troškove za produkciju i za ove kupove TPP i tako dalje. Ne mogu sjetiti sad tačno, ali ostane ti mislim da sa 3,5 ili 3,700 pokriju sve troškove. I onda ti ostane 1.200.000 ovima koji dobiju ugovor. To je ove godine bio Challenger mod i ne znam ko je bio u NA-u. Oni su dobili preko 1.000.000. Challenger je dobio skoro 2 milijuna. Milion i nešto.
Hi guys, it's Bella. I'm standing with Mission Ready International Alliance's GATS. That's a long name. Hey, you stepped in for the team at an important time. You filled the shoes as someone new to the global stage. Can you tell us what the challenges have been like for you, playing in an international global lobby?
It's definitely been a lot different than the regional lobby. Obviously, the players are a lot stronger mechanically and
teško bi se mi mi smo na primjer dali mi smo najjeftiniji bili i Wave je bio najjeftiniji od svih. Ali nismo dobili.
Getting back into it because I sat out for a little bit. I mean, you could
see. Ne vjerujem da ćemo ikad dobiti.
Zašto najjeftiniji? 3 kills, so not that good.
Pa zato što svakog decembra ove godine, sad isto u decembru, ti kao platforma za PUBG dobiješ invite od njih da pišeš proposal za sljedeću godinu. Mi smo imali, mislim nije ono ništa subjektivno, imali smo najbolji sistem sigurno. Ali nije samo to, nego ne znam smijem reći. Nam, pričao si mi. Malo je tu veća priča. Mogli bi mi to da dobijemo, samo bi se morali odreći obraz. Eto, to je sve što ću reći.
Mogu se odreći obraza, ali i dobiti.
Ali opet nije garancija. Opet nije garancija. Mi bi mogli da smuljamo to, da sakrijemo.
Ja ću dati svoj obraz, brate. I mogu malo bolje dati, ali puno.
Don't disrespect. That is PNC champion, Michael. As
yeah, true. Jesse, Alex.
I man, if I was fortunate enough to be a pro, like I would love.
For every man is
no doubt. Just a
pronounceable
all the way around, and he's always bit of a trade up. I would like always relax, always chilling, and I'm glad that he decided to come over the best side.
Yeah, you guys need all the help you can. First it was the Aussies, and now you're taking the EMEA kids.
Dobre, Nix je skrenuo, već sam vidio da je gotov.
All right, VP and Full Sense, of course, being the two orange teams are going to be
Kako da ne skonto da bi mi sam red.
As they are playing around the edge of the zone here.
Miramo te.
Actually edge of the map, really. They got water on their backsides, but
u 4 ujutro, a?
Došao si, brate, gdje se ne radi, šta se pitaš, koji dan znam, koji tamo.
Wise on them indeed. Make more space for themselves, trying to push further circles.
A moraš da potpišeš sve, ne mogu da pričam.
Brate, jesno ko do sada tamo.
Nije jednostavno, potpisali smo non-disclosure agreement i ne mogu ja da pričam sad što su tražili sve od nas, ali ja dokle god sam ovdje, prodat se nećemo i to je to. A možeš se prodat zato što znaš da su ostali prodat. Jer ti moraš da potpišeš dogovor s njima, da ćeš da radiš sve kako oni kažu, a mi od starta nećemo da radimo sve kako oni kažu jer znamo da je to neispravno. Zato se i dešava ovo što se dešava na kvalifikacijama za Evropu i sve, da ih ima sa bananim akauntima i čudima. Mi bi to mogli da promuljamo, da sklonimo do ono, ali ono. I opet nam to nije garancija da bi dobili tako da.
Ko je radio da gledao, majko?
Kako bolje na YouTube snimam, pa šta je ovo?
Jo, bio sam kod Deda Stavre, kako je dobar restoran, ja obožavam tamo i. Ja sam, brate, neku pljeskavicu tamo kod njih, bomba.
Radio, alo.
Ili u BSK, a BSK nisam bio, brate. A gledao sam debelog Sremcu, baš to je ovo. Gledao sam debelog Sremca u BSK. To bolan sve samo cijene. A da, vidi to. U Deda Stavre što ti cijene kao suda po BG. Da,
right
s ovim
around in that
600
same
cijene.
location.
A jesi bio u Belu Reku,
We'll keep
ajte,
an
Bela
eye on
Reka
that.
duplo
Everything
skuplja da
coming
bi
off to the
stavili.
north, change the game. It looks like it's going to cover
Tamo
Radi Vuk.
Vinograd, ovo je dobar je Vinograd. Ali nema Vinograd hranu kod Deda Stavra, iskreno. Ima odličnu, tipa u Vinograd se je onaj bralo. U Vinograd sam jeo, da li 3 leće bilo ono bomba.
Have a strong start to your angle today. Now off to a good start here on Takeo as well as we go from one fight straight to another. And well, the tale continues through this tournament so far.
Nešto su se nabrijali, jutro se najeli živog mesa.
Look at that, SGA, they're going to lose one and then immediately, yeah, he's just going to hop in the vehicle and try to rejoin the rest of his team. I mean, this is two duos essentially. I mean, the rest of the freaks deal and salute.
Jeste li probali beogradsku pljeskavicu? Ovo novo što se otvorilo. Pođite probaj.
On their own as well, so and they might
Kucajte, to vam je dolje kod mašinca.
Just moments ago, still hugging hard on that east, right up against the
Jete Riha vodio kod nas, nisam bio kod Riha.
Continues to creepy step.
And this is the thing, here's the reaction play from Twisted Minds. They have Lou already set up in front. They hear mission ready.
Mada ne bi kod vas jeo pljeskavice, bet jeo bi ćevap, jeo bi mantije, jeo bi pite.
Ubi ga! Šta radiš?
And here they are, Lou has been spotted though. Element of surprise gone.
Oh no, the timing just unfortunate there for Lou.
PUBG ti je imao market u skinovima i to je bio bomba. Bukvalno smo prodavali kutije na izlasku od 2 eura do 5 eura. Ja sam imao full PUBG outfit, onaj player unknown. Full PUBG unknown, prodao sam ga za 1000 i nešto eura. To je bilo, tad je bilo najviše igrača i sve. Ali oni su odjednom ugasili taj market za PUBG. Nek što je ispao fazon, neki klinac je poskidao pare s kartice, pa su roditelji tužili, pa to je priča sad, je li istina da je zbog toga, ne znam.
Comfortable or happy just backfilling, but actually no, they should be very happy.
They're chilling.
Yeah, that's only towards the
looking over in that direction, but he gets spotted out. Oh no, that's a bad knock for Mission Ready, as Twisted Minds still heads on swivels, despite the fact that they're in that 4v4 versus 17.
Thing is here, I mean, Twisted Minds has a chance right now to go back and say, you know what, this is our opportunity to get out of here. We don't want to be in this compound with 17. If there's one thing Twisted Minds hates more than anything, that is having to share. Whenever teams try to pull up on them, they always use Util to try and dislodge.
A mišljenje za ovo što se dešava na Zabilu. Ovo sa Turcima. Pomalo, ba, tek krenulo. 100.000 ih je ušlo u državu. Gdje si Devara, To je glupo, znaš, kad bi Gabi zbog toga ugasio se. Pa i meni to zvuči kao bullshit, ali koji je drugo razlog zbog čega bi ugasio market? Znaš, koji je drugi razlog? Znači, okej, činjenica je da oni kad ugase market možda direktno zarađuju više novca nego s tim marketom, ali s tim marketom ti dovlačiš igrače i onda je indirektno na duže staze uzmeš mnogo više para. Ali to je ista priča kao i zašto ne rade ništa po pitanju cheatera. Zašto Tijamba, zašto Buriram jutros nije poslat kući nakon cheatovanja na praksu. To je ista ta priča. Na kratke staze im cheateri donose pare, zašto plaćaju premiume, plaćaju skinove, kupuju mnogo. Znači po statistici haksori mnogo više para troše nego obični igrači. Jer prije svega se skinovima kupuju ono, legit. Kad vidiš lika koji ima 2000 eura skinova, kažeš, ja teglam u skinova, ne bi rizikovao, jel da? Tako da je to ista priča, znaš, oni više para direktno zarađuju od haksera nego da ih pobane. Ali indirektno na duže staze bi se vratili igrači i nek svaki napravi po euro, više bi para uzeli.
Ja, puša izgleda.
Bili bi mi po do, ali bi mi mnogo više igrača. Pa što rizikuješ?
Everyone's set on hands, played real slow, and VP once again, I mean, they lost Correxia early on in the previous game, and while it's a bit later, they lose one early on here once again.
Once again, Burry Ram in the blue as well. You saw Edie's name tag off on that hill, but Begopa
ne bi imali toliko prihodnika, pogotovo za stare hrvatske, ali to ti je samo kratkoročno, razumiješ? To ko da sam otvorio restoran, dobro, ja se s tim ne slažem. Let's agree to disagree. Evo ja prvi ne kupujem centa, PUBG ne dajem centa dokle ne poprave, dokle ne riješe problem cheatera. A ubacio sam više od 10.000 eura, sigurno, od starta. A možda nisam, ali nisam. Ali možda i jesu. Možda i jesam, jer dok je bilo marketa, kupovali smo te pa prodavali skinove, dosta smo para potrošili. Znaš, ja mislim da ti sad već... Jeben ti dan, kako je sad ono?
Get the run around, trying to get the res on through as well. It is phase 3, so you can still res in the bullets. Lugarooks able to find one more. Now help comes in from afar. Edie at a distance, able to get one. Lugarooks though goes down as well. And Bago part down to just one, but again, in a salvage game situation, being able to claim 7 points. As much as this one has been from one fight to another,
Evo tebi mi je vas da tu izvlači. Koliko ima? 5 prstova. Ide da luta prstove. Ja mislim da sa skokom igrača skočilo bi, logično je, brat. Stvarno je logično to. Nije kao da ti dobiješ 20.000 igrača koji ne plaćaju. Znači, ta statistika ti ne postoji. Znači, ti proporcionalno dobiješ povećanje broja igrača koji troše i koji ne troše. Razumiješ? Znači, nek ti na 100.000 igrača dobiješ 10.000 koji ti kupuju. PUBG da riješi cheatere bi vratio onih 4 miliona koje je izgubio. Razumiješ? I nek ti od 4 miliona milion kupuje. I nek ti svaki potroši po euro zarađivali bi više nosad. A uplaćivali bi više. Ja bi prvi uplaćivao Battle Pass svaki mjesec. Ubacivao bi pare za progressive skinove 100%. Možda bi progressive skinovi pali sa, ne znam, 1000 eura na 200. Ali bi kupovali, svi bi imali neki progressive skin. Nabuđe na maksi tako.
Taking place, and so far it's got 17 written all over it. Patulins, Lou, the only 2 players left alive for Twisted.
Oh, catching example and perfectix out at the worst time here, but good work from 17 as another grenade will fall in. Nicely placed, will take down Lou, and it's all down to Batu hiding in the corner.
Yeah, not too much he can do, and if you're 17 here, do you let the solo linger, or do you just say, you know what, let's commit 4, let's go over, let's wipe him, get that done with, so we can set up for the circle to come, which is going to pop right here, right now, and they do get it, so even more of a reason why he wants to get, why they want to get this over with now.
Just a brutal game of hard shifting circles here as 4AM will get Shalu, and they have a compound inside a zone, so that's a nice
pick. Ovo nije loš shift za Bimija. Može ovdje dode i da proba da nađe još frstova.
Will at least get the flush onto Xiaowu, so that'll slow things down, make 17 think twice.
And this is the, and honestly, I mean, as great as 17 is, because I can't take anything away from them, given they have 4 PGS with this roster. This is where I feel like they've come up short lately. It's the up close engagement, which in the past they were one of the best teams in the world at executing. But in a moment like this, like, why do you have one of your best fraggers push up alone against Patulins with no angle cover there? I know that 4M is on one side, but now you open up the approach for Slam G to come inside the compound as well. Go over, get the execution done, take out this Twisted Minds player in 4, and then flex out once more. Now you're set with 2 teams in your compound.
Maybe a little bit of split focus coming from 17. I think they were so concerned about getting pushed that they didn't want to commit the full squad into cleaning out Twisted Minds. And in the end, they end up losing 1 for it, and the squad still ends up pushing. So 17 having to really stretch themselves thin to cover what's left of this compound.
You see there the fight from before. Bago part trying to fend off and honestly hunt down initially. Virtus Pro and successful in doing so for the most part. Still, though, Beamy is alive, so they lost 1, but 7 kills for them. They'll be happy with that.
To ti čovjek koji poslije 2 klupa znam, što ti kažem GG. Bukvalno najbolji igrač. Bukvalno se Ivan i nama porijedi najbolji igrač GG.
DNF will go down, and that's big for Team Liquid. That's a nice start for them.
Yeah.
They do lose 2 in the process, unfortunately. It seems like Team Liquid just cannot get out of a 4v4 fight cleanly.
5 first stage still, so he was able to find a few, but where do you go from here if you're beam? Is he running into Buxansa? I think that's the
Malo
direction he's
frstova
heading, or
ima
at least
beam, to je
backfilling
problem.
Bird,
Ali vidiš,
continuing
nije
vehicles
se
now.
odlučio da ide u kamp
Should see
onaj
the
da proba
silhouette
naći
of
još.
Edie over that hillside as well. But only phase 4, he can
Edie's
run
looking
Čega
for
ga,
that
ja?
distance. Yeah,
A ide na
Edie's
duploko.
expecting him, I think.
Šta kažeš, Mark?
Greason as well. Oh, saw him.
Vidio ga, rekao
There
je.
you are. Able to take him down, but to stay on 17 for just a second. I think that's what I'm missing that was there before. Courage, the confidence to go out and take some of those fights. As you said, they don't want to commit too hard to any of it. As we now go back to Burim, once more seen, and the vehicle just exactly taps the shoulder of Rifts, and that should be enough to take him down. Dimastrar has to prone down and heal. Should be easy pickup for Soset if he peeks on over.
I mean, once again, I feel like I was just about to compliment Buriram with the way they've been playing this game. They've been comfortable playing out of the blue, coming in late, and they were finding a little bit of success, kind of being that third-party team. Already 3 kills, and just a minor, just the smallest of mistakes. And they lose 1 essentially for free as we get another hard shift back to the compound that 17 is at. They were definitely going to be missing that 4th player right now as they share the compound with Slam G.
Remember saying that this one was going towards Buxansa? Well, ever since we said that, it's been doing everything it possibly could to get out of there. Swinging back east here once more into that compound. You said with 17 Gaming and all the other teams now, with the hillside still being played, with the compound proper taking up the southeast side of the circle center. Going out into these fields is so incredibly dangerous, and we're seeing the result of it right here.
I feel like Martin is off somewhere saying, like, "Oh, you guys, it would never go to Buxansa. The heat maps." Well, like I don't memorize the heat maps. I'm sorry, guys. I will just call it like I see it instead of trying to predict. But the one prediction I will say, Navi, we're looking great. They still have that high ground on Buxansa, but now this has kind of made their easy game up until now turn into a little bit more difficult as they have to make it through their
Misliš da će izvući?
There's stuff there to play, but it's already occupied.
Perfect world, you get a third party opportunity.
Ha, vidi, jedan shift ga dijeli od toga da si upravo. Ako bude mora se probija teško.
Did go with the nade. I'm not sure if he was able to throw it before fall, and he might not have been. That could have easily been 2 down on the side of Navi. As the remaining change the game players now try to fend off, but again, hillside still in play. If Navi can survive for just a minute and a half, that's going to force FaZe over the ridge line themselves, and should disallow for them to try and peek aggressively into the fields the way they're doing right now.
I'm telling you, FaZe might only have 1 kill, but I feel like every player on that squad has over 300 damage here as we see the push coming in from Change the Game. See if they can get close enough to get in utility range. Tiantan all by himself is... Oh no, FaZe. James was off on an island by himself. Akan will spot him out. So Megapaw still in it, but this is what we were looking for. Can they get in range? Good shots after a good utility from Tiantan. Let's follow it up. Now mortars are coming as well. As there's just nowhere to be safe right now.
Nope, those fields were hard enough to play already. Now we have all the teams from afar engaging with mortars in tow. As Navi, again, trying to dislodge Tiantan and change the game. If they can force him to go elsewhere, if they can take him out of it, that would be even better. But just buy time is all they're looking for right now. Force full sense the other way as well, and that southern side.
Šta si pitao, nisam te čuo.
Malo kilova, rekao.
Okay. Alright, we got some damage on
the dobro, bego pa imamo
over there. The possibility to get a res on extends still on the table here, especially if we can get behind that vehicle, that'd be great.
Grenade.
Last one left.
Sreća pa u vodurin upala. Znači bi gubili.
Ripples going through the water, and Belmoth will finish him off.
Yep, able to clean that one up. Good job on full sense, keeping Taker on the hillside as well, at least as much of a hillside as there is left to work with, but still enough of a high ground, just a little bit of elevation is going to give him an angle to look down over the ridge into the fields proper and be the covering fire that full sense needs as they now go close quarters with Navi. That is, if they want to make the play all the way there, because Navi shouldn't be ready for it. I say that. Finally, so that falls.
Yeah, the fields are...
Znaš šta je jedno problem, ne znam šta će 4AM da uradi. Možda 4AM ga bude push, ali ako 4AM nisu puša, eciti. Mada ima 4AM zone tu još. Batolin je posljednji, da. Browse.
Nowhere else to play other than inside there. And FaZe, yeah, exactly. FaZe, they're flexing out, trying to take control. And I was tracking Akan pushing up and taking out James earlier. Gotta feel bad for him. Didn't expect to see him there. They were looking for the compound for an entry. As soon as James got there, got shot.
Ne ide forejem na njega, gledajte, forejem neće na njega. I za sad.
Also laughing during this one is if they get a little bit more circle.
Ovdje je malo problem što je 17 centar zone, sve ostalo je okej za VP. Mada nije više, stvarno nije ništa ni bitno, bitno je realno biti top 16. Odnosno top 8 danas.
Not the worst thing ever.
Not the worst thing. Tigger, though, playing at a distance. Gonna make things a little bit more difficult again. Get whatever you can off of this. Soset, while in the past it's been all about Nakatoru Ferris as well. Soset has been delivering on the individual performance as of late. He's not done just yet. If he can isolate this battle, because you can see Tigger is on the move now, has to make a play for the circle.
Mission Ready also starting to get involved in this. As they're a latecomer on that high side. As Soset's still eating. Boy, this guy's having a game for himself. As he gets another one, will go down to the blue in the end. But boy, Full Sense just got absolutely bodied.
A bit of a misread on that one too on the side of Full Sense, because as soon as you hit Soset that hard, he's in blue already. You know he can't heal, and he knows it too. That's why he goes for the knock. And with that, able to get the kill. So had he stayed behind that deployable cover just a little bit longer, let the blue do the damage for you, it could have been the downfall of Soset early on, and maybe you get your two-man back up alive. But in this case, just maybe take a look at the
Oh!
With a Panzer in hand, take out the approaching 4 AM.
Nijedan kill neće dobiti.
But goes down as well. Is there a world where Longs gets the reses here?
Nijedan neće kill
dobiti. There's no way he should be allowed to do this. Little Ghost and Xiaobei have to see what is happening here as Hane
will snake his way
on the other side of the
berm
from Mission Ready. They have no idea he's there. But look at this, 4 AM, it looks like, okay, no, 17's going to make the push.
Wow.
And Vard will get in there. Vard actually going to be the one that gets it. So 3 points
dobio je 3 kila. 3 kila je dobio Batulin.
Just a Hail Mary Panzerfaust.
To je 6-7 bodova. Jesu 7 bili? Koji je završio Virtus? Ako su 7 završili, to je 7 bodova ukupno. Bili blizu.
The Batulins were there ready and waiting.
Good eyes from Fox.
Yeah, definitely. Good snake watch on his part. As FaZe now with Southside control in this next one. Looking to make moves to go even further.
Dobro, svejedno, opet je 7 bodova.
Themselves in late game again here. News for them. Do lose one along the way. It looks like their knock player. Actually, that can get Vox back on his feet, I think.
Ne, nije. 5 kilova su imali. 5 kilova su imali i bod 6 bodova. Mislio sam su imali 6. Mislio sam da je dobio ovdje su.
What do you even do?
Mislio sam da je dobio sva 3 kila. On nije dobio ovdje sva 3 kila.
There's nothing we can do.
They saw it coming.
There's nothing they can do about it. Is he laughing? You know what? I think he's frustrated, saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna get those kills." If we queue 10 seconds there, wait, I got them. Okay, that's cool. I'll take it.
Hey, you know, he's a little bit happier now that he Fex helped his regional player out by getting that last knock. But 17, they take over that prior spot, and now they've got what 4, 5, 6 boxes of loot there that they can kind of clean up on and expand their utility a little bit.
Exactly, utility, you mentioned it. 4AM has only been fighting at a distance through this entire game, so they should be coming in with everything in terms of nades. Look at that 17 gaming with 14 nades that they can deploy at their convenience.
And meanwhile, Mission Ready doing a good job fighting from the
field. Mission Ready dobro
danas. Magore, who was that solo player from Slam, separated from the rest of the team to try to hold things. Lurex will get the knock on a Gustav, and this is actually going to open up a little bit more of a door here. Ready to make their way in. Arctics, though, now Vard has gone down. Fex, the last player left alive for FaZe, as Gats and Bizzler will take down Lil Ghost.
Love the reaction play from Fex here as well, realizing, wait, now everyone is fighting. Maybe I slow things down. Maybe I try and go for the rest here. Mission Ready once again able to make it into the top 4, where someone successful on Erangel earlier. And now here once more have made it into the late game.
Get out, get out. Oh, he just gets out. Okay.
Safe rest, by the way.
Safe rest. Safe as possible res here. Lurex are going to spot out Bizzler, though, so that is going to take Mission Ready down to 2 as everybody is just busted here. And I'm doing this for the desk. It's going to be a 2v2v2v2 for the win.
It is indeed. Xiaobei
Bukvalno bilo ko da dobije osim...
going to be in the back line of this. I mean, honestly, with how this one is lined up, they should have top 2 guaranteed. We'll see if that's going to happen or not. As it's Fix and Gustav alongside the mission.
Najbolje bi bilo face da mina nekako.
Towards this circle, Michael able to shoot Gustav, find the knock with it.
Ali rezat će ga zapravo, ali rezat će ga. Mada Faze ima najlošiji spot, tako da. Čisto sumnja. Ali za VP bi bilo najbolje Faze da vidim.
Falls short. 17 still has so much real estate to kind of work with here. You got to imagine Slam is sitting low on utility at this point. At the end of the day, it still works, right?
Not sure if that's why Gustav wanted that smoke to go. If it was, great. He smokes off the transition there, but I think he wanted to smoke off Lurix on the other side, because this is exactly it. Oh. Now they need to deploy more of them. Lurix is single-handedly trying to fend off against them, though. The pressure not being applied from 17 on the flip side of this. They're taking it very, very careful out towards that eastern side as Vex does go down. Lurix down as well, so multiple teams taking casualties.
Oh, Mission Ready is just being so opportunistic right now, pushing in as this fight is playing out. Gustav will go down to Xiaobei as FaZe will go out in 4th place. Lurix back on his feet, so Slam can defend their warehouse once again, but 17, I mean, look how much they can do. So many different angles they can play. They can move around. They know where everybody is. Nobody else knows where they is. The only thing they got to be careful about, you can't get knocked here if you're Xiaobei or 770. This is feeling like a good finish for 17.
Crossfire set up, and the opponents have no way of knowing exactly where they're positioned, because all they can focus on right now is what's happening right as they enter this next room. No flashes on the side of MRA. One flash on the side of Slam G. I don't know if it's on Art or if it's on his teammate, but if you underhand that one outside the building, it could be in for a good one. Lurix finds one out, find the other. Will go down to the blue in the end of it, though. So Lurix, I mean, with them crawling on forward, could potentially be irreversible, but now the push comes through. They know it. They know exactly where they have from Lurix. 1v2 for the win.
And the flashbangs are going to come through. Xiaobei going to be the one that tries to get the kill there, and there you go. He will flush him out, and 17 Gaming will get the win here on Tego.
It wasn't pretty, but they come out victorious in the end of it. Again,
Ljudi, vidjeli sad vid Virtusa.
You'll take that any day of the week, but my mind still goes back to the one-man push when you're 4 in a compound against Batulins, losing Xiao Wu of all players, one of the best mechanical players in China. More could have been made off of this game, but still, they're going to be satisfied with a 15.
Hey, I don't know how much more they could have been made if they got the win, but, you know, it is what it is. You got to be happy with what you got, and 17 is happy right now with that win on Tego.
$17.
We came off the back of talking about 17 Gaming having 2 banger games despite not getting the victory, and they're able to do it in game number 3 here for PGS 10. That is a strong win for them after we saw it get down to the wire with the 2v2v2v2. And of course 17 does walk away with the win.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a completely different 17. They had a weakish showing in 9, coming out at 12th place, which you know they're not going to be happy with. But they're one of those teams that we said, hot, cold, which one are you getting at this event? 17 starts strong, and that's the thing about 17 is they just keep rolling. Now, I don't understand how the numbers work to make 10 their victory opportunity, but they're pulling those numbers right now.
Yeah, you've left me on the spot. I shouldn't be doing caster math. That's a bad start. Yeah, oh, no.
But I will say, the math right now is that their 3 games are adding up to a really good first place in the overall rankings. Because while we have seen Twisted Minds have a couple of misses here, we've seen some of our other top teams fall off. Navi got knocked out a little bit early. 17 has been nothing short of consistent, both in fights and getting to good spots early.
I was going to say, like, as you look at that final moment there, maybe a small bit of greed going for that flush. That being said, though, now that I think about it a little bit more, there was only ever one other location the other Slam G player could have been, right? So he was definitely ready to go for that flick as they were able to wipe them out. I think good for 17 Gaming that in the, 2v2v2v2 situation, the rest of the teams are all very pinned in one location. 17 took huge swathes of land to pin them in that spot and just clean up.
Yeah, I think the swing flush, just to touch on that, I think is necessary because the only way you stop that, the only way they get that kill is if
Devara, jel si tu Devara napiši?
right, when you're trying to swing him.
Ako si
So
tu.
that flush means that he no longer has that extra access to information and you're going to have a little bit of a jump. So either way, 17 was hungry for kills. They were lusting for them and they got them every single time. We asked who can slow down Twisted Minds. I didn't think it was going to be 17 based on what I saw at PGS 9. But based on their start here and how they're leading into the first day of group stages, it could very well be them.
They are one of the names that historically has been the one to challenge Twisted Minds. Like, even I asked them when we were at EWC as well. Twisted Minds is seen as the most consistent team of all time at this point. But 17 Gaming, you guys are equally in the conversation, right? So what are you
ljudi, refreshajte stream.
And they, you know, answer back
Da vratite delay na 3-4 sekundi.
But it goes to show.
Devara je svidio što Nika Lates potpisuje za Partizan. Šta misli, ali istina to? Doveli ga, brate, da mu otplate penziju.
We're mad that everybody was unhappy with our 12th place finish. So, you know what, let's just go into this next one and try really, really hard. And then they come out and they get a top 3 finish. And that is sort of what we've seen from them over and over again, is a bad tournament followed by 1 or 2 really smashing tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, there was always in previous tournaments, I would almost always have a member of them on my fantasy.
100%.
And then, you know, when we came to groups for PGS 9, I did that. And then I took them off after seeing what we were seeing at the beginning.
That was a mistake. Because I also did not trust that 17 would bounce back. Not on day 1, at the very least. So to have them come out and do that again is actually really impressive. I also want to give some flowers to MRIA. Another game where we see them getting into the back. They had to fight tooth and nail. They were the only team to make it out of the field.
Nama se priča mjesec dana, ali prije sat vremena su počeli da spamaju na ovoj stranici. O, da je definitivno, ali...
MRIA got in with almost their full strength, which I was very impressed by for a largely rookie team.
Thankfully for Tego, like those fields, they work out so that multiple teams can exist alongside them, right? They're a little bit more forgiving than an erring.
Onaj mali vete što dolazi iz...
right? So those teams going
New Yorka,
I mean, obviously Navi kind of found themselves in the middle spot. I mean, middle of it, but
not a bad choice. I would argue they got there maybe 24 seconds too early because they took some damage from the high ground, maybe move with the blue, but at that point, you're in a good spot.
Phase angle all the way.
Exactly, and that was a little rough. If they had waited a few more seconds, maybe that goes away, but how can you really know, right?
Realno, ja meč.
They smoked off, they brought those Doritos in for a little bit of cover.
Ali nam je poenta, budemo danas sutra u top 16, da vodimo u finalu.
Well, eventually we'll take a look at the numbers from that game and see how everything kind of boiled down from that
one.
One thing's for sure is that 17 games are shoring up the defenses to go into the final, which is already a much better start than what we saw at PGS 9. That's good because we do believe that's one of the names that can contend with Twisted Minds at the top and topple them from being able to take effectively the 5 PGSs.
Another one, if we're talking about teams that have caught us off guard from the bottom to the top, we've had MRIA, Slam G. This is their second place.
Ne znam da li zoomira, ne zoomira.
Back in the end game, they told me we're an edge team. We're the best edge team in EMEA. It did not work at PGS 9. They've made some adjustments. We're seeing them go to spots a little bit sooner right now. And more importantly, it feels like the team is open to just go fight. And the fights have worked out in their favor. And I think they're going to be, when we see the numbers, top 3 on the leaderboard.
They found some earlier central spots in these couple of games as well. And I'd love to, now what we've seen from these 3 games, go and ask them, okay, so relative to, you know, having that edge style that was working out so well in the EMEA, what is the slight adjustment? Have you decided to move a bit more proactively towards those center spots? And it does seem to work out with 12 points.
Dva boda izvukoveri, dobre.
Boys, if they continue this on, they'll get to group
Talates je klasa, ali stvarno ne znam što ćemo čvadi ja, brate, bukvalno. Ja očekujem da tim doktora dođe s njim. Morat će vreće leda da mu nose za koljena.
I liked that Gats interview where he said it's more predictable international lobbies. I think Slam G and MRIA, as they are now in 3rd and 4th place, have found a little bit more of understanding of how this works.
Well, the big mix-up, though, of course, is 17 Gaming being at number 1, 39 points after 3 games is a fantastic result for them so far, because prior we did not really see that for PGS 9. That said, though, the rest of China got to step up a little.
Virtus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big challenge over there on the right side of the leaderboard. Make some big moves at the top. That said, I again Super hyped to see Na'Vi turning it around, being up there in the top as well, and some shake-up as Twisted Minds isn't struggling to keep up, but they're not leading the way I thought they would after 3 games.
You saw 17 game and they're chomping away, chewing up the competition as SlamG and Twisted Minds looking to get ready to Rondo. We got 3 more games coming at you here for day number 1 of the group stage for PGS 10. And so far, so good. But we will see now as we dive into Rondo to figure out everything that's going to go down. Let's head to the casters.
A tricky takeover that took us from a guaranteed Buxunsa into the open fields and then into the 17 compound. And now we go over to Rondo to see who is going to be the victor of Wildcard Map 2.
Realno je Rondo najljepša mapa.
The PGS 10 group stages.
They're not called easy shifts. They're called hard shifts.
Yeah,
call that for a reason.
No shift is an easy shift for everyone.
Actually, no, they call that because they go hard in one direction, right?
Yeah.
But they are also hard to play.
Sjećam se da Monaco poslije para lapova završavao tamo. Možda je htio da porijedi se. Ko je vinuo prošli game? 17 game. Kako prošao Twisted je završio sa 6 bodova. Virtus sa 2.
You're welcome.
Yep, exactly. I'm sure all these players will be as well. Take notes, write down everything Poro says. It's nothing but gold nuggets as we will now make landfall here. Burrell, last team out of the plane. Is it because they were the last team back in their seats? I'm not sure, but they're going to be fine going north.
Could be.
Big opa.
I'm actually a little concerned about
Ljudi, za PGC daćemo 4 dresa Virtus Pro. Ako budemo uspjeli dobiti sve menime igrača, onda za svu četvoricu po dres. Ako ne, one obične Virtus Pro dresove. I napravit ćemo private leaderboard za e-wave za Twire i stavit ćemo neki price. Ali ćemo promijeniti kako funkcioniše to. Znači pravit ćemo za svaku fazu posebno kako se zove, fantasy i onda će svaka faza posebno imati neki price. Ne znam koliko će biti.
Teams play towards the east, but it's a little bit chunkier. Sorry, the west rather. It's a little bit chunkier on the east this time.
Definitely. Also, I mean, this circle in particular have kind of become our new test circle.
Ti vjeruješ to, Bruno, ja ne vjerujem.
I mean, when are we giving the western love? I'm not quite sure. But we've been out here east multiple times now in a row, and we'll see if this one's going to bring some excitement with it too. As you said, River in play all the way through there. So early game commitment for most teams. And what are you gambling on? Of course, more accessible land on the east, but that doesn't always tell the tale.
We got to look at 4 a.m. there moments ago. Still
znači svaki cirk je posebno, da. Znači biće e-wave tablica. Za fantasy svaki krug će biti posebno i svaki krug će ima svoj price. Da nam bude zanimljivo. Razmišljamo se još da li da pustimo da bude za sve ili samo za naše ljude, ali razmišljamo. A ove dresove, to je samo na moj stream, to je samo za vas. 4 dresa ćemo dati i to je to.
4 a.m. in some dangerous territory right now.
Probat ću ja da nabavim sa imenima njihovim, ako bude previše za jebancije, obično nije on izlazim vratima.
It's easier to scan and see what's happening because there's a lot of data to go off of, and everyone kind of knows what everyone's doing. That's the paradox of the success of Twisted Minds. It's like they don't do anything that surprises anyone. Everyone knows what they do, but how do you deal with it? So now go for a little interview with Beamy. Bloomy. Let's see what he has to say.
I think like at least after the first 2 days in the finals, we kind of realized like we're playing incredibly well right now, but like, you know, with how Twisted has been playing, it's kind of impossible to like catch up to them unless they start playing bad. So like we all just agreed like just play like how we've been doing, be proud of it, and then the other tournament, this would have been enough to win the tournament. So just be happy with how we played.
Da.
The best I can say is that you guys played incredibly well with PGS 9, but we're gonna come for the PGS 10 trophy.
And he's saying it right there. I mean, kind of underlining the same sentiment is no one is willing to go out of their way to take out Twisted. With how the lobby functions right now, with how the flow of the game is, it plays so heavily into the playstyle of Twisted Minds that too, of course, plays a factor. I mean, Twisted Minds have just been able to assert dominance and pretty much been able to decide how these lobbies function for the most part through the mid game on their side of the circle. So if no one is willing to go and say, no, we'll change our playstyle to try and counter
Šta je s najlupovom ekipom?
as Bimi is saying, we were satisfied with what we were doing in any other tournament. This would have been enough. They're just unstoppable. What are you going to do? So it takes your gaps. It takes your up-and-coming teams that are unpredictable to go out and say, no, we'll do it our way. We don't care about the norm of how you're supposed to play globals. We'll do it differently. So will Luke set up here, ready and waiting.
Ali ja kad vidim nekoga ko ima ono facu neopterećenu inteligenciju, ja ne mogu od tog lika očekivati ništa previše. Nekako tako procijenim. Nije mi se do sad desilo još da mi je neko izgledao tako da je uradio nešto.
To the extent to where, you know, I think that they've actually requested that their team comms not be put on stream when they do the individual team streams. I think they've requested that they not be on that because they feel like teams are watching their whole playback, listening to their comms, and feeling how they're playing the game, how they see the game, and that was kind of putting them at a disadvantage. So I don't blame them at all for doing that, and obviously still having a great amount of success.
Question time in that case, and I'll happily open the conversation to chat and everyone watching
as well. Šteta mi je što Bimi ne igra bolticu, iskreno. To je najbolja boltica u Evropi, sigurno. Šteta što ne igra bolticu.
You also get access to every single team's team comms, or keep it to yourself. Like, does the reward of getting all teams communication, of course, it's a little difficult if teams communicate in Korean and Chinese and whatever. If you're a team, but does the reward of getting those team comms outweigh the potential dangers that is other teams hearing what you're saying?
You know, I look at it from a fan standpoint.
Yeah.
I want to be able to watch these guys, and I want to hear how they communicate, and I want to see how I want to see the game the way they see it. And you know, they will from time to time still like say, okay, we can do this, but at the beginning of the tournament specifically, they're just kind of like, we prefer not if possible. And you know, and most of the times it works out pretty well. We see Buriram getting that sky cam. The Buriram Air Force. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Getting that worked up here on the far northeastern side of the circle. A lot of room to work around. But yeah, I mean, look, Twisted Mind's one of the best teams in the world. Anytime you get the opportunity to dig a little deeper into the way they see the game, the way they talk about the game, even just looking at the way they drop pings on a map, and how they scout things. If you're a smart team or a smart coach, a smart analyst, you're going to pick up so much from that. And you know, and I can understand why it's a legitimate concern for them.
I've always been of the mindset of have everything be public. That way, yes, okay, one specific team might not be able to have a certain advantage after it's been sort of leaked what they do, but have everything be public and the entire scene grows together. That's always been my
look, man. I'm not worried about the scene growing. I'm worried about winning tournaments.
I mean, I know we are. But from again, as you're saying, from a viewer perspective, from outside perspective of the specific team,
absolutely,
is the more public all this access is, whether it be game demos and whatnot available. Hopefully that happens someday as well. It's only gonna make every single team, so much better.
Well, we see Mission Ready making their way in. Now they got a phase issue that might be slightly concerning, but I don't think FaZe is exactly posted.
They're not wanting to fight at all.
They're still kind of moving around, scouting around.
Yep.
But if Fex, who is the tail man here, spots something out here or gets an idea, but it doesn't look like he did, and right off the bat, Gustav is going to fall in the crosshairs of Michael and will go down the box. Fex, fortunately, is right there to smoke him off, but they better be quick about it because Mission Ready's coming.
What's the response in this one? Kai is rolling away as well. Fex has to go try to finish off. Try to puffer fish as best as he can, but Mission Ready is going to call the bluff on this one. He is on his own for now, at least. James trying to get up here, trying to get into position to try and help out. Smokes are there, which will bait the initial util, but look at that. This crossfire angle could be huge if he can
find zona kucanja.
Affects the front man, though, the first round. No, he doesn't hit it, and Bizzler will survive with 21 HP, and now FaZe is up against it as James is the only one here. They still got Vard way off in the distance as an insurance policy trying to provide support from range. But we'll see if James
Mulla
can
bi
get
šansu
something
ako
done
je
here, but that's good utility.
Brate,
It's
šta je
fallen
ovo jebote?
just
Na
on
glavu mu ne
top
ide
of
i
gets him
pada.
down to half HP, and here comes Mission Ready just pushing.
Fex out there shooting blanks. That is not a whiff spray you ever see that man make. Always very consistent when it comes to his ARs. This time around, though, not working out for him.
Sad
As
će
James
James
now
nokat
use the
bombom,
land,
gle.
try to fend off against Fox, who will be seen on the other
Šta sam
side.
ti rekao?
James with the underhand date,
Brate, 5 bombi ga nije ubilo, on je bacio jednu i riješio lik.
There's a reset opportunity for them. Now there's
Ide
more teams
Varda,
showing
Varda.
Gats
A Varda
going down as
zvijer.
well. Varda finds one more! The third to fall too, and now it's a 1v2.
Grasping defeat
Kako
from
su
the
ne
jaws
izgubili
of
ovaj fight,
victory is Mission Ready. And James will go down to Bizzler,
What?
but Vard will get him in the end. And Mission Ready, everything was looking so nice to start off, and FaZe
zvijer,
pulls it out of the fire.
Klika
And
gore
if
od
there
ona
is a
ljudi.
lesson to be learned on LAN, that is never consider your fight won until it is over. Even if he doesn't get, I mean, he does get the rest, but even if he doesn't, they have 2 rest stations within reach and no one within a kilometer. So they should be all right regardless. But never consider your fight done for. Never think, guys, we got this. Let's just roll for it. I know you're feeling good. I know you're feeling comfortable after a couple of good knocks there, but FaZe will shut you down if you let them.
Oh, absolutely baited. FN falls right in the midst of Navi is the drop shot again from Hakatori. This time he does it with 2 HP. 9 HP last time wasn't stylish enough. Let's get him with 2 as Ferris will go down to the Panzerfaust from Starlord.
Juče kako ga to, ali ovo
Will
flash
take him down, but not before he's able to get the flush on the Ferris.
Yep, clips of Hagatori's spray and the takedown of 17 Gaming in game 1 already fluctuating on social media. So the likes of Stream Cigar say, we gotta nerf that drop shot, man. It's way too precise. So many times have these guys gone up against it, and when you can prone on down and just keep your left click down throughout it, it's very, very difficult to counter.
All right, the lobby's cleared up a bit. Through the early game.
Uđi pogledaj sad, ja sam vidio sam za koš, taj Rika Vuš. Brate, ima zbog ovog koša da nas dere karma 3 meča na red.
Now Slam saw this happen. We'll keep an eye to see if they will try to capitalize, as Fex has been brought back for FaZe Clan. So after dispatching with Mission Ready, they'll get back up to full strength.
Exactly. Able to get them down and out now. A bit of a bit of an EMP zone in front of them, slowing down their rotation. But again, with how many teams rotated past them initially and then them taking up Mission Ready, I think they're pretty well aware they got plenty of space to maneuver out there towards the west.
You see Virtus Pro laying low. They do have SGA just off to their east, but it looks like both of those teams avoiding each other for the time being. Bury Round once again coming in late. They have the entire east side of this zone to work with, and they're going to find some good spots to play here that are completely open.
I'm trying to figure. I'm trying to put myself in VP's place here mentally and go, why are they thrown out the way that they are? Because there's no high ground kind of keeping them at bay right now. I think, honestly, this is a trap play set up for them. They're saying if any other team is coming in on that southern side, they're going to want to follow the ridge, follow the water, up to our position. So if we lay low, wait to spring the trap until someone's right on our doorstep, could be very fruitful for them. Because a prolonged fight in that area of the map, because now you're seeing them being shot at as well, a prolonged fight in that area of the map, it's going to be third-party guaranteed. It's going to be them done for. So smart on them to prone it on out as Na'Vi sends some shots on over.
Playing around that area of the lake. If they get a little bit of circle love here. Nice, as Fex does.
Nice.
Fex on net tackla.
Not a lot. We're a little poverty, but we got a vest, we got a helmet. We're vibing for the time being, as the E-pickup has been popped by Slam. They're waiting for that circle to close to see if they have to make the long trip.
I think for now it might just be Boostic going up into the sky, trying to, or maybe Art even, try and clear the perimeter around them. There's Twisted Minds now as well, coming in on that northern side, everyone waiting for the next circle to pop. It is only phase 3, so we can keep water in play still, and unplayables, and we're doing both.
Dead center.
Plenty of mountains or high pillars out there by Buriram, hilltop in the circle center as well, and the river cutting off the southwest.
Navi down 1, but they have a good position now. Let's see if they
can
Navi
će ima dosta fajta da bi
the
držao.
push from Team Liquid. Everybody starting to look around that center circle position. You see the shots already coming through from Change the Game onto Twisted Minds. Team Liquid, meanwhile, they are running into Buriram as they will be ships passing in the night. Meanwhile, you see Hakatori at that high ground, ready to spring a trap on anybody who gets too close.
Does Liquid up to play this ridge line? That is incredibly brave. And I mean, in my opinion, a little bit scary, but hey, when you don't have anywhere else to go, good thing for them is none of the pillars in the northeast are taken, so they can actually linger here for a bit. And for now, they're outside of util range for anyone, but look at how open they are. I mean, when you try to take cover behind that car from any angle, someone else will have eyes on you. So I'm a little worried that they're going to have to expand a lot of their smokes too early for comfort. You can hear it now. They're already starting to do exactly that, and it's only phase 3.
Yeah, they're dropping the emergency covers. But that just, oh man, that screams mortar bait. If Bert
also that,
4 a.m. or anybody has eyes on that, that's not too hard of a send. As we see Full Sense off on the west, they're going to run into phase. James will be the one that gets spotted out by Thanadol.
Yeah, it's once again a situation where he tries to flex out, tries to be the eye in the sky for his teammates. They rotate down towards the waterfront, but caught by surprise by Full Sense already here on the edge of the circle once more. Last game, it was a solo Akan with an MP5 in hand. This time around, it's Thanadol waiting for him.
Yeah, Full Sense has quietly been putting in a pretty respectable day, sitting at the same amount of points overall as Twisted Minds.
Yep.
Xiaobei gets the knock onto Heaven. Look at that from range through the rocks. That should be an easy res for Deal, as Guman will spot out 7700. But, oh, look at that Bagopah taking shots in his backside. There's just nowhere you can ever feel safe.
Nope, it's tricky to maneuver this northeastern side of the circle as Patulins, just like last game, comes over the ridge line with a Panzer in hand, but Mr. Tokyo Drift makes it to safety. Fex gets to live with a scare of that one.
I want to know. I mean, I cannot believe the Fex is alive. He probably can't.
Oh, that's wild.
Alive, honestly.
I love to see it, though. A Panzer that doesn't insta-kill you. Thank you.
Maybe that's what we got to look forward to with the changes.
That is true. That is true.
Well, Salute has decided to get right in the midst of Bagopah. Or Bagopah, rather, has decided to crash into his compound, and they have not scouted him out just yet. Let's see what the Freaks Fragger has in store for Bagopah.
Split in the 2-1-1, but if there's a guy to make this happen, Salute would be your man. That is an open angle, and you will take those shots any day of the week. Circle now shifting off, of course, with the Unplayables in the northeast. We are going to go down towards the south. I think all these teams were well aware that this would be the circle to follow, but now you're going to make a play on it.
That first knock by Salute will immediately call in the rest of Freaks. Well, at least it will call in Heaven and Deal. Human is off in the distance. Songjang is
ljudi, užā zona, ništa se ne može dati. Idem po kolebi.
Actually, I think he might have been coming down from the high ground, but yeah, Akan and Guyon will go down. So Freaks with the 2 kills there, but they still have to make their way into the zone now.
Little point feed come over as they go. Points, yeah, we'll take him. And now we move on.
Oh no,
now we move on into the circle. He's trying to make his way to safety, but
I mean, 17 knows he's there.
Yeah, he's being surrounded. And smart on 17 again to clear their side of the circle. If they take him out here, if they dislodge Freaks and force them to go elsewhere, they will have this entire northeast to play around.
Laying down smokes, trying to slow things down a bit, as he is getting some defense and protection from the north side of the lake, where the rest of his team is looking over in the distance. Guman seems, help me, please.
Guys, they're everywhere. He does have his entire team alive, and you can see Heaven is now getting into his vehicle to try and come to help him out. Little Ghost is going to go down, but a response from Xiaobei. Guman in return. Now it's for 17, though. How fast do you collapse on this? Not allow for Freaks to take a fight to you.
Well, Freaks is kind of...
it's just Heaven here.
Yeah, it's Heaven. The rest of the team is starting to arrive. So he's got Xiaobei kind of pinned down in the water. As Xiaobei come up out the water like a baby dolphin. Heaven with the grenade in hand as he knows he's getting pushed. 7-7. Oh, down to half HP while Xiaowu going for the res on the Little Ghost.
Ali je Luka dobio kill. Ko znam može li dobiti kill.
Pinned by both Twisted Minds and Na'Vi. Not a sandwich you want to be in the middle of and face. Feel the hurt of it as Xiaowu now trying to get to safety, but Salute with an 8 come through. The shoot to follow finds the double on 17 gaming.
Ko igraju ranked, jebote, ništa slušaju.
DNF.
Ali oni su se pomamili, gledajte. Moj prvi turnir nije bilo niđe, gledaj. Sad u svaki fight ulazi. Nemaju nešto puno poena, ali igraju dobro. Ne može sad brani ovdje na ovaj spot. Znaš kako se teško brani ovdje. Ovaj niđe je dobar, ako ne krenete budete čiste.
Force them back quickly enough. That molly should spread. Not going to go quite wide enough, though.
Yeah, it might not have been mortar bait this time around, but it's definitely utility bait. As
Bježi Elo je jebote.
Free to lay down a smoke wall and just send it
Znači,
right
Elo
into
se
him.
mogo sakrit.
Luke and Sparking are just going to have to move around and survive a little bit longer as 4 a.m. try to clean up their side.
Soset again with a double on Twisted Bison. No, we're not seeing any of this, but he's going to be up to 5-6 kills at this point. Incredible plays come through up on that northern side. Navi, I mean, we wanted to see something from them here in PTS. So far, they're doing a great job holding up the north. Issue is they're taking casualties with it, too. And now they're down to just Hakatori.
Yeah, it's down to the mountain goat on the top of the hill. Hakatori will flush out and get those points. Has changed the game. They were looking over towards DNF, but they run into Buriram.
Such a cluster.
And unfortunately for them, they are losing that battle. Winbow, that is a good grenade, and that is going to be change the game.
Missä tämä se meidän
Yeah, the only effective entry point to this circle is down that ravine. This very hard entry point through the canyon into that circle, and all of the teams trying to do that at the exact same time causes the shenanigans that we saw there.
Itamu is down, and 4 a.m. still trying to get rid of these guys. It's Team Liquid has managed to keep Luke and Sparking alive. They are just emptying the bag of utility at this point. The flashbang slowing things down as long as though that flanking angle, unfortunately for 4 a.m., Liquid has so many burnt out husks of vehicles to play around. Oh, but Sparking gets a little greedy and he pulls away from cover.
Yeah, issue is Xiaobei is coming in on one side. Sona's pushing them forward from the other as well. So I like the idea of them being patient, but I'm a little worried they're taking too much time here. Have to make a play on forward. Now you have Xiaolu up here to 45 with a MP5 as well as Xiaobei still sat waiting for the perfect time to engage in his countrymen.
Just being the sneakiest lad, but I mean, that's about the best cover you could hope for if you're Luke. Let continue to just peek up over the top. Shen, though, he's going in, but Xiaobei strikes.
5 nades, and you don't throw one?
4 a.m. Actually, it's going to be Hane that gets the knock onto Lu after Xiaobei did most of the work. Edie will get the credit for the kill, and there you go. Liquid will go down as Shen finishes off Luke 12.
Yep, Xiaobei enforcing 4 a.m. into the position from where Team Liquid fell just moments ago, as Hakatori continues. 6th kill for him, taking out Batul and solo play up on that northern side for a while now, but able to stay strong, keep Navi in first place.
The king in yellow, the king of the mountain, as Hakatori continues to add to his kill count. 4 a.m. would love to get rid of Xiaobei here, as 7-7 Owo has gone down now. All of a sudden, Xiaobei is the last player left alive for his squad.
Does have SGA's Heat come over this side. I mean, Heat is practically just solo sprinting across the street right now. He's going for it. Solo play in the making. If he can be successful in it, we go away from them right as it happens. You saw the shots connected, but he is single-handedly trying to hold off 4 a.m. right now, playing up close.
Not sure how Shen survives that.
Nope.
Heat had him dead to rights.
And then he goes back again.
And, yep, go ahead and retreat. Why not?
There's more than one over here.
and meanwhile, while all this is going on, Virtus Pro still 4 strong on that western side of the circle, playing around those ridges. Remember, we said earlier, this is where they've been playing for a while. They just lied low and waited till the late game. Well, the late game has arrived, and now they are starting to become active as Hakatori is continuing to collect points. 6 kills now, 12 total for Navi.
Reaching very, very close to 1,000 damage this game as Hakatori is, again, I mean, he'll happily take a fight with a disadvantage here in a 1v2 against Burr. I'm now trying to flex across to the other side of the street. Should be able to get there. But where do you go from here? Try to get the off angle, and of course he's successful in doing so. 1,016 damage. Able to get into that one once more.
Hakatori Wick. And he is all alone on the north side. Full sense looking down towards Slam G. They are very much pinned against the wall. The Lurix have to have the happy feet. Will avoid the car for now. The utility keeps coming, but Full Sense has to be running low here at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Full Sense trying to maintain control of the north, but I fully respect them saying, but it's Hakatori. So we can't, I know we're 3, but we shouldn't be looking that way right now.
You, man. Baba Yaga's on the other side of that mountain.
We'll take the fight to 4-man Slam G instead. We don't want to peek the north.
Exactly.
What do we want to do? Boosting on the south, Hakatori on the north? I don't know. How about we just chill? How about we just don't peek anything and sit up here? No, I mean, they're focusing further downfield right now. You can see here, Slam G, good position to not allow for Full Sense to do too much damage. Ooh, nice shot, Boostic again. Instantly there with a headshot.
Every leaf that falls, you're going to think is Hakatori jiggle peeking you from behind the pine tree. But he's going to survive for now as 4 a.m. starting to make their way in. The problem is SGA, they have that whole compound. It is a lot to defend.
It is.
But you got to try to avoid the line of sight as much as you can for 4 a.m. And they're going to do that as
Opa!
Just dismantled by Nixie by himself.
Dođi bre na Nixa.
Näissä kaktuore kuin mun
with a boomstick in hand. If this is a triple, this should be Hagatori up at 10 kills in this game. Good on 4 a.m. to read it well and realize maybe we get out of this, Carl. We just had 3 guys go down to Petulance in the previous game. Let's not do that again and get out of the car earlier.
I gotta tell you, I don't know offhand what the record is for one player, but if he gets up to that high, you gotta imagine it'd be pretty crazy. But unfortunately, he will go down. Starting to find their groove a little bit. They've got 8 kills. They're up to 15 points.
Wise approach to the circle as well. They knew that Full Sense had just fought off a team on the southwestern side. They say, great, that's our chance to make a play on the solo, get up with that north side, and get an entry inside this next circle. We talked about, I was just gonna say, we talked about SGA in the military game, see what they could make happen. Now they have a top 4 finish for the first time in this tournament. What can they make of it?
Other thing is, I don't think Virtus Pro saw them leave that compound, but unfortunately for SGA, he gets spotted out by Atong Mu. That's going to start things off in a bad way as 4 a.m. now down to Shen and Longs. The spray from Shen, good flash, will slow him down, but 4 a.m. still has utility in the bag. Can they have it find his mark? Oh, Full Sense sees this. Absolutely perfect timing on the push from them as SGA is trying to retreat.
They saw the push come through on the other side as well. The issue is, while this is happening on the northern side, Virtus Pro is backfilling, going inside, taking over the compound, and SGA is being caught now, trying to, being indecisive effectively of where to go with this one. Zephyrus forced to go back into hiding. All of a sudden, there's no cover above anymore on the side of SGA.
They left Zephyros behind to let him know if they were going to get wrapped on, but the second they do get wrapped on, they're trying to retreat back and take back their territory. Zephyros being the sneaky lad that he is. Shen, though, has gone down. It's all down to Longs before spray will take down Tigger.
Great shot come through there. A little weave there in the crouch down. Headshot connected, finds Tigger. There's 2 left now up on the hillside above. Make it 3 as they come down the hill as fast as can be. They need to clear out this north. They know the south is fighting. This is the only time to take the fight, and here they come.
Through the bush. Can he get him? He can. And 4 a.m. gets taken down. Full Sense collects their 6th kill. They are down to 2. Virtus Pro still trying to clear out the compound. They will take out Zephyros as SGA. They are back in the compound, but they are down to 2.
Again, what's the response in this for Seoul Gaming Academy? They run back into the compound, but not set in positions from where they can really defend Severus either. So maybe the better play here would have been, Severus, sorry buddy, you're on your own. Let's take the fight to Full Sense in the north and at least clear that, because now they've put themselves in the middle of this one instead.
Hane gets the knock on a Thanadol, but it doesn't look like he was able to get it Thanadol was able to get close enough to Belmont, so Full Sense will get back up to 2, and they are outside. Good spray there. Will take down Beamy, and that'll slow Virtus Pro down and allow SGA to try to reposition. They've still got utility in the bag to use. Beamy will have that blue, the backpack to keep him alive there. Through the blue zone grenade is Nixie and Corexi just going to have to line up. Belmont spots out Luka Rux.
Ali mogu da ga reže.
Everyone knows that it's VP with the numbers advantage right now, but now it's a what? 2v2v2. Poro will see if they can make something happen here.
They might be able to get these reses, but no, Seoul Gaming Academy, you know that they're down. You can't allow them to get these reses, but the problem is no utility left in the bag for SGA.
Luka Kupin
will go down.
Beamy.
Looks like Corexi's considering going for the res, but look at Belmoth just being the aggressors here for Full Sense.
Full Sense wants to make a play happen. The issue is they don't have the full intel on exactly where Seoul Gaming Academy is playing this one from. Be very cautious about it also now, having just been given the circle. Too much at stake for trying to go aggressive here. They know they have to come up this hillside, and what a fantastic crossfire position they've set up right here. Belmoth up high, ready to kind of take the initial assault his direction, and then Thanadol timing right is going to peek on over and should be able to bring this one home from Full Sense. I say that, but now, of course, with the circle closing in, Thanadol is forced back across the street.
Full Sense, kind of reminiscent of last game, what 17 did by taking, you're down to 2, but take those 2 wide flanking positions, give yourself, like you said, that crossfire as SGA, they look like me in the morning, man. They're dipping a toe in the pool, but they can't seem to commit to jumping in full on as they will try to hop in over towards the east, but Oh, Hane gets the knock on a Thanadol, and that opens up a
Ovo je
door.
baš dobro. Ovo je brutalno za nas. Čaka bi Nixi ubio Hane.
This one problem, so he's just going to back off completely and say, you know what, sorry, Thanadol, you're down, but I'm going to play for the top 2 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look how much room he's got to work with over there. He can just kind of hide out and wait for Virtus Pro to take the fight over towards SGA as they do get the knock onto Hane. And now it's down to just Didex as Belmoth would love to be able to get that point for himself too.
I'm.
Juicy one.
Yeah, but able to get the flush onto Hane. Nixie gets up. And gets VP's kill total up to 5. Belmoth is spotted, tries to go for the solo here as well. They know exactly where they have him, but no lethal util on that part. There's one nade in the hands of VP though, but not opting to throw it just yet.
Yeah, that's
I think Beamy might be the one having it too.
Yeah, Beamy just kind of covering on that south side as that Lynx is just screaming out across the hilltop. And yep, the vehicle will get exploded and
Bravo Beamy.
And like that, Soul Gaming
Ajmo. Lagano.
Virtus Pro
Lagano.
They get back to their winning ways.
Exactly, out victorious in this one. Really good placements in the previous matches.
Kako je Nixi izbacio onu tricu druže, doktor.
Beamy said in the interview, we knew we could have won the previous
Razvuko se
tournament
fight
with how we
previše.
played and twisted
Evo
minds
ovaj Hare,
even
brate, vas znaš
better.
skejtali.
And now they're on the back on that form as well.
And to do it without Lucarux, who's been their, main fragger, really. The guy has just been an absolute godsend for that squad.
Bravo, guys.
But you see the rest of the boys, they're happy.
They're smiling.
They're excited. Nixie.
Correxi is Finnish, he doesn't smile.
Nixie's always smiling. Yeah, well, the Finns. You know how it is.
Corexi Finac je.
We are going to go over to the desk to get us ready for our final 2 games of the day.
Kakva ekipica je, najbolja ekipica. GG.
A ne, ser, nisam vidio kako jebe.
Nisi vidio? Nisi mi ti neki fan, bud.
Jevi ga. Usto, rekao neće još.
Ti još nešto reći od UZIVO?
Trebao si im reći da te pričekaju, brate.
Ja ti njima, sačekaj, da smoro nešto.
Had this compound what feel like on lockdown, but it was absolutely none of that. Virtus Pro just came in behind them and took it away.
We saw smokes tossed, we saw grenades tossed, we got mollies tossed, but by far the biggest throw, I think, had to be SGA pushing up and going after 4AM at the top of that hill. I don't know why they did it. They had a lockdown on the compound, holding it 4 strong. They heard the chance to go and get some kills, and I'm not sure if they just didn't know VP was on the hilltop, because in a second when we get there, VP very smartly saw it happen, and Zephyros, poor man, left by himself to hold the onslaught of the Bears, and there was just nothing that they could do to stop him.
Yeah, you can't be kind of taking out VP with just a man down or something like that, or any kind of numerical disadvantage is going to be very difficult to deal with. That said, as we take a look in some of these final moments, 4AM coming in from what was a decent angle for them overall, considering what they had to work with, and Full Sense also holding out these high ground positions. I guess there's a world where they think that maybe that is going to be the biggest threat, but the backstab.
That was it too, is that by the time they even got over there to do something, Full Sense had already pushed in and cleaned up a bunch of the 4AM situation. They turned around and go back, but at that point you've lost your hold because Virtus Pro has moved in. It was just a bit of a comedy of errors in terms of the choices they made. Now, what I will say about this, SGA didn't make it to the grand finals. To see them taking risks and making bold choices is at least a positive, right? That's what you need in a team to say, okay, this is our move, we're going to go for it. And that confidence I can at least credit them on. I'm glad you had some.
You know what? I didn't think about it like that, watching the game play out. But yeah, I think you might be right, because, you know, oftentimes we see kind of these compound hold downs and then people do get collapsed on, and then they just get minced from both sides. However, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe them actually trying to look for a flex out, be a bit more proactive. Maybe that was play for them.
I think when you're a team that struggles, proactivity is a step in the right direction. So any movement is good movement. Wasn't the perfect movement, but they went over, they made some plays, and they did manage to get back and hold down the warehouses, so they did have to do a gunfight with VP. Unfortunately for them, Virtus Pro has proven at this event and PGS 9 that they are perhaps some of the best gunfighters in the lobby and have been dominant when it comes to those straight man-on-man fights.
Another decent top performance for Virtus Pro. It's 7 kills for them, as well as 1,333 damage going their way. Na'Vi, Hacker Tor 3.
You have him captain though, don't you?
I do have him captain.
Legend.
I mean, the fact that he put up 1,000 damage in this game as well, never mind the 13 kills going their way, I'm like, you know what? I'm content with my pick.
He was a bit of a sleeper in the group stages for PGS 9, and I don't think he was comfortable with that. He activated towards the back end of the grand finals. They are coming out incredibly strong, so seeing him play is great. But again, VP chased. They were the team that never gave up on chasing Twisted Minds in PGS 9, even when it seemed untenable to capture them. And they never quit. They got stronger. This roster, with the help of Ibiza, seems like PGC is a very real chance to take that trophy home.
I can only agree, as Nixie will be taking that man of the match for this one as well, with 5 kills going his way. Again, it does bear repeating what I've said at PGS 9. This team is the complete package.
Yep.
4 components that can all frag out, that can all think strategically to the point where they can contend with the very best of them. And you're right, when it comes to the end of PGS 9, those final games on day 2 of the grand final, looking great. Coming into the last day, looking great. One of the only teams that was able to try and keep up with Twisted Minds. That being said, though, maybe Nixie wasn't the man of the match.
Right.
What do you think?
This is our unofficial man of the match. Laboratory, 7 kills, 1,000 damage, 5 knockouts. And then the best part is,
Kaj ćete reći iskreno, znači kad su dobili 2 noka, ja sam rekao gotovo je. Ova ekipa SGA je 2 puta prodala meč. Prvo, izašli su iz kampa, kontali su da će Virtus otići po lijevoj strani, ne znam na osnovu čega. Izašli su iz kampa, pustili su Virtus duđe, tu su prodali meč. Pa ih je Belmont izvukao poslije, kad je Virtus dobio 2 noka, tad je SGA trebao da zatvori Virtus. Oni su odlučili da povuku i napadnu gore ovoga drugog lika od FS-a. Druga greška. Znači ljudi su napravili, treća zapravo, ljudi su napravili 3 greške. A mi smo to iskoristili, GG. Realno, poslije 2 noka nismo trebali mi na game, ali svaka čast. Zato je ovo PUBG, ono. Milion stvari se može desiti. Treba ostati fokusiran, smiren i iskoristiti to. Što oni jesu radili. Tu smo 38 bodova, 10 bodova je do Navija. A stvarno nije bitno. Mislim, jedino zašto je bitno da oni budu tu top u vrhu je da u formi uđu u finale i to je to. Ali generalno nije sad previše bitno. Ali igraju dobro, brate. Nastavili su da igraju dobro. Znači, oni su ukupno u PGS 9, PGS 10 imali samo prvi dan finala PGS 9-ke lošije. I to je to. Sve ostalo igraju dobro.
I don't know what's going on. It does feel like we're seeing a little bit in the terms of overextension, some sparking here and there. But I haven't seen any glaring reasons for their misses. I just don't know why it's not coming together. But again, it's not.
It needs to. It does need to. Thank you very much, Toffees. We're going to go to a short break here at PGS 10. When we return, we have 2 more games. Dusty Dunes.
Ako uzmu 90 bodova i trebali bi biti sigurni. Moj gdje je 90 bodova. Između 55 i 60 je dosta. Jer top 16 ide dalje, ne ide ne top 8. Ne znam koliko je, ajde vidimo koliko je trebalo za PGSD. Znaš, 55, 60 je obično, ne onoliko koliko treba. Vidimo koliko je bilo prošle pojmo sjeti. PUBG, oba, series 9. Group stage. A 16 je imao 57, To ti je otprilike, znači tu između 55 i 60, plus minus 2-3 boda. 90 bodova ti je, ti ovdje 90 bodova ti 4. Znači to je baš mnogo 90. Znači top 8 ti je 70. Top 16 ti je 57, mislim. Sad to varira plus minus gore dolje. A koliko su naši? Sad su naši na 38. Ja, možda sam se zajebao, ali mislim da je 38. Jebao sam se. Mislim da su naši na 38. 38, da. Onda zadnji da ne moramo ni... Ne, ovo ti je prvi dan, imaš danas i sutra. I treba budu tu top 16. Mislim da nema problema za njih za finale.
Slam G here, what a great game for them. How they're sending it in. They want to make sure that this last one doesn't get denied here. Molotov comes in.
Mašala.
让我又抽一个，又来，哎呦，太难受了，机会特别大，哦，就看多少分吃鸡了。哎呀，斯维特曼这里急了一点，但是影响不大。恭喜
JDG。 Brate, šta im je sa streamom? Puca im stream, bukvalno. Gledao, mijenjaju nešto scenu. Ako nastave ovako, lagano će danas osigurati finale. Imaju još 2 meča. Još 2 meča imaju, tako da, brate, realno mogu. Realno mogu. Ali oni bi, znači, kad bi danas osigurali finale, to bi znači da imaju 55 plus bodova. Mislim da bi 55 plus bodova prvi bili. Mislim da je sad evo na šta mislim piše, Navi je 48. Brate, kako izgovorio Igra odlično,
No Aurora actually earn a lot of points here, but real homie on the end end. This is just one of those few risks. You're dropping in into a spot where there might be a team here, and unfortunately, of all the teams here, it was iconic.
Miramar is where we'll all go down for the final 2 matches of day 1 here at PTS. And I'm Toby, joined by Poro, and what a pleasure it has been to take you
Parasaurus, brate, na Hawaii
so far here today. Poro, honestly, if we look back at PTS 9 groups, day 1 to now, the only real difference is...
Znači, meni je quality.
Sorry, continuing to do what he does best, Twisted there as well. Any big surprises to you so far?
Brate, ja ne znam, jel mene jebe net?
Surprise, but it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, sve mi je dobro.
Like goodness gracious, especially
sve mi je
last
dobro.
game. what a thrill. What a
Also,
thrill.
imagine the mental setback on 4 AM had they crested that bridge line 3 in that Pico bus for them to 2 games in a row lose 3 to a Panzerfaust in the end game. That would have been a tilder. Hot one to come back from. Good thing for them that did not happen, as we are going to get into game in just a few moments. Here we are. Miramar is in the cards. The Southern Plain to boot, as we're going to get on over to kick things off in the Dusty Dunes.
I do so love Miramar. It's my favorite. Still my favorite to this day.
Yeah. There are areas of the map that I don't feel like we see enough, and this is not me talking about, you know, island circles and whatnot. But I've always been, what do you call it? A little sad that all of the cool, unique locations in PUBG, for the most part, we put them out on the very edge of the map.
Perimeter,
so they never get any love. Like, give me an Alcantara finish. Take us into Campo Militar. Can we please get some more buffer space on the edge of some of these maps so we can get those cool locations in play?
Still waiting for Jadina City, man.
Yeah?
Jadina City. It's going to happen eventually, man.
The escalator, pan fight to finish things off.
I just, one day.
Someday.
You know, honestly, like, it feels like for a while there, we were seeing a lot of Oasis.
And that is true when it first got changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Died out. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. I don't know if that's the case, but yeah, it feels like it's been a while since we went up north. And given this plane, I don't feel like we'll be going up there this time around.
That takes some real magic for that to take place. This is going to be a southern one. Even San Martin is going to be a stretch, so you know no one's going to go that far north. Honestly, I mean, looking at it now, I think Bakopar might end up being the furthest north team going up in and around El Pozo, unless if...
Gde skaču Milama? Uvijek skaču Los Lones. Oni kad su bili i Lucid i Redline i... Kako su se još zvali? Ne znam ja, uvijek su išli Los. To im je bio, Prime Alt im je ovuda negdje bio ovako. Ne mogu se više sjetiti. Ja, zona dobra za twist. Iza nas.
That is true. Interesting rotations to come for this one as well. Looking out towards that south.
Entropy. Ja, bukvalno sam zaboravio kako se zvali kad su osvojili Evropsku. Entropy.
Potentially even north around Minas, all the way up over El Hacienda into this one. I mean, Burram and the likes out there with a chance to make plays like that happen.
Yeah, that's the thing on everybody's mind, right? Like how quickly can we get in the cars and start making our way up, because that north wrap is just looking so juicy. You know that the entire northern side of this zone, just given how the plane path worked out, is going to be completely empty. And given how many edge teams we do seem to have, those edges are looking pretty good.
Issue is, and this is, I mean, obviously something players always take into account, but not necessarily something the general viewer will always take into account. A lot also comes down to where did the plane come in from. I mean, it could be the exact same path, but did it go east to west or did it go west to east? So all the teams we're talking about now, that yes, they should wrap north. Yes, that's the right play to make, because yes, there's space up there for room for them to maneuver. They were the first teams out of the plane. So they didn't get that info of flying across the entire map and seeing what direction other teams flew in. They're going, I mean, more blind than what they usually would, trying to wrap up from there. So it's going to take for them a bit.
This being one of those teams.
Exactly, exactly.
One of the first out of the plane.
Luka, Lucid, Los Leones.
They're all still looking around here. But we did get a chance to sit.
Ja ne znam da li su oni nešto drugo lutali nekada. Vjerojatno jesu, ali ja se ne mogu sjetiti. Nešto vezujem Los Leones uvijek za njih.
A little bit of a shortcoming for PGS 9.
Sad si me sitija kad ti je Fuzi vika nemoj tamo doli, tamo bi Entrop.
How did you guys decide to spend the break to come back stronger this time?
Los Leones su ležali pa ne Brate, kako ti izvučeš, brate, te situacije ne sjećaš. Brate, Fuzi, moj brat, kako me nedostaje. Nema ga, nema ga. Samo ide tamo slikava svadbe, brate, nema ga da igra. Kampove ispod, kampove ispod losa. Dobro, ali to je uvijek bilo u sklopu losa. I vas kaj luto, onaj kamp ispod losa. Ma memorije, normalno da imaš. Minimum imaš.
We got some fails, but after we got in-depth communication, we understand that no matter the next matches we performed, we should do our great job during the next matches.
All right, communication is
yes, provodio speech.
Good luck to you, 17 Gaming. Shelby, thank you.
Well, thank you, Bella. Thank you, Shabe. And thank you, Mandy, as 17 definitely look to be back on their horse. And right now, playing around Picado, they have sent 2 up high. They're going to see Navi making the rotation as DN Freaks hang out just on the lower side.
Yeah, early traffic for teams trying to make their way up north here, and it's of course going to be kind of funneled in when you have these mountains in play. So Deal, luckily for him, getting away with a few warning shots. As a matter of fact, Fair is going to be on the receiving end of a lot of damage come through. Xiao Wu, open angle from him as they have run up from Picado, and trying to make this play happen.
Get yoinked away by Deal.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately, 17 won't get that one. As first kill, Deal. Okay, yeah, he landed 1 round into poor Fairest. But Navi now playing with 3. But, you know, they could be down to 1. And as long as that one is Hakatori or Sosid, they are looking pretty darn good. Goodness gracious, look at that. Kill top 5 so far. The 2 Navi boys right at the top.
That's true. Sitting solid, up at 48.
Minimum photographic memory.
Back to group stage, they also had some decent matches through there. Still,
I'm glad you're the one that said it.
Great finals.
Not me.
It's
Ljudi, samo da idem ja Jessovi naši.
Honestly, man, I like to call a spade a spade. Navi knows where their issues were, and honestly, so far,
Ajde, prebaci kvalitetu
really good
i
at adjusting exactly that when things get hectic on the edge. What do? As you said, a lot of their success lies on the shoulders of Hakatori.
Dobro, može.
Everything on one guy. We've already now seen Soset step up to the plate, go out
Tad
and be in a more active
Onyx.
fracking position. Like, you want to have players that are versatile, that you don't always, pull off a him-as type situation where as soon as he gets knocked, everyone on the former Cerberus roster would drop everything in their hands to go over and try to get the rest right. You need versatile players, and we're starting to see, I feel like already from PGS 9 to 10, a Navi that's kind of splitting the impact plays on more players than just one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In PGS 9 group stage, it was extends, right? So it's really just kind of a next man up mentality for this squad. And now that they are down to 3, it's just going to be them as we see Buriram, the aforementioned. They have been taking their time looting up around this south
Nemoj zajebati.
side, and as a result, they may run into Slam G. It looks like both teams are aware that the other is there. This might actually be Slam doing a little bit of camping here, as Ardix will get the knock on the Edie.
Double headshot comes through. Doesn't matter what
Buriram Edie.
That M16 working out well for him as Edie gets taken down. And again, it's yet another match with Edie out early. And
don't like that.
Speaking of teams that rely heavily on one person for their success to come through, for Buriram, at least in PGS 9, a lot of it was on the shoulders of Edie, and now he's down once more.
I swear, when you get the bullet hose in your hands, you just feel like you want to take all the shots, even if they're on the other side of the map from you. But Belmoth, we'll have to watch him run away this time as Full Sense is making their way in. But SGA, they're still kind of sticking around and hanging around here on the roadside. So not by any means easy here for Full Sense.
This is also why we never show the percentage of bullets hit like most other first-person shooters do. Because in this game, you can shoot for multiple reasons. One of them being, just hit anything.
Windows, doors, belts of ammunition being sent across downrange towards a vehicle. You know, it could really be anything. Well, Belmoth will leave that high ground and rejoin the rest of his team to deal with that SGA issue as we check in with FaZe, making their way in on the southeast. They have a lot of room to work around. As long as they don't stretch into Picado, they should be A-okay.
Yeah, they should be, but I've said that in a couple of games prior now, and it's... I don't know. I don't know what it is with the way that FaZe... obviously, again, it's day 1. It's only 4 games played so far. But FaZe, I feel like, have been in positions from where they've been able to get a lot. They've gotten some, don't get me wrong. 20 points thus far is all right. But again, coming back to confidence, same thing I was saying about 17 Gaming earlier. I like the FaZe that pulls up and takes fights. Not saying they should just go crazy aggressive all the time. But we've seen it in the past, especially regionally as well. When they get comfortable, they just don't care what they're up against. They will take the fight to you and more often than not come out victorious. I'm still waiting to see that roster with where we are right now and go out and make plays like that. I know they're capable. They know they're capable. I just want to see it happen.
Well, checking over here by San Martin, mission ready, still kind of taking that high ground, using that high ground, looking around, but they don't know that they have an FM Potion in their midst as Breakers slowly
Kako
makes
se ovaj
his
valio,
way
ajde to
across the
Boga
rocks.
pita.
Now the only thing is that he doesn't have anybody else with him. The rest of the team still off to the north, really kind of taking their time. So Breakers, this might just be him on a solo mission to see if he can get a free point.
Just
Have an MP5 though.
Češ Mark.
He does have an MP5.
That boasts confidence. Then
Šta se radi?
Ti iskačeš, bo.
Basically the same as
Ne
having
znam,
a
brate,
P90.
samo lik uđe,
well,
fantom.
I mean, if you're close enough, then sure.
Yeah.
Circle's gonna swing south. That's gonna force him to
Kako se
think
promijenio?
another. Shots come through, nothing connecting.
Može, može, može.
That's gonna allow for the remaining player there to get off safely. Mission ready. Will be ready for the rotation to come.
And Vox already has a foothold in the hills just to the south of San Martin, and that looks to be where everybody is going to reconnect as Twisted Minds will continue to hold down to Power Grid. 17 is starting to creep up over in that area just in case the circle went away and they could maybe catch Twisted Minds as they hopped into vehicles to make their way out, but since it is inside circle, they'll go ahead and just reposition closer towards the center.
Yep, long rotation for Bakelpa in the making here, wrapping east through San Martin. Where are they gonna set up shop? They have Graveyard available, but of course, coming around the north side hill right now, they're scouting on the fly. They have not been over in this area of the map just yet. So slow and steady is gonna be, I would imagine, their preferred angle of approach, saying that they are still keeping the their foot on the speeder.
Well, the good news is that nobody has shot at them yet, and that would be if anybody was at Graveyard, their defensive Graveyard, you have to imagine would be sent towards that vehicle early on. Oh, the P90
rooftop P90. Wow,
you hate to see it. Well, Twisted Minds, it's not like they need the the P90 to be effective as Team Liquid.
Za koliko.
They've got Corexi on the south side. The rest of the gang, they'll start looking over in this direction to see if they can provide some support.
Yes, of course, next circle can still go anywhere. Lots of unplayable in play. Not as much as they used to be up on that
Treba trči ka kazinu, ne da krosa ovdje. Treba trči ka kazinu, pa da onda krosa na mesar.
I mean, it's been a while back now, but still. We'll see if that's going to end up having any impact, as now Liquid have made landfall. I'm not sure if they're looking to take the fight into the city proper, or if they'll feel satisfied with having control of the south. I just think they want to make sure or figure out exactly where they have their opponents so they can make a plan based on that.
He saw it. They were trying to set out the smoke wall. It might not have worked exactly how they wanted to, but Corexi will survive.
Ja neću, ja ću da gledam ove...
They're still just a great split on the south side. Yeah, just a big split, working the edge. It looks like Soul Gaming Academy, SGA, still off to the south. They've got to make their way in, and Thanadol already has eyes on Buriram. Meanwhile, after running into Slam, it looks like they will play in Slam. I mean, you can see how careful they are being, just scouting out everything.
And this is again a great case if we want to see teams make something happen, take matters into their own hands. Right now, it's just Thanadol shooting at Soul Gaming Academy, and seemingly they're being dislodged by it right now. Now they're stopping, they're scouting forward. Cerberus is going to go in. He's going to go for the compound proper. Yes, he will. So good on them to find a place. Because I was seeing them starting to rotate wide east. And I was like, guys, don't let one guy push you out. You have a great area or angle of approach. Your hard wrap around here has been, I mean, fantastically rewarded with where you are in the circle coming in on the quiet side. So don't be discouraged just because there's one guy there.
Don't ever get one guide.
Nope. You don't want to do that.
That is definitely a thing. Well, I was kind of raising my eyebrows at this pickup from Twisted Minds, just dropping it down just in case this does hard shift away. And they will be ready to go as the helicopter going to arrive just about the same time as the circle pops. And
get out. Go for it.
Okay, they're going to go for it.
Where in the world?
This might just mostly be scouting for them at this point, right?
There are 4 guys scouting.
Yep.
No, they're flying back. They're going back.
Right back, but now they know, right? They know obviously where 17 is. They can get a good idea where Navi is as well.
Yeah.
And look off to the north, because the north is would be a pretty good rotation for them. But did they spot out mission ready? That is the question.
I mean, for both SGA, honestly, I mean, talking rotations just before, I'm surprised SGA isn't trying to wrap the northwest on this one. And he gets
that
the
was the
gun
whole
on the
reason for the E.
That's why they all forward into the air. We need to defend the guy for the P90, and also, of course, this. Now they can play the rooftops. They're outside circle, but they can scout forward and figure out where to go with this one. Seoul Gaming Academy is threading the needle on this one, going in on the southern side of Picado here, as we see. Well, this is where they're going effectively, over towards Slam G and 4am. Lurix waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
Yeah, he's waiting for the rest of the boys to arrive, and there you go, the perfect pounce has been enacted. Xiaolu goes down, Longs down to about half HP, as Shen is nowhere near this, but Lurix going to get spotted by Longs. So good defense from him. Another one for Longs as he is defending his hill all by himself. Spots out Boostic, gets him low, but no, the push from Magore will take him down. But 4am, the rest of the boys are on their way.
Nice counter peek come through from Magore there. Boostic.
Fiste, Jesse, Fiste, Doktori. Igrali se CS-a, bat.
Really good 1-2 punch on their part. So set. Gets the nade on through, able to find one. Steamer's gone down. 4am though, they know they're not done with this one. They have a knock on their other side. You have to try and commit to it.
Oh, the utility from 4am has left much to be desired throughout this tournament so far. As Atong Mu will send another one, and it is going to go far. But the problem for Slam G, Full Sense now has perfect vision. Gets the knock on a Magore, gets the flush as well. Atong Mu will try to make the push, but Lurix on time again. We've been talking about Boostic, but Lurix showing it's not just him.
And as much as he's on time, 4am not quite the same, I say that.
Slabi su, a? Pika su veće.
Gets the second, not quite there, but again, I mean, timing on the peaks from 4am there. They peak up, push up initially as 3 wide, and then when you go down 1 by 1, like that, had Atongmu waited a second long for Shin to get into that off-angle position, but again, this is a somewhat newly formed roster. You don't expect them to have the complete one-to-one communication mid-fight just yet, but
at the same time, you can see what happens when they really get things going.
Ne znam, Zart. Ovaj nade može biti božanstvo.
But it is by no means done and dusted as Full Sense. Slam G just can't catch a break here, but Artix once again will take the shots. Lurix will go down. Artix going to go down. Full Sense finishing off the team, and there you go. Slam G gets taken out.
Great response from not having the element of surprise in that one. Art sat there up close, ready with the M249 in hand, and them not getting a single player down. Incredibly well done by Full Sense, who now take the fight to face whoever. Let's see. I'm seeing Gustav inside that compound. Get the hell off that hillside and get into the compound proper.
G definitely making that fight a little bit sweatier than Full Sense was expecting, as you see Flash still kind of creeping around. He's going to hear those engines from FaZe pulling away. FaZe finding a nice little spot for themselves to play. Has changed the game. Eating Blue Zone right behind Full Sense, but you can see they are just taking their time with it, and that is a full squad.
It is.
Changed the game. They have been really taking their time, and he's got the other bullet hose in his hand, and that is dangerous stuff if you're Full Sense.
When do the shots come through? Now they do. First one to fall is standard. A big loss on the side of Full Sense, who fortunately have multiple powerhouse players. Dish damage in return, and of course, CTG not only fighting Full Sense, but also the blue, which is on them. So they're going to be down to low HP. They're going to have to stop up and heal real soon, trying to secure any point they can get before they eventually fall out.
Oh, Full Sense. They thought that they were playing so late. They had no idea that there would be another team still in the blue behind them and change the game. Will collect at least 1 point off of that. They do lose Hangi,
PGS PUBG Global Series.
Kvalifikacije
za svjetsko prvenstvo.
In Full Sense's defense, they were playing
za PGC, a PGC ti do decembru svake godine.
Which is unfortunately the name of the game when you have a circle like that. Again, circle center is just freak setting that compound down in the canyon. Everything else in the middle. You have a shack and a half to play around. That's not going to be utilized at least for another 2 circles outside of that.
By far.
Good luck, have fun getting down this hill.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Sad su ključ kako ide našima. Naši su treći trenutno. Odlično im ide. Evo i sad su van zone, nemaju baš dobru zonu, ali mogu da igraju odavde.
Shots over towards the vehicle. They'll land a few, but Purdy getting the knock on a Beamy, and that might be the thing that saves Team Liquid.
Yeah, good response on their part. Issue is, as much as that knock is great on the west, they need the knocks in front, because look at this position from Full Sense. They're sat right on the edge of the circle, ready for this play to come through, just kind of tracking the rotation from Team Liquid.
And that Blue Zone doing a lot of damage here as they're going to go 3 deep back in the car. Purdy being the scout here. As he makes it to the shack, he's going to spot out Full Sense, and that's going to be...
That's it.
Gets picked out by Belmoth, and the the shot's still getting sent over, but good return fire as now Flash going to go down to Alo. Aries will try to sneak it away, and he does change the game.
No meds.
At another one, but here he is all out of meds, as you mentioned.
So hard for them to make anything happen. Belmoth rewarded with a flush on that one. Great tap in mid-air.
Sad recimo ako bi Liquid bio nokan, naši bi mogli da krše ovu rupu. Jer im treba ta desna strana. Ja mislim da im naši treba ovo uda čisto. Ili će možda oni čistiti iznad pa ispod bodove. Viš sad znaju, Bim je uzeo kill na Liquidu. Lukan oko Šajvua, Šajbej Kureksi. Ali može Kure bi rezon. Nerealno kako je Hakatori dobro bomba. Si vidio ono što je napravio Predat. Bravo, Luka flasho.
And see who comes out with the most points, because we are not surviving this rotation regardless.
Bego Pa in great position right now, playing out of that graveyard. They have the high ground, they have the edge. Navi love to be able to get rid of Twisted Minds and start focusing back towards getting the circle. But 17 again, just in a perfect position to third party. Mission ready, also in the same boat. Navi is just, I mean, rocking a hard place, doesn't even begin to describe it.
No one can get out of this position alive. 17 Gaming are going to be the gatekeepers of this one, sat up, waiting for both these teams to make a move through the blue. It's phase 5, so it chunks you down real fast.
Grenade just missing the
window. Svi mrtvi, a? Navi Twisted.
Da. Pa nije, Twisted ima 3 men. Navi duo. A misliš to ono, za šta im je kao future move? Lobby.
Going for that res as Hakatori will go down to the zone. 17 also looking over in this direction. But they have problems of their own as they've taken a knock from Virtus Pro.
Yep, exactly. VP realizing too, we can't fight our way east. We have to just commit to kind of clinging on to the western face of this hill.
VP se odlučio da ide iznad kampa.
Now he finds the other. 17 makes the run on forward, but they're being completely surrounded by EMEA.
Just definition of mutually assured destruction at this point as Extends will get the knock on Petulins before going down to the blue himself. Navi out in 12th, and that'll be Perfectix. I think the last player left for Twisted is Lil Ghost. I think he just gets that off, and yep, he's going to see Perfectix.
Lil Ghost ukro kill Navio i to je jedini bod za 17.
Stick around in the blue a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. Big ramifications, of course. I know it's still early days on the leaderboard, but top 3 fighting here in the west right now.
Odlično je ovo VP odradio, tušio zonu.
On that plateau down below, but as I was saying before, everyone over that hillside, they knew we're not going to get inside circle anyway. Let's just see what we can get up on the hill and call it a game.
Team Liquid still trying to fight their way in from that south side right now. The target is SGA as Bizzler finds a spooky Damasti hiding out in the shack, and that'll be another kill there for Buriram. SGA using their shack to great effect. Luke 12 has the grenade in hand. Alo trying to bait them out, see if he can maybe get them to peek, but not gonna work. Alo gets right in there. Oh, gets right in the range, but Vard will take him down.
I'm not sure he got the nade off at all. Mali comes through as well, but that too is gonna go off the side.
He definitely cooked it, and
he
got away from it. But yeah, you can see the smokes just putting a pause on everything as Luke 12 has to just send it into the smoke.
VP na solo igrač.
He can maybe get the heal off.
Nema, sad je pobjegla im ova je bila najvažnija, ona je pobjegla. Šta uzmu? Zaci su na 3, na 4 boda, 3 plus pa na 5 bodova.
That every team up on the western side have been looking their direction early on, and everyone out in the east have just been sat waiting for them to try and make a play.
We're known in the Virtus Pro. They give their points over to the
Nisu, oni su 7. pali.
They knew they were pinned
Znači
down
4
by
boda.
Freaks and did not give those points over to Freaks.
To je okej. Zato su imali 2 loša gejma, jedan bio na militariju i sad ovaj, to uzeli su koliko na militariju. 6 bodova ovdje, 4, to je super. Reći će skinuli Mortal, da, skinula ga ovi sparači iz Bego Pa, vred. Ja gledaj shifta što je Bego Pa dobio. I FaZe da, realno, i FaZe ima dobar shift.
So he goes down for that one as Khan. Little do they know.
Salute, you gotta look in those, buddy.
Sneaky snake in the building.
No, lagano uzma.
Nope, doesn't go inside.
Ako ne umre, salut sad.
Khan gets a chill.
Now he's got the smoke to still hide around as Begopah is just free farming on this lobby right now.
Kako će ovo da ono uzeti, pa nema šanse bukvalno.
Not sure who he's got in his sights as Guman's grenade will finish off mission ready. And we're down to 5 teams left.
Akan dvojči skill. Akan, ovo mu je, ako uzme ova 2 kila, 3 kila mortarom lik ima.
Brat ima ovih shellova 50.
Ovo je prejak, ne valja.
There he is, Peaks finds the loot.
Oh, there it is, he gets it, and he finished them off, get those points. Yeah, Guman's nowhere near. Fex, though, has had him spotted out.
Oh, je prešao lik s leđa, brat.
Can use that more to get some more. We got trigonometry. Let's go for some economics.
Economics. I see what you're doing.
Gets paid for those mortar shells.
Not too shabby.
Kao fail, brat.
A gle šta brat drži peškir oko vrata, majke. Lik peškirče objesio.
Kako si failal, brat, imao sam briš.
Molim.
A to Dulč vjerojatno prsti mu se znoje, tako i men, pa brišem odmah.
We're down to just our top 4. 2 solos.
Ja jebi ga, on je level više od tebe, to ono peškirima.
Da, ja nemam peškira.
Probaj peškir uze, brate, možda zato on igra PGC.
Sve do peškira, jel? To mora pamučni biti koji.
Zasad počne sa peškirom koji god imaš. Da vidimo. Prvo regionalno, pa onda dalje.
Vidjet ćemo koji će me odvesti.
Slušaj, ako odeš na regionalno, onda investiraju pamučni.
Shots from him to start off, but he immediately gets on the move once again. If Vard can crest this hill at the right time, Park Pro doesn't even have time to drop the smoke to hide, or it doesn't bloom in time, and yet Vard will find him from the high ground.
Butik, daj peški.
James is flying off the hill in a car.
Ispika je boton.
Come on, just shoot, I'm doing all these
Mogla si da me počastiš sad kad dođem u sredu BG. A nisam tu, bat. Idem za Herceg-Novi sutra, prekosutra. Da, zapravo ti ideš u sredu i ja idem u sredu. I vraćam se u nedelju. Neću biti na finale tu.
To a 3v3 overall for the win. Lots of utility, lots of smokes still left as Begopah, Songjang, and Akan still in the circle, but FaZe has that high ground. How quickly can they pin out where each player is? Songjang goes for the grenade, but Fex already on the move.
Nije, 4 boda su imali. Baš je zona otišla harna ove dvije ekipe.
But goes for a little extra loot, maybe a nade to follow would be useful. Maybe smoke's gonna be even more impactful because there is still distance in between them. It's only phase 7, and we just have these 6 left alive.
Khan dropping that concealment on the roadside.
Čekaj, game danova prodala druža. Gledaj zvonka, dobro.
Kolobanici pitaju ga zašto nisam dobio BMW. A jebi ga, Ante, moraš se javiti na Luxino ekipi s Kosova. On će ti riješiti ovaj problem.
Dobiješ to.
At least get himself back in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, but barely. I mean, they know where they have him, and this is why FaZe is playing it slow right now. They know that they have a Straggler in the north. They try to take him out, because if they do, they get free space to maneuver on this side of the circle. Issue is, in trying to commit to that north side peak, they're leaving themselves exposed to ankles towards the northwest side, and Songjang is not going to wait around to get that one down.
Yeah, that knock on a Vard really putting FaZe behind the 8 ball here as they are basically 2 in 1 spot, and Begopah knows it. They have the angles. Brig spray from Akan from range. Gets the knock on a Gustav. Songjang just gets behind the hill in time as Fex is all by himself. Can he pull off the impossible?
FaZe for so long been synonymous with pretty much always locking down the end games when they're given opportunities to. This time around, not gonna happen. Begopah now in a 3v1, unless if something absurd happens. Big errors on the side of Begopah would be needed in order for them to throw this one. They know where they have him, they find him, and that's Begopah out victorious.
Begopah! Gle muši, brad.
Jebote, FaZe karna raspala.
A nisu imali zonu.
Still a great game from FaZe, but
Ma jesu.
I think the biggest problem for both teams really
Ona
was
isto
that there
solo
was
na je
just so
tamo
much
ostao
space in those.
baš
I mean, we
loša
ended
igra.
the game so quickly. It was circle
Gledaj ga,
7,
brat, peškirče
and there was
to.
just so much room for these
Mislim da
guys
ovo
to
pamuči,
move
morat
around.
ćeš odmah
And I
uzeti
think
pamuči.
FaZe may be losing track a little bit of where all the Bagopop pieces were in that puzzle.
Fix had a good chance to find a con across the street, missed a couple of shots. That could have been the difference maker, taking down that player on that northwestern side of the street because it proved to be a nuisance throughout. We have one more game left to play, but before that, let's get a little bit of a break and an analysis of the match we just saw.
Hey. Čuvaj nešto mjauči.
Ovaj game smo svi pali, ja mislim.
Da. Kao mi Joy.
Somewhere, Clinton is screaming, Bagopop! As they get themselves a Miramar done and dusted. Joining me, Toffees, to talk about this win for them, going up against the FaZe Force 5 at the very end.
Okay, so it was a good win for them. They were hungry for it. They finally got their hands on some chicken. I'm not going to say it was an overwhelming game, but they did back away with this. I will say FaZe, having Vard have to come in out of the blue, Bagopop was perfectly positioned to hold up this final circle. And while we're all accustomed to big moments from FaZe, it would have been one of the longer shots we've ever seen. So Bagopop played this really well. Good, clean, fundamental. PUBG coming from guys who I think are just really enjoying being together and playing this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously there is the outlier of like not having a PO here and stuff deal. Like that, but there are definitely still veterans on this team, regardless of not having PO, and they're able to get things done. I mean, I think they subverted my expectations when it came to PGS 9. Clearly not Clinton's. Clinton thinks they're going to win 10 PGSs over the course of their career, which is fine. You know, Clinton could be wrong, but they do get themselves some wins.
I mean, coming in at 11th without your superstar roster, everyone else who didn't bring their ringer was barely or didn't qualify to the grand final. So the fact that they got 11th and the fact that they're still putting up numbers here without PO on hand means that the second that he is back into those chairs, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And so I got to give a lot of respect there. I don't expect them to continue domination nation here in terms of the leaderboard, but it was a really clean win. That said, when you talk about these Death Valley circles, it was a very just middle line game. There was the kills were spread all over the place. Nobody really had an overwhelming point grab. It was a very vanilla match, and I think that most of the teams are fine with that. When you get that circle where it's like, oh, do we get on the right or the left side?
Yeah, fair.
You just kind of have to deal with it. I will say the team that can be the angriest was Freaks. I thought Freaks had a good chance to win this thing, and Khan said, no, you can't. And they got him in the back, and Freaks just was done and dusted.
Yeah, when it comes to halfway through the game and you have a compound like that, you're expecting, okay, something's going
to work in our favor.
Yeah, but unfortunately not the case at all. But that said, though, I mean, they had a good start to the day, did the Freaks, and I think that it's been middling from
Prvi
there
lik
on
ima
out.
Hakatorija, XB-a, X Lurexa.
Bagopop with 11 kills going their way. FaZe with the fight back to
Ima
continue things going
150.
for EMEA, because you know what, we're having a good old day. FaZe
Yes,
was the only
poena.
team from EMEA that was on the other side of that
Ja imam,
board. So this
držim
will
40
boost them up a
poena.
bit.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've been liking what I'm seeing from FaZe. It's kind of been this adding Vard to the roster, getting something to work, and they do seem like that are doing well. Dia and Freaks also performing really nicely.
No, absolutely,
Dakle,
absolutely.
samo Hakatorija bio bi top
As we
20.
do have ourselves a Khan taking the top spots across the board. And seeing exactly how things are going to go from that. 700 damage being done. And as you said, really kind of putting the boot in against DN Freaks. So that will be brilliant for him. Belmoth and Vard being able to take some of those top spots as well. Brilliant stuff by them. As Full Sense, just throughout the entirety of the day, has been very, very strong to say the least. I think currently they find themselves in the top spots. So let's take a look at those numbers coming forwards. Bagopop with 21 points for number one from this game. Also, we have FaZe Clan coming up with 12 points. I think also a very important 9 points going the way of Buriram, considering that they've been in a bit of a bad spot. So need to be pushing things up quite considerably. But Mission Ready International Alliance, just the 4 points for them from this game as we take a look at those overall leaderboards. And we'll have Toffees back in just a moment
I think I made it.
Oh, he's here.
I made it just in time to go. Na'Vi at the top of the leaderboard, looking good. It says EMEA absolutely dominating. Slam G able to continue in the top 5 is really exciting to see. And Begapa off the back of that jumping to 6 again sets this narrative of just wait till PO gets here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what's exciting that I didn't think was going to be exciting for me personally? Twisted Mind started the day really well, but actually now the slip. A little bit of a slip here in day 1.
On the right side of the leaderboard, which is the wrong side of the leaderboard, but they're going to turn it around. I can see Batu walk by. He seems like he's been outside putting the brain to work, coming back feeling good about themselves. But again, the good news is this is the group stages. It's 12 games. All you got to do is make the top 16 to get to the grand final. So a little slip early doesn't mean the end of your run.
No, definitely not, especially on a Miramar like this. Obviously, they have a position like Power Grid, and they should be able to get something working. Unfortunately for them, that Valley did not work out at all. Let's get it done. The final game of the day here for these two groups as we head over to the casters.
One more match left to play. Southern playing in the previous one. Yet another one this time around. Arguably even worse. It's very, very rare that the plane doesn't even crest north of Chumacera. But that's the world we find ourselves in here in match number 6 of day 1.
North of Chumacera, not north of Los Leones.
That's
Instead, we're
mad.
cutting right across the cities themselves.
That is mad.
And
that's going to be like the first Southern plane you can get.
I mean, I can't think of one that would go farther south, can you? Easy for you to say.
Yeah. I'm just trying to math my way around it. Like, it has got to be the furthest southern plane you can get. If not, then it's like a couple, maybe 100 meters off. But definitely a tricky one for teams to try and make their way to the loot spots.
Yeah, definitely be watching to see if those vehicle drops get a little spicy. As we see Begapa, after getting that big win in match number 5, they are hugging that western side of the map and just working their way down the road. They'll get to El Pozo eventually. And the question, where is our circle going to go with this far, far south plane path?
Hopefully it's somewhere offshore. That's all I'm going to say. I had a lot of chicken for dinner. In best PUBG fashion, I ate pretty much a half chicken, ordered it by mistake. I was like, you know what? I ordered it. I'm going to commit to it. It's not going to happen, though. At least not likely, as we are going to go east rather than west. In this one, Los Leones still on the cards, Impala endings as well. And for FaZe, falling short here in the previous one, they now get themselves a center circle to play out of Game 6.
It'll be interesting to see where they decide to go. I mean, that eastern side of Los Leones, obviously there's a few really strong power compounds that teams love to take early, just in case. I mean, you see Slam already sending it with Arctics going towards that center of the zone as we check back in with Begapa after they got their chicken dinner. And there is your stats. They were pretty active about it. It's not like they just hung out in a compound and won.
No, and again, I mean, Akan taking that fight to the north side. There were 3 up there initially. They left him up there as a lone player in the end of it. And that's when Fex had a good track on him crossing back towards his vehicle. Had he found him there, leaving that, I mean, effective only cross angle dead for, maybe that could have been a FaZe win. But not the case. Akan played an incredible game, making great use of the mortars as well. That's a set up plays for himself and the team.
I'm sticking with it, man.
What are you sticking with?
Economics.
Economics.
Getting paid off those mortars.
Do you think he's been at the Mortar Academy? I'm gonna stop.
Why don't you leave?
You know what? I'll see you tomorrow. I'm just gonna pick up my headset.
let the game come to you. All right, don't worry about it. I got this. Well, FaZe and Slam are starting to get really kind of close to each other in the center of that zone. While we were watching Akan loot up, and yet there we go. You can see they are in the same compound. Arctics was one of the first ones for Slam to get down there. He's got Boostic arriving nearby, and the rest of the boys kind of floating around just off to the north. So I'm not sure. I think the way he's positioning himself, the way he's playing right now, feels like he knows that he's not alone.
He definitely does. Question time, though. Does FaZe commit to this, or do they leave? I know this is a somewhat valuable compound in this area of the map, but not I mean, essential. Don't get me wrong, it's a great place to be, but your team is not in a position to really take this fight right now. Gustav is coming up over the hillside. You saw in a minivan. Vard is not in a position to help out at all yet. So, I mean, right now you're hoping that you have enough time for your team to collapse in this position, because if not, it's going to be very difficult. And I feel like there's still a way, if they wanted to, for Teams and Fex to kind of fall back out of the northern side of this. Having said that, though, Lurix is set up there waiting. Honestly, I love Lurix's position right now.
Well, I was going to say, just, well, now he spots Vard, but
exactly.
the best news for FaZe really is that I don't think they know that Gustav is there. As we see Shen finish off Thanadol, he'll get the first kill of our final game of the day, as Vard continues to wrap around. And
is this bait?
It might be, but I don't know if they don't know that Lurix is there.
Oh,
and
no.
Lurix, oh no,
No, he's
that's
upside
not
down.
when you want to flip the card, Vard.
No.
Oh yeah, that is unfortunate. But Gustav, we saw the sneaky Gustav play. He's going to spot out Magore, so instant trade coming in from FaZe.
Yeah, but he's got a whole hell of a lot of responsibility in his hands right now, because he's going to have to make this happen against the entirety of them. Nice peek around the side, but Lurix runs out of ammunition, down to just 12 bullets.
But he doesn't need more than that. He's got 2 left. Oh, if he would have got 2 knocks with 12 bullets, that would have been absolutely bananas. Instead, slams the door on FaZe's day 1.
Circle, Sender, everything to pick and choose from, and you end up taking the fight to your regional opponents, and now have literally nothing to show for in match number 6.
Well, good news for FaZe is that we talked about it at the beginning of the day. 30 points per day is what you're looking at. 30 plus. They got 33. So at the end of the day, you're pissed about that one, but when you look at the overall thing, you're not too terribly bent out of shape.
If you make grand finals, you'll try and forget it, but right now this one is going to sting, that's for sure. It's full sense out of the southern side. Here they lost Thanadol just moments ago to a bold action connection by Shen. Now, sitting here for a little while longer, at least they get some points in return. It's going to be SGA trying to wrap their way east around, taking casualties and doing so.
Number of fights going on here.
Oh, yeah.
Game 6. These guys are getting feisty to end day 1. As we get a look at the replay here, Thanadol.
Wait up. Okay.
Uh-oh. What happened there? Oh, no.
Well, hello there.
Oh, of course. It just, that feels super bad.
He's laughing. He's laughing.
He's happy about it. Well, Nixie has the 1v2 through the smoke cloud. He's holding the edges as Luke 12 tried to make the push with the shotty. But unfortunately, Sparking gets taken down, so that pulls the break cord there for Team Liquid, and they'll pull back.
Yep, great damage across the board for VP so far. All in positions to engage, all in positions to try and funnel Team Liquid back inside this building. There are 2 shotguns waiting, so I respect the fact that VP is taking their time in this one also. I mean, they know that there's no one around them right now, so they can take their time and hold these angles. They have the numbers advantage, so don't do anything hasty.
Here's the thing, we've seen this for Virtus Pro before, where they take their time. They'll get all 4 people together and make the push through to clean it out. But Nixie getting a little antsy. He's got Lucarux there now. Fortunately for him, he does not go down to that sawed-off to the face. And Team Liquid will push away. Beamy.
He hears them both.
He's so sneaky.
He hears them both sat outside, creep walking his way around the side, not wanting to give up any info at all that he's here ready and waiting, but he's of course giving the info across to his teammates. Now they're sprinting through on one side. It's going to allow for him to push into the building himself.
That's a good flashbang from Luke, and he gets the knock onto Nixie and the flush from Kurt, as Virtus Pro maybe getting a little bit of ants in the pants here as they try to clear out what's left of Liquid.
It's a good nade. Luke still has his hand in front of his eyes, so can't really predict that nade. He's going to try and make the run away and does successfully do so. But this, I mean, shotgun crossfire, it's... You think twice about making that play happen as Luke finds one more with the sawn-off.
Oh, the headshot! Lucarux goes, oh, he's so close, but Correxy will find the return knock on a Luke 12, and Virtus Pro has a decision to make here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you Lucarux right now, you get the heal on off, and then you go for beaming and get the hell out of there.
That might be the play,
Level 3 vests, double shotguns waiting for you on the inside. You know full well they're up to 2 again. There's so much to lose in trying to make this play happen, where if you just back off and say, oh, we didn't get it, unlucky, at least we got 1 kill, we can still run back, get the chip of our teammate, and maybe get a rest later down the line. Yes, you want the 2 points. Yes, you want space to maneuver. But you know it's a wounded team. I think you called it, and I think Liquid is trying to do the same thing.
I mean, Team Liquid has a lot more to play for in this game. I mean, Virtus Pro obviously second place overall, 44 points. They've had a fantastic day. Team Liquid 12 points. That is not what they were expecting from themselves here.
Brate, koji kurac jebote.
Oh no.
Zakasnio sam na start I ovi se pobili već.
Please tell me you can somehow get back inside that vehicle.
I mean, Belmont is already in the whip on his way back to
retrieve his
teammate.
Kako su izgubili igrač? Liquid ih napao.
Jednog su izgubili.
Jednog, a?
Happens.
Ma ovi iskempali u kući, brate, znaš shotguna. Umalo im sve pobili, bol, šut. Zaletili se bili na njih I dobili po šutku I povuk.
Because now you have teams here. Now change the game. Filton on the southern side, obviously a bit further away from the engagement we saw, but still
Na,
just
VP, Virtus,
you gotta be
drugi.
so careful in your timings. And once you then do commit, you better go all in, because at any moment anyone can pull up on you.
Curious to see if
Pa
Liquid
znam kako su naši drugi, kad su imali sve
were
loše.
able to get the blue chips off of their fallen teammates before Virtus Pro
Kako su drugi jebo I konji?
push in.
Kako neće biti drugi finalni meč?
Looking around in that area,
Jesu,
but haven't sent
nisam
it
taj
yet.
gledao.
We'll keep an eye on that while we check in on change.
Igrali su dobro, dobro cijeli. Čak I mečeve koje nisu ništa mogli rade, napravili su 10 bodova. Ukupno, u dva meča da ukupno 10. Gle, DNF druže, u glavu I pogled.
Out into the fields we go. Teams in split positions are going to be forced to try and collapse now, but which compound do you go for? If Human stays out towards the east, that might have his tombstone written on the compound, because you have to imagine other teams are going to vie for that exact position. Issue is, look at the split of teams right now, south to north. Everyone but 3 teams are coming in from the south. How do you maneuver that many teams through that landscape without a lot of kills to boot? I'm not sure.
IGLs are going to be on the clock right now as they figure out what their rotation pathing will be. As we see Tigger running across the open fields. He's going to, I think he saw the E pick up, and yeah, he's just trying to put himself into position to see if he can maybe catch one of SGA. Shots are landing, but not getting the knock.
Not getting the knock just yet. And not the second time around either.
Only got 112 rounds left in the chains, bud. Might want to hold on.
Zar još imaju, kako ne vem, ove godine jači nego ikad.
Off in at other points there, as we see Virtus Pro, they're going to be able to get their man back. Full Sense will as well. It looks like they got their situation sorted down there by the revive station. Meanwhile, Twisted Minds, they take their position, and they're starting to flex out and get shots into Bagel Pie.
This is exactly it, right? You want to not only find that knock, but make your eventual next rotation.
Bagel Pie.
If you get all the circles from now on come your way, make them easier for you. Destroy those helmets, destroy those vests. Give yourself a better opportunity for I mean, again, everything in this area of snap is pull-up territory. You don't just sit around in the open fields, not when the high grounds are still in play. So, make it as easy for yourself as you can when it comes to shove.
And good news for SGA, after they take that E pickup, they have a lot of room on the north side to really play around here, despite the fact they are down to 2. But Mission Ready is starting to arrive here. They've been eating Blue Zone, wrapping around on that northeastern side, so they'll be hugging the coastline here shortly. They might see those parachutes. Well, doesn't really matter because high ground is looking juicy.
Well, they're inside circle. That's all I can give to SGA. They're inside circle. They're going to be chilling. At least for the next minute, while they wait for the new circle to pop up, has changed the game. They came into the southern side of Los Leones, now trying to make that northern wrap as well. And again, great game understanding of them saying, playing is south. Everyone's wrapping southwest into this initial circle. All the fighting is happening on that southeastern side. Let's just get out of there. Let's just wrap north. Now they're going to be coming in. Yes, there ain't as much to play for, but they have way more room to maneuver, to spread out thin and play to their preferred playstyle.
You see Mission Ready kind of doing the same thing over here on the east. And they're going to be pulling into those cliff sides just on the south side of Impala, where Buriram has a big wide split. They've got Demasti kind of hanging around in that area as well. I don't think he might be close enough to hear the engines. And yeah, I think he is. And he's going to get in his vehicle and get on back as we check back in with FN Potion 4 up. And they have, looks like they have eyes on 4 a.m. just off to the east.
surprisingly
Ne idemo
enough, I mean,
shift.
again, given that
Dosta
everyone's coming
bitan
in from the
shift.
south and that road
Možda je
crossing
najbitniji.
west to east is pretty much the do or
Možda
don't
ovdje.
zone. Like,
Ma,
no one is trying
ode
to
gore
split that
prema
in half.
Impala.
No one's playing Impala. No one is sitting in that 3-story brick, just
Vidimo šta će
peppering
naš.
people, trying to make their way through the fields, and that honestly could eventually prove fruitful as long as no one ends up playing from there at all. It's gonna make those fields play way easier because normally, like just under the M, that compound or that building right there, if one or two people is set up there, it makes it a living nightmare trying to run around in the
Djevoci,
open
kad
on
bi
that northern side.
skontali da je Navi u Splitu, može napadnut Navi.
The game has arrived from the north side. Bagel Pa, we would love to get
Da mogu proći, ali rano je za onu rupu dole kod DNF-a.
Pa nije rano, sad možda još mogu proći, poslije više ne mogu. A i sad je pitanje mogu.
Da, pa to ti kažem. Ma i 3 tima na put.
I think they know that 4 AM's there, but they've definitely spotted out Virtus Pro.
Oh yeah, Beamy up on the hill up high with M24 in hand. Trying to make the bolties relevant once more, which I mean we've been seeing more and more bolts.
To smo tražili prije da Bimi zaigra bolcu i Bimi zaigra bolcu.
Yeah, tough position for them. They are 4 up, but trying to play for a potential next circle here and setting 2 up in the road.
Yeah, this feels like one of those spots that if you can survive and make it to late game and the circle kind of favors you, then you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
So they must be sitting on enough utility to where they can just keep recycling it and cycling it to feel safe from any potential angles from Navi or the Freaks, who are continuing to hold that 2-2 split. Very aggressive stuff from DN Freaks.
Yeah, definitely not a final destination for 17 here. This is just a checkpoint for them to try and transition further, to scout for opportunities, to maneuver further. As we go down south once more, Full Sense have made their way in the southeast. VP starting to circle the compound that we saw face fall in just moments ago here in the early game. And now it's onto FN to try and see if they can fend off against our current second place team. First one's going to be spotted at a distance. Nixie losing that peak battle versus MP5? What?
Nutty stuff there from Breakers as Nixie does go down. Correxy now down as well. And it
Čia
is all
patalja, majke,
down
kako
to
gini.
Beamy with his bolty on the high ground. And he's
Jebote,
going to
s
have to
300
try
metara ga ubi.
to secure a few more points for the boys. After they made short work of most of Team Liquid.
Koliko ima first
I don't know what happened to the bike. I guess
he flipped his bike. Oh no!
Well, something made Luke want to pull away from that, but Team Liquid still have those 2 coming out of the blue. But it looks like Beamy not really even spotting that out. He's just going to hold on to this high ground.
Da, igraj na.
Him flipping the bike and leaving it behind is because he heard a bolt ring from the mountain, and he was like, you know what? I'm not going to go with my little bring bike, come around this side and let him see
Bego pa
that.
2 Miramara zaredom dobija ovaj shift.
You'd imagine grouping on the western side as Twisted Minds now trying to take out Begopa. They knew they were down here. Issue is they still have good
Ne seri da ga je ubio.
Example shuts down a Khan. Great crossfire position, but not able to get more done.
Ne seri na health ostali.
From Twisted Minds in this position.
Yeah.
As they get to the fields, I mean, they were playing from the other compound, and they knew that they had Begopa kind of pinned up against the wall, or they knew exactly where they were playing. They tried to make the send here.
Here we go.
Trying to get the grenade to land, but it's not going to fall. As example, will do the seed swap, and he gets it. Park Pro taken down. Twisted Minds. Another few kills. Wait,
Bravo, doktore.
Was Logan single fire?
Doktore.
Was he tapping an AUG?
Oh dear.
That's I don't know if that was an audio bug or what it was, but how in the world did Beamy just survive that?
Da, tapko.
Pa sve kako ovaj puca Beamy, a pometak.
A možda mu je bila na single puška.
He knows he got away with murder.
Znaš, možda je na single bila puška.
Moguće.
We'll have to go back and check the tape, but
Smije se.
now a lot of teams on the south side are having to find some place to play inside this next zone, as 17 had the foresight and the vision to backfill Twisted Minds, who have taken over that roadside, now changed the game, starting to get involved. As Twisted Mind's going to keep cycling those smoke walls down.
Yeah, trying to make their way further forward. Nice wrap around, or cut underneath, I should say, from Change the Game here, understanding exactly where Twisted is playing from. And trying to keep them at distance. It's a hard position to try and defend here, especially when you have a team up close on the other side. But Ares, if he peaks this right timing, this could be huge for CTG.
what, there's not many teams in the lobby that would leave the spot that Twisted was in to come play this one. That is just aggressive stuff coming out from the champs. As Batu will get taken down by the grenade from Wen. Holy
Peek
moly.
again, I dare you.
3 HP. Aries not doing too much better as the CTG is just getting peppered from every direction. Example, 500 damage for him now as he picks one out of the vehicle.
My, oh my. If there was any doubt in anyone's minds whether Twisted would be dialed on in coming into BGS 10, well, they answered it with a winning game 1, but they are not fatigued at the half end of game 6.
What rust. Yeah, they took a break, and that break just made them come back stronger as Burram finding some kills there on the mission ready. Twisted not out of the woods
nice
just
angle.
Yet. 17 have sent the duo
I nisu nikoga nokali.
exactly what Twisted just did to Vegopa.
I mean, you put the nail in the head have 17, trying to make it happen.
Joo, on se okrenu odmah po glavama.
Uzeli su glavu, druž. Ubilo ga auto. Ubilo ga auto, bože. Kako ih je teško ubiti drugo.
Boy, 17 tried to do everything you can do. We can do better. Well, no.
Not quite the case.
Minds still holding the line as Lou will try to secure that last point for himself. He is all by himself.
A gdje je nama Bimi već?
Example still, a res on him might be on the menu, but change the game on. They see the kill feed. They know what's up as we check and see what happened to Luke.
He has plenty of ammo.
It was fire.
Like, Nike desli damage.
Lik je bio slow. Bio single, huh?
Pa si kako klik i na...
Hands in the face instantly. Players do it, like you see it when they're streaming. Teams does it a lot, where they click, 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 click. Like it's a keep your fingers warm, keep doing something. He must have been doing that earlier in the game. Just never looked back. And then when you start shooting, and you're like, wait a minute. Now I can't swap back. I just gotta keep tapping as fast as I can.
Try to keep the APM up. Try to keep
Meni little goes to be example. Pa jebem ti mater.
Lou will survive for a little bit longer because 17 now starting to take shots from range.
To nije low audio,
so it's oh, there we go. Finally a good grenade from Xiao Wu, and the second one would have been good as well, and that'll do it for Twisted Minds.
Yep. Fools as well as Star-Lord able to find them at a distant FN.
Not
been able to get too much going so far today, but here with the chance to make something happen on that far southern side. A lot of teams down the bottom of the leaderboard with a potential redemption here at the last game of the day has changed the game. Realizing VP, sorry, that Twisted Minds is down and out, now forcing 17 off towards teams as well. They can start flexing out too.
Make things really interesting. 17 will spot out Michael. Get the flush with the run over, but now all of a sudden there's only 2 teams in the lobby that are west of the road.
Svako igra po 12. A ja, dobro si.
Tri lobije mi, tačnije.
3 lobija po 6, ali svaki tim igra 12 već.
Ja, koliko prolazi, bruku nešto.
Prolazi 16.
A šta rade? Ajde, kada ti velio?
As unfortunate.
Pa mi sipali, ja mislim. Imam još.
Da, umre je bio.
Auto podera drugo.
And that will do it for Buriram as full sense. They've got one knocked and 17.
Oni sutra, da, naši igri danas i sutra. Znači sutra još 10 poena i dosta. Ajde neka bude 15, da pređu 60 i dobre. A sutra će oni biti prvi.
Dobro, dvojica smo živa, moglo bi biti nešto ovaj game, a?
Pelmoth almost going down there as well. 17's got a great read on exactly where all these full sense guys are, and they are down to next to no.
Još šta Lulka napravio?
Continues to work around that grenade, gonna be just a bit short. Big knock from Belmoth.
Koliko to tada dole ima kilova?
Everything down to Xiao Wu.
14.
Oh, I thought he had him with that first bullet. That looked on point, but a cut on each is going to take him down. And then again, Belmoth able to rise to the occasion. Yes, you lose one, but here comes the second in command. Belmoth able to find him. And just like that, full sense up to 10, fighting their way through the East so far, and doing so really, really well.
10 kills and 49 points. They might have eyes on first place after this is all said and done, as Navi continues to be 4 strong, but they are all the way out on the west. They're now outside of zone, and Freaks are starting to make their way down. Salute is on a mission.
He's running. Does he have a need? Luckily for him, the timing is going to be off by just a half second. He's going to peek on over, realizing his opportunity is missed, and he should be running back towards his teammate and setting up their next play. Luckily for Na'Vi, they get to lift, not knowing that one nade could have been the downfall of them 5 seconds later.
No kidding, and Heaven will actually get the knock onto extends, but yeah, they're just getting peppered from everywhere right now. But they should be able to survive it, but that is looking like absolute nade bait. But full sense, they're going to hop in the vehicles. They're going to try to get past Slam G, but they at least get to the tip. I don't think they do, as 2 knocks will go down as well as the grenades are falling from Slam.
Absolute and utter
Mora
destruction
boostik
comes
tana
through
dole
as soon
ubiti.
as
Jebem
Full
li
Sense
ti
make
jeb.
it into that dip. Slam G knew exactly
Moja
what to do with
četvorca
it, and while
jedan
they couldn't
drugog
throw nades
ubiti.
before, here comes DN Freaks trying to take out Na'Vi.
Oh,
One
boostik.
nade going
Koliko ima
through
kilo?
those hay builds. One nade making it all the way there could easily be an entire team
Dva.
wiped.
The
Ovdje jedan
solo
ne ide
player
uđe.
from SGA, Didex will
A u
get
Na'Vi, gledaj
another
sada ovo.
point,
Op!
and they need all the help they can get
Kratki.
as they continue to
Korotko.
have probably one of the better days that we've seen from them actually.
Yeah.
27 points, but you know, not a lot of expectations placed on that squad given how new they were.
Oj, 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 oj.
The grenade, you knew
Aj,
that it was
hubi,
always
vrat
going
noga.
to be a possibility, and Rex
Sutra neki 30 po
will be
jednom,
the
ne
one that
treba
gets it.
30, imaju sad 45, 55, znači 15 po jednom.
Au!
Only one made it in, but you know what?
15
Only
da
one
budu
was
ono...
needed in order
Šta je
to
mu
take
rače,
out
drugo?
Na'Vi.
Iz 10 bili su dobri, s 15 sigurno.
Now up to 7 kills, 17
Wait.
points on the day. As Didex will try to survive a little bit
Šta je
longer
ljudi
here in
rače,
the
ne
smoke.
dama.
Full sense. They
Dobro je,
have
kad Tori nije
blood
ništa
in
uradio,
the
svi ga
sick of
imaju,
blood in
to je
their
dobro.
nostrils, though. They are trying to clean up everything on this eastern side as Team Liquid will get finished out.
Yep, Purdy trying to get some more placement.
Šta evo, danas pa ne kila, hehe, patalja, mrtvi.
In 7th place is Full Sense now. They managed to make it back up to 2 alive. They know they have Didex down here somewhere. But how do you find them? And also with shots coming down from the north. Both of you down to low HP, proning on one side of this smoke fight. No, Didex actually the one to come out victorious.
Sam
Get the
spisana,
flash on him as well.
da stojim.
Explosion! What in the world is happening? He almost pulled off a great escape, but Didex going down in the end to the sneak
Pa evo
attack
drugovi
from
se
the
ranjivo.
car as we see the
Gle,
replay.
bombe
There's the
krste.
grenade. Yep, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, right where it needed to be. Beautiful stuff there from Rex to kind of save what's been an overall forgettable day for FN Poshan.
Yeah, and as soon as Umin saw that in the kill field, he was like, yep, you know what, I'll take that position, thank you. By the way, FN, please don't have more nades, because now we know exactly how to throw it. And honestly, I think that's why they've only said 1 downhill. They know that at any moment you'd see FN do the same thing.
26, 42.
Iskomentira po neapogledu.
All right, Slam G with 4 up, 6 kills already. Can they
A gdje ti gledaš
pull off a
P42
win
vole?
here at the end of the day?
YouTube.
Huge.
Can
A ja
DN
sam
or can DN
Obrzaš mu 2
end
puta.
their day with 2 really good games?
Gledaš 2 puta, ono ti
We
10
see them
sekundi
with
ti,
38
znaš,
points all the way
15
up in
premata.
6th place. You have a chance to climb a little bit further here. You gotta imagine Slam G is well, they got a lot of real estate to work with here. That's about the only good thing you can say is Tian will try to survive a little bit longer. Magore getting taken down by Heaven though. As Tian, yep, that is where we're gonna hide now. that is where we live.
This is where we are, and we are fine with that. Well, fine. I don't know. That's maybe saying too much. Heaven now gonna come off the hillside. The issue for Freaks is, as great as it is for them to be in the late game, of course, now we have the top, their 4 placement points guaranteed. They haven't really been able to engage in much from where they have been. All the teams up here in the north haven't been fighting up until the later game, and at that point they have been, as you can see here, kind of running around scattered themselves, so they only have 1 kill in this game, meaning they need to close it out. If they come out of this one falling now with a 5-point game, that's not going to be enough for them. They need to get something going here at the end game, which honestly, with their position alone, they should be able to.
Goodbye, Tian. Bye-bye. Salute will get another one there, so 2 kills now.
And another one.
Or the Freaks says, you know, that's the agreement that you
Ali
take.
više
You
dobijaš.
take that position that the Freaks took on early is that you know we're probably
Znam
not
koliko kad
going
preživi,
to
dao
end up
5,
with a
jel?
lot of kills to start off, but
Ne, ali više
it's
dobijaš
going to
zbog
get us to
pojedinca
late
ili
game, and that's
šta
when we
tim
can start
napravi.
getting active. We can start trying to finish this off, and
Samo
they are
kill
doing
i
just that as Zenith
I
goes
damage.
down. Human gets
damage.
Lurex as
I
well.
Iako preživi dobija.
Wow.
I ako ti je kapiten set se multiplikuje.
As he is sandwiched. Can he come over the top and find one? He
To je to.
cannot. Human will finish him off.
Couldn't be any
Aj,
better
sad ne
for
ide
them
ova.
either. Able to find kills on both teams on entry. Good on them to not allow for the sorry, for the opponents to get anything going.
Još će ga
As now
flashavim,
just
molim.
Odd left alive. There is a argument to be made that maybe just run out into the blue at this point, but seems like they're going to try and see if they can make it happen. They had 1 kill just moments ago. Now they're looking to make it.
Što ga mrti molotov.
They will. DN Freaks out victorious to finish off their
To je zadnji game bio, jel?
If I'm not mistaken, I think Heaven might have gotten
Da.
up to 1,000 damage on that one too. So these guys, despite the fact they don't get any kills early, they again wait till the late game. That's when you choose to become active. That's when you go get your points. And at the end of the day, DN Freaks finishes with a huge win.
Twisted Minds have proven it time and time again. 0 kills through phase 5 doesn't matter. You can still go double digit. And while they didn't here, they were very close to doing just that. A great game though as well. While the kill came through late for Freaks, the kill came early for Full Sense. But that's going to wrap it up for day number 1 of PGS 10.
Kako su im pročnari, baš me zanima. A?
Ja ne znam, nisam pitao.
Da pitaj tamo, znaš sve.
Pitat ćemo Luku ili Nixie.
Biće 9850.
Pa dobro, igra i na lancu je bio, vratno ima bolje tu dosta radi nego preko interneta.
Feels like DM Freaks have been on the hunt for that victory for a long time here, and for PGS 10 finally comes
Offline,
their
so
way
da ne
here
drugo.
for day number 1 of that group stage after having
Odgovore pa ćemo da im...
go their way.
Možda ćemo
This
za
one
sutra ima
really
info.
does in the fields.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's exactly what they needed to end the game with, and it's going to put us
Pitaj
in a
Nixija,
pretty
trebalo mu
tight
makro
race
drugi da
going
mu
into
počne,
tomorrow
da
when
te
they
bolje
do
puca.
take the field.
Da
Freaks,
luj da
though,
se
for me,
snađe.
it is just a giant turnaround from what we saw in the group stages last time. This
Ne,
is
gubijem
the
5k,
Freaks
ovaj,
that we
majke.
expected to
Dobro,
show
ja.
up here
Od toga ispred
at
jako dobro.
PGS 9. This is the Freaks that you expect to put up a good performance at every PGC. Here they are finally making moves and making plays.
I mean, perhaps that we started the day off looking at Salute versus Boostic, and then the
I sutra, da, sutra se gledamo u isto vrijeme. A sutra izlazi Battlefield 6 Battle Royale, tako da poslije PGS ću odigram to.
They're back to how they were playing in EMEA.
Jebate kako odskočili, gledam. Protiv nekih onako kroz auto snidom, kako je moguće ovo?
A ispod auto, bom. Ako to misliš.
To nije baš ispod, ona je pola 2 metra prije auta možda, nije baš 2, možda metra i pol.
I ne samo to, da je isti damage me, prvo me poslije auta i vamo me, do četvrto.
Ali su pale dvije bombe, nijedno.
Ja, prva je nokala trojicu, druga je ovog zadnjeg ubila.
Da.
A dobro, možda su bili, čekaj, možda su bili baš HP. Čekaj.
It is not an easy way to end the game. I think
Ovaj je
it
bio
comes down to is the teams
HP, ovaj je
go to the
bio,
final,
a ja
who can
bio
rack up some
slow, ovaj je
points,
bio
setting themselves
30
up for what is going to
HP.
be a pretty chaotic day because Group C takes the field soon, and Group C
Bravo,
is a very hard-hitting group of players who all know that they have to have a very big day 1 because of the chaos that is coming down on day 3.
And the big day 1, of course, went to Na'Vi, as you could just see them on screens, but for Team Liquid, it's a bit dicey. I don't know what to say, but you can tell by looking at their faces, they don't know what to say either.
Yeah. It has just not been going their way. They're getting caught off on rotations, and I don't think they could put their finger
Iskreno
on it.
kažem, volio bi da Liquid prođe sutra nekako.
Ovaj što ima 70 HP ostaje na HP, bukvalno. A jebava dvojica Rova bila na... imali 7 HP, vre. Zato si jebao.
Nakon prve bombe, ali?
Ja, prva bomba, ovaj imao HP, ovaj imao 20 HP.
kills.
I najprvi isto imao malo.
Definitely having
vidio
a fun
pada,
time during the game
puca
today.
prva bomba
What
i
was the trick
koji
up your
mu
sleeve?
oduzima
Was it the
HP, znači ovo
sleeping?
vamo,
Was
trećem
it
četvrtom svozi za
the food
kombi.
that you ate? What is it? You have to
E,
share
oni
the
su bili
secret today.
iza kombija, prva dvojica su bili low, a ovaj što je bio treći, najdalje on je imao 70 HP, on je jedin preživio.
Dobro, ja samo govorim koliko je puno HP oduzela та bomба.
Вся команда отримала взагалі релакснулась після нашого провального фіналу.
А читай ти місця.
І підійшли до групового етапу
на
наступний турнір з включенням з перших ігор. Просто розуміємо, що нам потрібно робити в ігрі і намагаємося показувати максимальний результат.
A kad to za sam, kad vi sad manj skoro kilova.
After that final stage and we have that mindset to lock in right after first, like in the first game, we understand what we should do, what we are looking for, and we have like a good synergy within the team.
Yeah, it was a much needed break because you were doing great for the group stages at PGS 9 and then things took a very quick turn. So what do you think that you need to make sure to do this time to make sure you get your finals spot and that to make sure that the history doesn't repeat itself again for you?
Ви виглядали дуже гарно під час PGS 9 на груповому етапі, але щось в фіналі пішло не так. Підкажи, будь ласка, що ви будете робити, щоб історія не повторилася знову? Які аджастменти ви будете робити для цього?
Ми трішки змінили підход на наші ігри. Ось тому будемо старатися показувати наш перформанс. Трішки зміна ролей всередині команди, і поки в нас все працює.
So we did a slight adjustment of our roles within the team, and it looks that it works much better. And we will try to show our best performance during that group stage in the final, if we will.
Switching things up works for you guys? All right, well, congratulations on having a fantastic day. Do you have something you would like to say?
I don't know.
I don't know. That is just words from
Let's go play the game, that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Soset, and thank you, Nick. I'll let you guys go now.
Thank you, Bella.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. You can leave.
Bye. Okay.
Do you want to stay longer?
Yeah.
Never mind. All right. Well, that was Navi Soset with Nick.
Dobar
and
je
for
Soset
our
lik.
second post-match interview, I'm going to be joined by
Dobar je
Fulfed,
Soset lik.
Tigger, and our translator, Po. Hello.
On bi malo duže s Belom ostao na stage.
Sawadika. You could say Sawadika in the mic too. Sawadika.
Sawadika.
All right, well, great start to PGS 10. You guys finished as number 2 on the leaderboard. How would you rate your own performance, and where is the confidence coming from today?
Ova lik je visok, a ne izgleda visoko. Visok je, ali izgleda mali, ne znam.
ก็คิดว่าให้คะแนนทีมก็สัก9 เต็ม 10แล้วกันครับ เพราะว่าที่ให้ไม่เต็มก็เพราะว่ายังมีเกมที่ค่อนข้างน่าเสียดายนิดนึง น่าจะทำได้ดีกว่านี้ ใช่ครับ
I would say I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10, but not for me, for the teams, but because we still have some room for improvement, and yeah, if we can adjust that, I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10.
Oh, humble, but just 2, easy, right? Should be easy.
วันนี้เป็นไงบ้างง่ายไหมหรือว่า
ก็พอผลออกมาวันแรกได้คะแนนก็คิดว่าน่าจะง่ายสำหรับพวกเราแล้วครับ
It's kind of easy from the past game, so yeah, might be easier.
Yeah, positivity, Tigger, positivity.
คิดบวกเข้าไว้นะทิว
Well, consistency is one of the many strengths of Full Sense, but staying in the middle always is not good. What is the one thing that your team needs to do to make sure that you go even further this time?
ก็ความสม่ำเสมอก็ถือว่าเป็นจุดแข็งอย่างหนึ่งของฟูลเซนนะครับคิดว่ามีอะไรที่ยังต้องปรับปรุงมากขึ้นเพื่อให้ทีมเรามีการปรับปรุงที่ดีขึ้นแล้วก็คว้าถ้วยในครั้งนี้ได้ครับ
ก็ส่วนใหญ่ก็เราโฟกัสการให้มากยิ่งขึ้นกว่าเดิม แล้วก็คือต้องศึกษาทีมที่มันลงข้างๆเราประมาณนี้ครับ แล้วก็VJ10น่าจะทำได้ดีกว่าเดิม ผมคิดว่าอย่างนี้
I would say we need to do more homework and also do the plan games about the teams that drop nearby us. So if we can do that, I think we're gonna secure the trophy and we're gonna do much better.
Yeah, you're gonna have a busy night, a lot of studying, a lot of homework, research. Okay. All right, sounds good. Best of luck to you for the rest of the group stage as well. Thank you, Kokunka, Tigger, and thank you both for joining me. And that is all for the post-match interviews on stage with me. And we're gonna go back to the desk for the final rundown. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much, Bella, for the interviews, as we do have DN Freaks winning out that last game. Of course, full sense. Man, they've had a day. Hearing from Tigger as well, as Bella said, a humble answer coming on in. You know what?
I'm so happy for them. First off,
yeah,
I love that Bella always thanks the translator. That is super cool. Second, I only growled because our team was so similar, but I
Jo, to je to.
What do you mean?
A, gledamo sutra u isto vrijeme, sutra će doći na vrijeme. Bela sam mislio da je u 12, ali nije u 12, nego u 11, pa ćemo sutra ranije. Pozdrav ljudi.
Again though, different team they have in, not a lot of kills, good.
How to earn money playing PUBG. Go to ewave.gg and create your account by typing in your email and password. Check your inbox to verify your email. Next step is to connect your game account by typing in your in-game nick. That's it. Just play ranked. Win some, lose some. We count it all. Check your standings on ladder, compete and earn. Analyze your replays and track your improvements. Only on